you looking for me?
What?
You wanted the picture?
He does
you
it in
wanted
New York
the picture?
too, where no one wants to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
His Dice Clay's his Instagram is performance art. And
That
people
is.
they don't appreciate it because performance art is snobby. And you think like you have to be left leaning, liberal, super fucking progressive, like that's the only way you can have performance art. But no, what Andrew Dice Clay is doing is some of the best,
This is the funniest thing on Instagram.
wild
dude.
performance
The
art.
hat, the king's
I saw
hat.
this one. The King's hat.
The hat,
What about the hat?
my hat, the king's hat.
Good.
No, but I'm saying I could see that you're a
No,
fan.
we're talking about my coworker.
Oh no, if you wanted a picture, I would, I would take.
I see that. Picture.
No, you wanted the picture with me?
No?
Yes,
You,
no?
you want me to take you a picture?
No, I thought you were a big fan and wanted.
I'm just a simple person.
All right.
All right?
I just said the king's hat, and I haven't even worn it in 4 years. All right, take care.
He does this to so many unsuspecting people.
First
It's
of all, is this
fucking
even
hilarious.
legal?
Wait, did you see the one
Is
with
this
Matt?
even
Should not
legal?
be.
Did you
It
see the
should-
one with Matt Damon?
No.
No.
He just got Matt Damon.
He got Matt Damon?
Get Matt Damon.
No,
Matt
he
Damon.
didn't. No,
Matt
he
Damon's
didn't.
at the fucking airport,
No.
having a beer and
No.
a burger.
No.
And he goes,
I'm getting anxiety.
You just gotta see it. It's so fucking good.
It does.
It's
fills
so
you with
fucking
anxiety.
good. It's so, and Matt Damon is the sweetest animal alive. He just looks at him like, huh? And by the way, Matt Damon's at fucking LAX in Delta, just having a burger and a beer like a regular fucking dude. Like, he is just hanging out. You gotta find the video.
He seems like a very normal guy.
But he's like, this is why I don't
Yeah.
do this.
I've
This
only
is it.
had a
This is it.
couple interactions
I think
with
that's
him.
fucking
This
Southwest.
He's
isn't
really
even
cool.
the lounge.
No, it's not a lounge.
Right.
His face with the glasses.
The picture? The picture? With the face?
Matt Damon has no fucking idea.
He has no idea.
He has no fucking idea.
Now here's the question: is that legal?
Sort of, but it
Sure.
should not
Yeah.
be.
But is that legal? You could just take some guy who's working in an upholstery shop.
Yeah.
And Andrew Dice Clay is like, you wanted the picture?
He does it.
picture?
Well, here's the thing.
And
He
this
does it on
fucking
street
guy-
corners a lot. So,
Yeah.
like, you're in public, right? And if you're in public, you can be filmed. Yeah, there's-
Which is
there are-
also wild.
Which is
Which is
wild.
insane.
It's
Yeah.
kind of wild. And you
Yeah.
could be filmed against your knowledge.
Yeah.
I
It's
love
kinda
my
wild.
favorite is when those young white kids do it to just black dudes, and then they're like, "Hey, did you want me to kiss me on the lips?" And the guy goes, "No, you're talking to the wrong motherfucker."
Yeah.
And he's like, "In a second," and then he just jaws the dude and knocks him unconscious, and you're like, "That's
There's a bunch of those that
even
go sideways that are
a
stupid.
bunch.
It's like, at least you got it.
They're not
yeah.
really
Yeah.
thought out. Or there's the fart prank. You know, like there's people that do.
Fart in elevators?
No, they'll fart like in public, but they'll go to like the hood and then like walk up where people are hanging out and then just fart, and you see black people be like, nah, and like get up and like chase you. Like it's because it's like you're trying to elicit this.
Do you remember Kentucky Fried
reaction
Movie?
that's-
Yeah. It's very
Kentucky Fried Movie
dangerous.
that-
It's super dangerous to do that.
Yeah, it's
super
very,
dangerous.
very dangerous. Just because they don't know that you're doing a
Yeah.
prank. Like
No.
they think you're a crazy person,
And they think
they
you
they can
came
get stabbed.
over-
If someone's that nuts, they just get right in your face out of nowhere with some goofy thing to say.
And
like,
if you're doing the fart one, they think you're you're coming over
Right.
to where
put 'em
people
in
are
place.
just to fart on
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't go well.
And they're like, no, it's for a prank for my YouTube.
They're
And
like,
you're
huh?
who's?
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
you just pick the wrong people, and they just instantly go into violence.
Did you see the fucking guy? Oh my God, this is in Europe, where his prank was he pours liquefied dog shit on people.
Oh
Like,
my God.
yeah. He just got arrested. So
Oh
you're
my
like, you're on the
God.
subway, and he has a bucket
Oh, no.
of dog shit that he's put in the bucket and put water in,
Oh my gosh!
and then
You
he
gotta
dumps
get
it on
arrested.
people.
He dumps it on their heads.
Just
yeah,
kill him.
Yeah, dude.
Execute
YouTuber
this guy.
arrested for throwing bucket of poo on train passengers.
He's done it many times, like
And
several
he's
times.
filming. He's got just
Oh my
A prankster
god!
was arrested.
Oh, fuck this
It's
guy.
super insane.
Oh my
That's
god!
a bucket
what
of shit.
Psychopath!
Yeah, and then he's just like,
What a psychopath! He just dumps a bucket of shit on this guy's back.
Belgium. I've had enough of this crap. Not well played.
and that's an easy way to be dead.
Yeah.
Oh
right. You do
my
that to the
God.
wrong person.
They'll throw you in front of the train
Any
track.
person.
That is so
Well, but especially,
crazy.
like-
Yeah, there's a lot of people
that
that.
is so crazy.
It's totally
he just
insane.
dumped it on that guy's neck.
Yeah.
It feels
Down
like
his
water for a
back.
second, and then you got to realize.
Oh, just shit all over you.
Shit
You're
all
hours
over
from
you?
home.
Look at that little black chick going, what? She's like, I'm going to be a prankster.
It's insane. This is the most insane thing I've seen.
What?
But that is like he's now being charged with assault, battery,
Yeah,
like
I hope.
Well, I think it's like a bioterrorism too. There's something
Yeah.
weird, like human shit falls into a weird category.
Yeah,
It's
spitting on
super-
someone is
super
almost like
toxic.
hitting them.
Yeah.
It's like they have to. Somebody. There was a guy in New York who was rubbing shit in people's faces in the subways.
Really?
Yeah, just coming behind him with pickup dog shit and then just rubbing on people. And
Dude, Native Americans used to dip their arrowheads in shit just to ensure that you'd be infected.
Yeah.
we got to
Wow.
take care of that.
Yeah, to poison people when you get hit.
Right, because immediately
Yeah,
infection
you're
would
getting
start.
you're getting infected. They,
Ew, but
they
then your
knew
whole
about
thing
that.
smells like-
shit is what caused all the plagues.
Yeah.
So it caused all the plagues.
We saw that guy that would shit in his hand.
Tom and I have an offer out to Mark Cuban to rub shit on our faces for $1.75 million.
his shit.
Our shit.
no.
We
Your
will
shit.
Hold on, Tom.
You shit.
Do
He
you want a
rubs
picture?
on
Do you
your
want-
face
No, no.
barehanded.
He's no. Now listen, we're hoping that Elon hears this and then ups the ante and says, "Mark, if you shit on your face, I'll give another 1.75." But yeah, Tom's fans of this guy that shits on his face.
Wait a minute. There's a guy that you're a fan of that
Oh, Tom
shits on
loves
his
it.
face.
Tom loves it.
Wait a
man.
minute.
Yeah.
There's this guy.
Jesus Christ.
Let Tom
There's this
explain.
guy that will like he'll do like a birthday wish naked. He just stands there naked and then he flops his dick around. But if you pay him more, he'll shit in his hand.
You're not going to believe this. It's actually worse when you see it.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. That's naked Martin.
Oh my God. It's worse when you see it.
It's pretty
It's so bad, Joe. Joe, you haven't even heard the worst. Oh, Joe, you got a surprise coming
Yeah,
your
you got a
way.
surprise
You got a surprise
What?
coming your way.
What happens?
Don't worry, Joe. You'll get it.
Am I gonna have to watch this?
Oh, you'll get it.
Get to it.
There he is.
Oh, you gonna make me watch this?
What? He looks just like you.
Do the one with the oranges,
When
Tom,
I do your
please.
mom's house, dude, I had a really hard time not throwing up.
His
There was
therapist.
multiple times I had to look away. Oh, Jesus.
This guy looks like old Joe.
If you go to his
Naked
his
Martin.
Twitter, you might be able to find it, Jamie.
nakedmartin.co.uk. Is that what it is? Just for the folks at home.
This is if you want to book a video.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Why is his torso
Folks, if
so
you
small?
want to get yourself a video,
But usually this
the
stuff.
gentleman is Naked Martin.
Yeah.
Martin. Naked
Nice-
Martin.
Got a nice piece.
And
on it.
naked, naked
nice
Martin is just, it's all about showing his hog. Which, by the way, is.
No.
By
no,
the way,
stop.
hold on.
How did
stop.
he do that? The guy's magic? He's magic?
Reverse video.
Yeah, it's a reverse.
By the way,
video.
that's a promo video I would have done in a fucking heartbeat.
Can I
Sell
just,
some fucking
can I
tickets.
just
Mark.
pause to point something out here? How wild is Twitter?
Twitter
You
lets
can, you
everything.
can have full porn on Twitter.
Twitter goes full porn. But
And
how?
but for some reason, that is like outside of the conversation when it comes to advertiser boycotts.
That's totally true.
Isn't that interesting? Because
Yeah.
like they're saying,
Yeah.
if you allow certain kinds of conversations, we won't advertise.
Is he going to come in his
Yeah,
glasses?
yeah. Go back to the
Is he
glasses.
going to come in his glasses?
Go back
Is
to
he
the
coming in his own
Oh,
glasses?
Yes.
Oh my!
I
What's he
didn't-
going to do with that?
What
What's he
the
going to do with that?
fuck are you making me watch?
Oh, don't wear him.
Look, his stomach's pulsating.
Yeah, I did. He's
Oh,
like,
Martin, put him on, put him on, put him
come
on.
on,
No,
man.
Martin.
no.
By the way,
he's-
that's not that bad. I do that.
This guy's gonna jerk off on food that
Wait,
he eats.
That's not food,
that's
Mark.
shit.
Joe.
Oh, don't
And
make
Joe,
me.
Joe, I
So-
don't think the video's over.
Oh
Right.
Christ!
If I know Martin, he's got another trick up that sleeve.
Oh.
What are you gonna do, Martin?
Oh,
Love the
What are you
photo.
gonna do, Martin?
No, Martin.
No! There you fucking go! That's why he makes the big bucks, motherfucker!
I legit just retched. Legit just retched. I almost lost it.
You got to find a
Stop
face,
it.
face
Get rid of it,
smothering
Jamie. Please, stop.
On your own,
Jamie.
find a face smothering.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Jamie.
Bring it back when you
Oh,
find
I
it.
think I need smelling salts.
Okay, but I wanted to ask you
doesn't even
this, 'cause
pause.
You've had like I remember you had Jack Dorsey.
Stop, Jamie. Stop, Jamie. I need a drink. I need a cigar. I need
And
something
you-
to clean the pen
Jesus
palette.
Christ, that's so crazy. That's someone's baby boy.
Oh fuck!
No more. Come on, buddy. Come on, man.
He's done.
This is
Hands up.
depressing the shit out of me. That's someone's baby boy. Someone was
Get
playing
another
catch
one
with
ready
that
for
kid in the
20
park.
minutes
Wait, hold on. So when you've had like back in the day, you had Jack Dorsey on.
Yeah.
You've had Zuckerberg on, and you've talked about censorship, kind of like what gets policed because it always feels
Yeah.
like these big companies have kind of inconsistent
Loose.
Yes.
rules about what they do. Oh, if it's this and this could be misinformation, or we don't know if we can verify. It never feels like that's the clear answer. Mm-hmm. But on Instagram, there's this thing where somebody could say something about whatever, a political candidate, maybe COVID, and then people go like, that account is gone, right? Or it's like,
Yeah.
But you and I have a text thread that is pretty horrific, that is fueled only by Instagram.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, why is all this okay?
Tom and I every
WhatsApp?
day. Tom and I
Oh,
every day send each other the most horrific shit we find on Instagram.
Right.
It's
Like,
bad.
every day.
It's bad.
It's people getting run over by trains every day. It's people getting
Yeah,
mauled
why?
by
What do they-
animals.
What do they say? What's the
Shot,
reason?
fucking.
Electrocuted, hit by lightning,
Well, but that's
dump
the
trucks
thing.
fall on top of them.
It's so I actually ran into an engineer at Meta 2 days ago, and he was talking to me, and I kind of like was like, what's up with this? And he's like, yeah, there's just so many accounts. It's hard to, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I go, these are accounts that have been up forever, and they just have murders.
Well, here, not only that, they just show up in my feed and I'm not following them.
oh yeah, of
Oh,
course,
yeah.
that's
That's
the
the
algorithm.
thing. It's
Oh.
like the
He said-
algorithm
he said
knows
2
that
seconds.
I watch that shit.
He said if you look at something for two seconds, that
knows you
means
like it.
they will start sending you more.
So does the
Yeah.
algorithm recognize that you like car accidents?
For
Yes.
sure, or that you're
Yes.
watching them. It's just saying this guy
Right.
will watch
It's
a
not
car.
enough to like don't click on that because it'll lead to more. It's
But my
don't even
point
pause.
is that means that the algorithm recognizes what that video is.
Right.
So if the algorithm recognizes what that video is and it doesn't flag it,
then it could take it off if it wanted,
Right.
if
if
that
it
were-
wanted to.
exactly.
point.
But if
Good
they
point.
wanted to just like not only like let the algorithm encourage you to watch it,
Yeah,
but leave the videos up.
because the baseline goal of all those is keep you on the platform.
We should go back in our text thread like 6 months and see if any of those videos are still up.
I bet you a lot are.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
Because some of the ones there's so many war ones.
Yeah.
There's so many ones of like drones dropping down on people and you're watching their legs blow off.
I watched
There's
a dude get
suicide
sucked into a
drones.
sinkhole.
Oh god,
I
yeah, I saw
I
that.
saw 4 black chicks fall into a sinkhole.
I saw a guy come on his
Sinkholes
shit
are
and eat it.
crazy.
That's Florida.
Sinkholes are crazy. Like one day your house can just fall into a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, the earth collapses underneath where your structure
A
is.
car in an intersection
Yeah.
just swallowed up.
Swallowed
and you
up.
realize that like who do you call? Do you think you're like, hey, I'm mad at the mayor? Like there's nothing you can.
It's
The
the
earth
earth.
just did it.
Well,
Like,
the reality is asphalt is preposterous. It's a ridiculous idea. It fucks up erosion. It does so many things. Like it fucks up absorption of the water naturally into the ground.
They're gonna call
You're
you-
covering everything with rock.
yeah.
They're gonna call you an anti-faulter.
And then underneath that, what's happening? What's happening underneath all that rock? I would imagine a lot of that water's moving around in there. And if it creates a nice little pocket, and then you get the weight of all these buildings, and then one day just they just
goes.
go under, dude.
And it
They've
happens
lost
everywhere.
blocks. Have you ever seen like
Yeah,
those
it's crazy.
giant sinkholes
It's
where like
Florida.
a whole block
Florida.
is
Just
falls
falling into
into
it?
the- yeah. It
happened
See if you
when we were
find a
kids.
giant sinkhole.
That's not real. That's not real.
Bro.
That's not real.
No.
That's
That's a
photoshopped.
shot.
Is that Photoshop?
It has to be.
Look at it. Read the caption.
Oh no, it's real.
That might be after.
After they imploded it.
No, man, it might be real.
It's so deep though.
Maybe double check for another source.
Yeah,
does
let
look real.
Jamie double check, but
It
I
does
think
look-
that one was real.
They did a good job with the overhang if it's fake.
Look, if you're looking at the ground, you're thinking the ground. If you're looking down, right? You're thinking the ground.
Wow.
That's
Those
real.
are. I think it's real, dude.
It's real.
That was the original 9/11
It's
memorial.
insane because it looks like a fucking UFO just went through the earth. It looks like a black hole went through the earth.
Yeah.
It looks so perfectly cut.
How lucky are you if you're the house on the corner that now has a beautiful view?
So lucky.
Bro, how much are you thinking about
It's like,
moving?
Dude.
How much
Look
are you
at that.
thinking
Yeah, they're
about
like,
moving?
Hey,
the
be careful
door.
coming out. Be careful leaving.
They
'cause
came
of that
out in like
sinkhole.
almost a perfect circle.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Doesn't that make you feel so small in the world though?
I would want to
like
get
Hey, just
the
falling and falling and
fuck
falling and
away
falling.
from there.
of course.
I would want to get the fuck away from that spot. That spot might fall into the earth.
But it just makes you feel like you're so arrogant to think
oh.
that any of this is yours.
The arrogance
yeah,
when the big waves were coming in to California like a month ago I drove the girls out to go look at the big waves. They were fucking massive, 20 feet. You know, it's really impressive. It sounds like thunder. Wow. And Isla got swept out by a wave. There's a video of it. It's not bad. She's fine. But It's
What?
funny. It's on my Instagram.
How swept out?
Just you can see it. It's not. She didn't get taken out to sea. She got overtaken by a wave, and it's funny because it's very lighthearted. But then I don't even think I handled it well as a parent. I was like,
You filmed and didn't help?
I filmed and then said, is your cell phone in your pocket? And so, but what's crazy is the moment of clarity after that, where you go, hold on, we're not safe here. Like this hang on, this is actually really dangerous. This is Isla. And she was just fucking around. And then,
oh boy.
And it's like aggressive. Of course, we're all laughing.
And then
She's
if
far
she
enough
slips,
away where I'm not scared.
Yeah.
sort of, but if she slipped further back, that's all coming back.
But what I'm saying is that, like, that's one of those, 50 feet here, 50 feet there things. Like, if you fuck up and you're 50 feet in front of that and you think you can get away.
I've had multiple ocean scares now. Like the ones where you're like
crying on the beach.
Well,
No one
no,
knows
just
why.
that like in the moment,
Yeah.
I keep telling myself, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, And one I remember was in Hawaii where we rented a Jeep and we were like, what we want to go see something, So they tell you, oh, take this road. And it takes you to this single road that goes up where there used to be volcanoes. And we come up on this beach. And they had mentioned the beach, but not really too much about it. And so when we parked, I was like, I love the ocean water. I'm going to get in the ocean, So I get in the ocean, and I remember that going in, the beach into the water was a decline, right? So like you go down, and I was just like knee deep in there and I was like, man, this current is pulling back hard, like really hard. And I kind of take like a step back, and I feel myself going further down a decline into the ocean, right? And when I decide to get out, I have to really push hard, like all legs, like boom, boom, like run, like you're running up a hill to get out. And I was like, that was fucking.
If a wave hit you there,
that was
you're
kind of.
kinda
That was
There was
kind
that
of
guy who was
scary.
a WWE
Damn.
wrestler.
They tell me though when I get back to the hotel, I go, yeah, we took it. I go that beach was a little scary. They go, did you get in the water? And I go, yeah. And they go, oh, you can't get in that water. Like, you'll drown in that water. Did you notice there was nobody swimming there? And I go, yeah, I noticed.
I thought it was
But
beautiful.
I thought I found a fucking,
Oasis.
and they're
They
like,
don't tell you?
They didn't tell me. They're like, do not swim in that water. They're like, you can't swim out of that. If you would, if you had swam 10 feet in, they're like, you're just gone.
Oh,
What?
my God.
And like the panic you feel, especially in retrospect, because you remember the feeling of being like, I think I'm stuck here. I think I'm stuck right now.
Fitzsimmons saved a lady in Thailand.
Really?
What?
Yeah, someone was drowning, and Fitzsimmons swam out and saved them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Thailand. Somewhere crazy like that. Yeah, he was on vacation. I might have made up Thailand.
It doesn't sound like a place Fitzsimmons would go.
Thailand. No, he would go. He's a world
Palm
traveler.
No,
Springs.
he's a Hawaii guy. He
like-
surfs in Hawaii.
Wherever it was. Fitzsimmons went in the ocean and saved a lady.
No shit.
Yeah.
I saw my dad save a lady.
That's a scary
in a
thing.
resort. It was at the bottom of the pool. She was just laying at the bottom of the pool.
Oh, my God.
When I was like 9 years old, it was like father son. He took me to this resort, and there's a slide. You ever go on a slide where the water that comes off the slide, that like, so in other words, like when you hit the water, it's like high impact. You're like,
Yes.
holy shit, and it pushes you down. I'm 9 years old, so this is many years ago, and I remember like I could swim. I was on swim team like as a little kid, but I remember being like, fuck. That is powerful. Like it pushes you down, right? And you just swim up, and people are, at the resort, and then look down, and my dad swims to the bottom of the pool, and pulls up this lifeless body, and then they do CPR, and she came back.
Holy
Shut up.
Yeah, and they would write letters to our house for
Holy
years.
shit.
Really? She was 19.
Oh, my God.
She wasn't a little kid.
Did you see the guy,
Oh, my God.
the snowboarder upside down when the random skier comes by?
Yes.
Just sees a
Yes.
snowboard sticking this far out of the snow.
Yeah.
Is this the
with
one
2
where
feet.
And the guy was buried under the snow.
He goes, what the fuck? He stops. He
He
goes up
saved
there.
the guy's life randomly.
Is this separate? Have you seen the footage where the guy's wearing the GoPro?
I've seen that.
Right? And then he's like,
falls
fuck,
into the
and
ditch.
into like a hole.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you're
yeah.
like-
Yeah.
That is visceral, that
Oh,
feeling.
my
You're like,
God.
And then he's just like, we'll see what happens.
Obviously, he got out because there's footage.
Yeah.
But when you're watching that, you're like, oh, my God, you could just fall in there forever. And apparently, that's something that happens.
Tree wells?
That's something that happens. So this
Oh.
guy just falls, and then watch this.
bro,
What?
I know Bert's feeling this.
No, I've had a
Dude.
couple experiences like this.
He manages to stop himself.
Yeah.
What
Bro.
the fuck? How the
Bro.
fuck do you get out of that?
How the fuck do you get out of that?
Fuck the skis.
How did he
it's,
get
it's,
out
it's,
of that?
It's over, Joe.
But no, he's
No, no.
out.
They had to. I think I've read about this. They had to get search and rescue. He had to hang out down there for a while. Search and rescue had to come up and.
Holy
I'm thinking
shit,
of getting
he's
one of
so
those GPS
lucky.
trackers
And do you
to
see
see
though?
He's
how
so lucky that he
kept-
stopped right there.
But the way he right here, he's not flailing. He's
Yeah.
like putting his arm and his ski out to try to like. So this guy was able to keep some composure as this was happening, which
would've
is like
bombed it.
kind of the craziest part.
oh my god! So this is the snowboarder that's buried upside down. So this guy
No.
just sees that little blue piece,
Bro.
just randomly.
This happened to me.
Skied right over him.
Yeah, he easily
Happened
could have
to take
missed that.
Yeah, could have gone
Dude.
the other way.
There's not much blue.
Soft snow. He's in a tree well, is what it is.
Yeah.
So the tree wells, it's really soft snow. So if you get stuck in a tree well, you are fucking dead. A lot of people die in tree wells.
God damn.
Yeah, I'm thinking of getting one of those GPS things.
So
O'Neill
when
says
we
he
went,
has one.
we went snowboarding in Matterhorn,
Yeah.
heli skiing, and the guy put a beacon on us. And the first thing he said, he puts a beacon. It's like 4 feet of powder, and he says, "This is so we can find the body." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "You
Oh,
might
this
fall
is
into a crevasse or an avalanche, so we put the beacon on to find the body."
Whoa.
That
can't
feeling,
breathe?
this happened to me. That feeling is terrifying.
This guy's like, thank you.
Good. We'll get you out of here in a sec, okay?
He
The
was dead.
panic, the panic.
He knew he was
I'm
dead
feeling
too.
panic watching
The
this.
knew
panic.
he
So
was
what
dead.
happens is, like what happened to me when we were heli skiing, is I fell face forward in powder. I'd never snowboarding in powder. 4 feet of powder is very different than snowboarding. It's like you have to have your bindings reset. You have to really know how to ride the powder, and I could not turn right. And the guy told me, he's like, "Don't go within 5 feet of my tracks. Stay within my tracks." So the whole time, I can only turn left because at the time I really wasn't that good of a snowboarder, but I could snowboard, but not in powder. And so he's going like this, and all I can do is go left, and I'm just going off the track.
Oh no.
And I'm fucking panicking. But by the way, we're at like 13,000 feet, 14,000 feet. It's very little oxygen. I'm gassed. I'm fat. I'm hungover. It's the day after the national championship that we went to. So we'd eaten edibles. It was
It was
like
the day after that.
it was the day after that. I flew to Switzerland and immediately landed and went heli skiing.
I don't remember that.
And so no, when we went to Florida State versus Alabama.
Oh, 2013.
Yeah, 2013. So all of a sudden I go to cut right, and I catch my nose, and I fucking go face first in the snow. And at first I'm like, fine. I push my arms in, and they just do not touch anything. It just goes like this. And now snow's impacted on my face, so I can't really breathe. And I'm first of all, I deal with panic, but panic kicks in immediately, and I'm like, this is why I have the fucking beacon on. And so I try to clear the snow out of my face, but I'm like pulling all the muscles in my back, trying to turn over. And then the guy just comes up behind me, grabs me on the back, flips me over, and he goes, "You should see your sound guy." My sound guy's upside down, skis kicking, upside down in the snow. And we just got the fuck out. We got on a helicopter and got the fuck out. I was like, this isn't safe.
Yeah, I'm not interested in any of that nonsense. Did I tell you about my last ski experience? I only used to ski with my family.
This resonates every time I go skiing because you go, it's not worth it.
He
not
always
worth-
says that.
He always
this
says
is-
it
this
every
is-
time I go skiing.
When I would go skiing because they wanted to go skiing, and I would be like, "This is fun. It's good for kids to learn early because they're really good at it, and my wife likes it." But I would be like, "Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. Didn't get hurt. Back up. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt.
not
Don't
fun.
get hurt. Didn't get hurt. Good." So all I'm doing is mitigating risk the entire time I'm skiing.
Sure.
Because I've had fucking 3 knee operations. I really know what it's like to blow your shit apart. And they're like naive to how vulnerable your knees are. And kids are fucking rubber. They
Yeah.
just fucking bounce off rocks and they're fine. They fall down. They only weigh 80 pounds. They fall down, they get right back up.
Right back up.
But so this last time, I was going around this turn, and this lady didn't know how to ski, and it looked like she was just a fresh beginner. And she was like doing the pizza thing, but she was sliding right into the trail.
Oh.
And it's a narrow trail. And I'm like, I have two options. I'm wiping this lady out or I'm going to catastrophically fall down. I went with option 2. And I fucking tried to slide around this lady and my skis went up in the air and I banged the back of my head hard.
Oh, fuck.
And I fractured my leg.
Helmet on? Helmet on?
Yeah, it's called an insufficiency fracture. It's a fracture at the top of the fibula, or the tibia rather, where the tibia like touches the cartilage. I had a fracture, and I was 100% concussed.
Wow.
Because I got
helmet on.
Excuse me?
Helmet.
Yeah, helmet on.
yeah.
It didn't matter. It was hard snow, head first, bam. And I remember thinking, like, wow, that was a big one. I remember thinking that, like, when I got hit, I was like, that's a big one. And I got on the ski lift afterwards, and I just miscalculated, like I wasn't coordinated, and I fell down, and I couldn't get up.
What?
Like, I couldn't get up without help. The lady had to help me get up. She had to reach out and grab my hand
Because
and
of the
help
concussion.
100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
100%. So I'm just dizzy. I'm off.
How long ago is this?
A couple years ago.
It was more
3?
than that.
No,
It was more than that.
It was pre-pandemic.
Joe, I think about this every
No.
time I go fucking snowboarding.
I think it was 3 years ago. No, I think it was 3 years ago.
After pandemic?
Yeah, I think it was during pandemic.
I
it was
thought
when people started
It was
skiing
before.
again.
It was definitely before.
I don't think so, man.
Joe, this story resonates.
Maybe
That's the
4
last
years.
time you went to
At the
ski.
most, it's 4 years old. But I
2019.
was like,
When did
that's
we go?
just too. And then Shane Dorian tore his fucking knee apart. World champion, big wave surfer, tears his knee apart snowboarding. Just slammed into a tree and.
That's why you got to ski, folks.
Oh, hey, hang on. You want to hear a story about old
I
fuckface
just told you I was
McGee?
skiing. I
No.
was skiing. I got
You don't like snowboarding?
Oh no! Let me
try. I
let me
can't get
share
there.
the story of skiing with Ari Shafir. So first of all, Ari gets this app that tracks how fast you're going. So the entire ski trip is based on how fast
O'Neill
can you
had
get.
it.
And Ari's like, I think I got up to 70. I bet I can break 75. I bet I can get
Broke the
75.
sound barrier.
Christ.
So
You're
I'm
going 75 miles an hour on a skis?
It's trying to.
yeah. So we go our last run in. It's a blue
Park City.
and Ari is absolutely reckless, off trail.
Well, because
fucking-
O'Neill's better than me. I was like, let's race. And I'm like, go. And I just got the 1 second head start.
So we got Sean Patton, Mark Normand, O'Neill, Renacisi.
gay, loser.
Yeah. And all we're doing is skiing to a bar, okay? We're all going to go get drunk and ski to a bar. And I just hear Ari, fucking basketball. He dresses like a fucking 13-year-old. Basketball jersey. He's got the Viking horn helmet on, like a fucking lunatic. This isn't. Is this?
That's my Mavs.
That's
my
Ari.
That's my Mavs jersey though. And look, I got my sweatpants over the.
And so
I'm a damn fool.
Ari's, we're at the top of the mountain. He's like, let's see how fast we can go before we get to the bar. And I was like, I'm on a snowboard. The fastest I'm getting is 37 miles per hour. That's the fastest I'm going. And I'm terrified because I hear you in my head going, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Because he'd already stopped.
Ari decides to break the sound barrier, pins his feet together, and like a goddamn bullet starts fucking flying. Literally feet in front of the bar, wipes out, and breaks his wrist.
Some snowboarder turned back too fast. He was making nice wide
you
loops.
broke your wrist doing that?
And then he made a sharp one, flew, demolished it.
He had to get
shattered it.
reconstructed.
Yeah, there's a pin in there.
Really?
Yeah.
And all I
I
heard
flew.
was Joe Rogan, it's not worth it. We killed
How fast
our
were you
fears.
going?
I was going pretty fast. I was winning. I thought O'Neill was right behind me. He had stopped immediately.
You have to think about it this way. For this momentary thrill of adrenaline and excitement, you potentially risk a life of catastrophic injury.
That's every time I come on this podcast.
I
never
get
stop.
it. Look, I get it because life is finite. I get it. You want to live and experience everything you want. But I believe you should mitigate risk. And I believe people
You
are
seek
drawn
out
to
dangerous
excite-
animals.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I mitigate risk. And the risk of skiing to me is like that one is like there's too many variables.
What do you think's the most dangerous
zipping
activity
around?
you do?
Well, when I'm training, I'm not doing jiu-jitsu right now, but that's for sure the most
Because
other
of the
than
potential
driving
damage.
a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Driving car.
practicing strangling each other.
Yeah.
And you're doing it with people who are really good at strangling people.
Yeah.
I love
And they're
skiing so much.
grabbing your legs and yanking them apart.
Yeah.
and
This
that's
last trip was
dangerous.
the
How
last
was it?
time
How
I
was it skiing as a less fat guy?
as a sober
This is
person.
a less fat
As a sober
guy.
person.
I didn't
That's
drink.
a less fat
It
guy.
was fucking amazing. I posted. I did a weird thing this year. I didn't post any videos. I didn't record anything. I just had
Lived?
Just lived.
Whoa.
My girls loved it. They were like, "This is great. We're not on Instagram for fucking people to see." But and I wasn't drinking, and I was skinny, and I was like, I said the only thing I recorded was I want to show you my favorite trick. I could touch my foot. I could never touch my foot snowboarding. So getting my bindings on was so fucking tough.
It was so annoying. You get off the
because
lift,
your
you have to
gut
wait
was in
10
the
My
way.
gut
minutes.
was in the way, and it was so uncomfortable.
Dude, you were on stage Tuesday night. And I was like, "You're too jacked. You're too jacked to take your
He
shirt
looks
off
great.
now.
You look
It's-
great.
It's not
Thank you.
funny anymore."
It is. I can't. You know, there are people that really believe that.
Yeah,
There are people
I'm
that
sure
really
there
believe
are.
that. Oh, now
No,
that you lost
listen,
weight, you're not funny. You're like,
it's your
bitch.
freedom of you being you is you taking your shirt off.
But
It's
you
your
was-
freedom of you
yeah.
being you, and now you no longer have a gut and you got jacked shoulders. You got traps and shit. It's like that's a celebration of still who you are.
Also, you're still
Yeah.
fatter than you were when you were the fat guy.
Yeah, I'm still
What?
fat. I'm still
Yeah.
fat.
He got so fat that he lost weight. Everyone's like, "That's amazing." When he started playing the fat guy,
Playing the fat
playing
guy.
the-
the
skinnier than
fat
this.
guy.
You mean when Tom started fat shaming me?
Yes.
When Tom was fatter than me and decided to start
I
fat shaming me.
naively thought that when we did the first challenge, which was the weight loss challenge that led to Sober October group,
Yeah.
I really thought like you'd like stay on that path. You got so
I didn't.
skinny.
I didn't care. I didn't care.
yeah.
You have to want to do it.
November
That's
1st.
true.
I'll tell you right now, Sober October was an interesting experiment, but I will tell you, having done like 3 months or whatever I did, that 1 month is and the big difference is I stopped drinking on planes because I wasn't not drinking on a plane because of you three assholes. Like I was not drinking because of you guys. And then when you're not drinking and you go, I'm not drinking for me, it's very fucking different. And then then I got really comfortable on planes and I was like, oh, I can get through this.
Why can't scientists
Like it.
just make a booze that doesn't kill you?
Yeah.
Can't you fucking
You know
wizards
scientists.
out
Ask 'em.
there
There has to be.
It has to be.
make a booze that doesn't kill you?
So they say
There's
natural
gotta
wine is
be
better
a
for you?
way to if you can make synthetic marijuana and turn it into pills. There's gotta be a way to take whatever the fuck it is that alcohol does good,
Yeah.
that gives you that fun,
The sparkle.
carefree,
Sparkle, the buzz.
The
fun.
sparkle
smile,
is so fucking cool.
the
God,
buzz,
Everything
smile.
feels right.
It's got to be.
Boys,
It washes
the buzz
over you. The sun
smile.
sets and the day goes away.
Oh,
And you're just
bro.
like in a good mood. You get that buzz. You ride it.
A
you
nice
ride
meal. Like how many times have we had meals on the road where we're having a couple of drinks, we're eating a
And
nice meal,
slowly goes
we're
up.
talking and we're laughing, and we're
It's a
just
lubricant.
enjoying ourselves.
God damn.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It's such a
The
fucking
post show.
tool.
The post show.
Dude, I was doing the Wilbur. I'll do it
greatest.
again this weekend. But she asked Bloomer's daughter, like,
Did you say Ari Shafir's going to be at the Wilbur in Boston this
yeah.
weekend?
Thursday and Friday?
The legendary
shit.
Wilbur.
So
shows.
funny. I thought you were in Cheyenne, Wyoming next week.
How many shows?
Oh, is that you?
Oh, I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
How many shows
and
you
then
did?
through Colorado.
3 shows. So
Three
two
shows in the
two
Wilbur.
Saturday, one Friday.
2 Friday, 1 Thursday.
Oh no! Oh shit!
You're not going to be in
Whoa, whoa,
Atlantic
whoa,
City at the Hard
Artie.
Rock?
What?
You're not going to be at the
Fucking
Atlantic City Hard Rock?
No, who's the? Wait, I saw. The
Oh no,
calendar.
no! I'm there in
That's you.
in the
I
I did
summer.
that.
with-
I
I'm in
did
there
that
in
with
the
Joey.
summer.
I did it with Joey and Tony. It was fun.
Do you know what Joey told me? He goes,
What?
I'm coming. First of all, he goes, if I see you wearing those glasses, I'm going to fucking break them. And I go, what? I go, he calls me. Like, I'm in Hawaii. And I'm like, what? Like, Happy New Year. And he's like, you got to take those off. I go, I need them to see, though. I put them on to see.
No, cocksucker.
And he goes, it can't be those. I go, why? He goes, you fucking doing the news? And I go, no. I
Doing the
just,
news. That's when people read in
How
Joey's
you
life.
doing the news?
I go, well, dude, okay.
the news.
Am I allowed? I go, can I wear another pair of glasses that are approved?
And he
And
said-
he's like, he goes, yeah. He goes, but it can't be those. And I go, okay.
Like
and
you're
then
gonna
he
beat
goes,
with the bars,
He
so-
takes his buddy Holly over here.
yeah. He goes, I'll see you in
No.
I'll see you in 2 weeks. And I go, where are you going to see me in 2 weeks? He goes, when you come to Jersey, when you're in Atlantic City. And I go, oh, great. He goes, I noticed. The last time you were in Jersey, you didn't give me a call. You were hanging out with your white friends. And I go. He goes, don't think I forgot. You're fucking Hispanic. You give me a call every time you come to Jersey. I go, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's the king of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Joey's open to a residency here.
In Austin?
Yeah,
you used to do that.
We're
once a
talking
month?
about doing it once a month. Joey will come down for like 3 days.
Great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Joey and I should get a house together. I'm here for 3 days.
Dude, he loosened up on the podcast, like having a podcast with Joey, like you forget
great he is.
like what that dude is.
I don't.
What a special unicorn.
He really is.
I've said this.
He's the unicorn. Like, there's no one even remotely like him.
He was there when RE drugged me. He came and saved my life. He came.
Saved
He
your
came.
life.
He
Jesus, this is getting dramatic.
He just
stole the other
no.
Molly.
I was having
He stole the other Molly.
No, this is the best Joey Diaz story. He goes, I call him up. I'm having a panic attack. I go, Joey, I already just drugged me. He's like, I'll be there in 5, cocksucker. Walks through the house. He goes, Mrs. K, don't come out back. Bad shit's happening out there. comes out and goes, what's going on, cocksuckers? I go, Ari just drugged me. And he goes, let me see it. Ari pulls out the other Molly. Joey takes it, eats it, and goes, we're all seeing the devil's dick tonight, cocksucker. No one's dying on my watch. If you die, I die. We're all dying. He's the fucking best.
We're all seeing the devil's dick tonight.
He's the best.
He's funniest human
I'll
being
buy
I've
a
ever
house
met.
with Joey in a heartbeat.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the ways to do it. I think
Get a comedy condo.
make it. I'm
you
legitimately thinking about that. I've been thinking about that anyway because I've been thinking about doing a studio in downtown Austin with a view because there's like
up
apartments
high?
that have a view. And if you could do a studio in an apartment out there, you could have nighttime podcasts right after doing a comedy show.
Drunk cast.
So you do a show at the comedy, just like we used to do at the Ice House.
Yeah.
So you do a
Finish
show,
your
at the
show.
mothership, and then go straight up to the condo, which is like 3 minutes away.
Dude,
I'm
we should do that.
gonna.
It makes sense,
We
right?
should do that.
I'm gonna
That's rad.
problem solve this. And after doing now, I think 7 sets in this couple days at your club. I think that's a horrible idea. The amount of freedom that is at your club, the amount of free speech at your club
They'll come
is
right out
so
there.
dangerous. Yesterday, I went up and I was like, wait, I didn't realize I can say anything I want.
You should have seen his face light up. He's like, what are those bags on everybody's tables?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
And
you
so-
didn't know?
I didn't know. And,
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was like, wow, Shane Gillis is really taking some chances.
He's
and then,
about how communism's good.
yeah, Pol Pot was a god. And so I got up. I was hosting and then did an hour at the end of the show. Well, we did like 3 hours at the end of the show.
We did a long time
But
together.
wild shit. But I didn't realize you can say whatever you want. You really can just take chances.
Yeah.
So I felt like I wasn't doing my due diligence as a comic. So I wrote the worst joke I could think of, like just insider joke, just like a. I was just and it did well, and I was like, "Fuck, this is crazy."
You want to take that energy up to that studio and do a podcast.
And then I get off your thing, and I'm talking wild, and then I go up to yours, and I'm like, you know what about Hitler? Here's the deal. His dad wasn't a bad guy.
He came from good people.
He came because he was a beekeeper. You know that, Joe. You interviewed a beekeeper.
I did interview a vegan. I basically interviewed almost every walk of life, I think.
Yeah.
yeah, how many episodes have you done now?
2000.
Wow.
2093.
Yeah, and then there's the Fight Companions, which is like 100 and how many of those?
There's probably 60 to 70 of those and
I did one of those.
153 MMA shows.
Yeah, so that's another 200. So it's-
What's your worst one?
I don't think I have a lot of bad ones.
Oh wow,
have
we
some
can
bad
go
ones.
around and nail our stinkers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, the
interviewed-
early ones definitely I sucked at it.
No, you didn't. That was
That's
that
what's-
was when it was wild.
It was wild.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
but
so
I mean, you
outlawed.
just but if you're having conversations with people, you're not good at like facilitating the conversation, especially if you're talking to a scientist and you're trying to get as much information into as many people's minds as possible. It's if there's any confusion about what they're saying, you have to know when to interrupt them or when to lay back or when to you got to bookmark like a thought like
yeah.
I don't want to interrupt, but I got to bookmark this because I got to understand what do you mean exactly
Yeah, you're
by
good.
that.
You're good at saying that. Wait. That wasn't clear to me. Can you say that? Like, make that clear to me. I'm not
But you
sure.
can't pretend you understand something if you don't. You know, you have to. You have to just like you're almost like a cattle herder a little bit for the conversation. You're just kind of trying to keep the conversation. You're trying to let it flow as much as possible, but you're also trying to like. You have to interact with it, like so. You have to figure out like what am I not absorbing about this.
Do you feel like there's somebody looking back that you understood the least? In other words, you were like, "Fuck, I don't get what is going on, no matter how hard I try."
Simulation theory is the big one because I had this conversation with what was that gentleman? Remember we had he was.
I was hoping it was a subject I'd understand.
It's
like swimming.
it's about probability theory.
Probability theory?
Yeah. So what his argument was like simulation theory.
Nick Bostrom.
That's it. Thank you.
That's what I thought.
He's brilliant, brilliant guy. But when we're having this conversation, he was talking about simulation theory and saying that simulation theory, the idea that this whole thing we're experiencing is just a simulation, because of probability theory, because of the probability of extraterrestrial civilizations, just given the amount of planets that are out there, the amount of time that has gone on, this is an inevitable thing that's going to happen. And that it's probably already happened.
That it's probable that this is a simulation?
If it's not, it's going to happen, and it probably already has. The idea through
That we're in the first
I know
run of
if
a
you're
billion runs is
if you're a real
ridiculous.
expert, salute.
Let's finish it.
I know I'm butchering this, but I believe the concept in layman's terms is that given the sheer number of planets that probably have intelligent life, and given the amount of time, if they can develop technology to the point where we have, and then further on to the point where you literally create some sort of a simulation that all time and all experiences exist in. And that this was something that was possible through technology eventually. And if you look at all these planets, you look at the direction that human beings are going, you look at how far our technology has progressed in a relatively short period of time, it's inevitable, give it 1,000 years, 10,000 years from now, if we don't blow the Earth up, we will have a simulation theory that's indiscernible from the reality you're experiencing right now. And that may be how life is experienced sometime in the future when we integrate with computers.
Wow.
That might be like one step into that integration.
Wow.
So yeah, having that conversation
Yeah.
is like, what?
That also gives you, I think you might have a better perspective than people when you when you really break down how brilliant some people are. Like the scale, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're all of like moderate intelligence, and you go like, oh, you can understand these things. Like I can have this conversation with you. No. And then, you meet people who are notably not there, and then people who are
Look at you
existing
like,
on looking
like
like
an
are you a
idiot.
child?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go, wow, those people are really operating on another wavelength, right?
Who
It's almost
simulates
like,
them?
Like
it's just like athletes.
athletic. I was about to
Yeah.
say it's like athletic ability. There's
Yeah.
some people who you go, holy shit, you have
Yeah.
a 40-inch vertical.
Yeah, like just dunk it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Well,
What?
there's some people that are just, I mean, we've all met guys that don't even work out, and they're just ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
They just have superior genetics.
Thank you.
All right.
You know, there's a lot of folks like that are just country strong.
The guy that'll do the tomahawk dunk in jeans, and you're like, wait, what?
What's
It
happening?
doesn't even work out. You know,
You
guy-
mean Cam Hayes' children run marathons in jeans?
Yeah.
They're
At
like
lunch.
they're different. They're different
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I-
And his
I-
other son's a ranger.
Yeah. They're,
Yeah. I mean, there's
I sat with Cam-
different,
yeah.
different humans.
That D1 body where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is different.
Well, Cam's dad was an athlete too.
Really?
hardcore
Yeah.
runner. His book is amazing.
I think Cam's, wasn't he a jumper?
I
What did he do? He was
Cam's so modest,
He was
too.
like a very high level athlete. His father was.
Cam's modest as shit about
He's
it.
so modest.
Yeah, he's like, you're like, how the fuck? He's like, well, you just gotta.
You know what, man?
Get
That
that
guy
run
is always
started.
tired.
Is he?
He's always
I
tired.
hope so.
Fall asleep at dinner
He wants-
tables.
But I mean, that's why he's like so chill.
Yeah.
He's conserving energy. He knows this is run 18 miles
Bet
in
he
the morning.
sleeps like a baby though. Huh?
Oh, I bet he sleeps like a brick.
I think he's
bet
like
so.
I think he's Christian, so then he doesn't
He is.
worry about death.
He
He just
never
goes,
masturbates.
I get to go to
Yeah.
heaven.
Yeah.
His shoes. Have you run with his shoes?
what are we doing over here?
Those shoes are great.
They're the- I wanted to put a post out or a post out today because they're that good.
Oh, they're great. They're
Wait,
excellent.
he
and they
has
look
his own
cool.
brand of shoes?
So Cam was sponsored for a long time
Jesus.
Hold
by
up, Jamie.
Under Armour. And then he went for a second, tried out Solomon, and then he said, fuck it, I'm just going to make mine. I think he has his own clothing brand, but he's doing his very own shoe. And when you get a motherfucker that can run like he does, who develops technology and the shit that makes him comfortable, this shoe is amazing.
Oh,
These
wow.
boa laces
And it's
keep
got
your heel in place.
Blood splattered on it.
Yeah.
From his broken
That's blood.
tails.
That's blood. You can say it's mud, but it's red. Shut the fuck up. You know what that is.
I love that Tom's pouring a
They're
drink.
dope.
This is the Tom I
They're
love.
dope sneakers, and they're super comfortable.
They're amazing. And
Tom's
the
a
thing
Scotch
about
guy.
so the
Joe?
thing about
let's
plantar
go.
fasciitis that a lot of people have is your foot moves around in your shoe. Laces do that, but with Cam's shoe, those BOA things lock your heel in. And I've been running every single day, no plantar fasciitis, and they're very fucking comfortable.
Yeah, they're great. You know, I think plantar fasciitis probably is a lot about foot strength and foot endurance, isn't it?
I used to have it.
I think
Sucks.
so.
Like you just go too far.
Everybody also, like the PTs will tell you that a lot of that originates from your big toes movement, though.
Oh, really?
And if you start to, because you can feel plantar fasciitis starting a lot of times. You're like, oh, this is starting to get uncomfortable. It's not full blown.
In the mornings.
And they'll tell you to train your big toe.
Wow.
To work on strength with your big toe.
People move to New York get it because you're walking constantly.
Yeah.
You guys walk so much
And then
more.
it's just like, what the fuck's in my heel?
Do you
Every
remember when
morning.
you told me to get Rolfed for my plantar fasciitis?
Yeah.
What is that? When you suck cum out of a dude's asshole?
Hey.
No, that's
Naked
Gail
Martin.
Felching.
Don't you know this
Felching.
show is
Felching.
going onto
two
the
loves.
internet?
This is Felching.
The whole world's going to listen to this show.
Do you know how many fucking people are going to book a video with that guy right now?
Oh, so many.
I hope they
He's
don't get in
rich
front
right
of
now.
our order.
Oh,
The
they
guy's
are.
going to be rich.
You know,
Well, in a perfect world, he would be rich.
Yeah.
Because that's an oddity that, like, if you're going to go that far,
Performing a service.
You deserve
Why not?
something.
you deserve money.
That's the only fans I'm signing
That guy
up for.
ate his
That
own
guy.
shit covered in cum, and we
He didn't
watched.
even pause.
And he smiled.
And he smiled,
The
and
thumbs up is
I,
great.
who hosted Fear Factor for 6 years, I almost threw up
You're
well.
out of shape.
from watching that screen.
we're so excited for you to get your present.
What's the present?
Nothing. You'll see.
You'll see. It'll be in the group thread.
That feeling of
Yeah.
that's such a horrible feeling. It was like,
That's the why.
You don't have a
Gets
throw
up here.
up thing.
oh, I do.
For real?
He holds it.
Yeah. Well, here's what's fascinating. I lost it when I was filming Fear Factor.
You got
But
to- you got
nothing
to-
can make me puke.
Desensitized.
Desensitized. Completely desensitized. Before, I was the kid in high school that, like, if you threw up in the hallway, I would throw up.
I do.
Really?
Like, "Blah," like you smell
Really?
throw up, you're like, "Blah."
That's the YMH
Yeah.
wretch.
Yeah.
The YMH right?
Yeah.
It is what it is. I think that's evolutionary. I think that when you
get you away.
smell throw up, no. It's letting you know that someone around you has consumed something that's bad.
Yeah.
And that you should purge too.
Right.
So it's
Immediately.
it's like a survival
protecting you.
instinct.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a protective instinct. It's not a weakness to want to throw up when you smell throw up. It's actually a strength.
So what happens when people cry and I cry too?
That's good too, because
You're
you're
homo.
commiserating.
I cry
You're
so
showing you're a
much.
good person.
I cry so
Yeah,
much.
you're a
lately.
sweetheart.
Really? Because you switched to weed more.
Yeah. Well, weed is really beautiful.
Weed'll get you crying.
It allows you to
Cam.
appreciate.
You're an
gonna grow-
emotional guy,
you're gonna
though.
grow tits.
I cried the other day on our podcast.
You did?
He's growing tits.
Nobody cries more on podcasts.
Not me
than Bert.
anymore.
He cries a lot.
I cry a
a
lot.
lot.
I regret a couple cries.
Yeah.
Schultz's, I regret that one.
You cried on Schultz's podcast?
Of course.
What'd you cry about?
Fucking nothing.
Bambi.
No.
Parking was tough.
No, he fucked me up.
Parking was tough.
No, marketing. I think you're going to say marketing.
Marketing.
No, he brought out a clown and some balloons, and it fucking fucked me up.
Clown and balloons made you cry.
Oh, I
No,
think I saw that.
no. It gave me a panic attack.
What?
And then I don't like clowns. You were shaking. Now I'm just fucking looking over my shoulder.
Hold the fuck on.
He's like
Hold the fuck on.
That's my favorite
Hold the
Joe
fuck
What,
on.
by the way. What?
when he lets it in. He lets it in. He's
it's
like,
the
what?
fuck are you talking about?
Hold on. What?
Yeah.
For real?
Schultz gave me the opportunity to not. Don't play it.
Wait a
Don't play
minute,
it.
wait a
Don't play
minute,
it. Don't
wait a
play it. There's no reason to play it.
Okay. No, you have a real issue with clowns?
And then you became one?
Yeah, technically, isn't that crazy? Yeah. I have a real issue with clowns and a real issue with balloons. Like if I smell balloons, I fucking freak out. They freak me out.
Wasn't there a Jerry Lewis movie that was never released where he was like a clown in the Holocaust?
What?
Oh.
Really?
No.
Well, Life is Beautiful?
No. Patch
Life
is
is
the
Beautiful.
clown.
Patches.
Patch
Patch,
Adams?
that was, no, it was Robin Williams.
Patch Adams.
Patch Adams.
No,
Is
he
that
was in
what
the
it
hospital, though.
He was a doctor who was a clown for kids.
Good morning, Neil. Well, who's that? The day that laughter cried?
Yeah, there was there is a Jerry Lewis movie. There's some weird Jerry Lewis movie that never got released.
Oh, that's weird.
Long buried Holocaust movie. The Day the Clown Cried may finally be viewable 1 year today.
So they buried it.
Yeah, they buried it.
It's like,
Like what? This. They
And
must have been
it's going to
doing
be
coke.
available to view at one place.
Hey, everybody, get in the oven.
One of few people have seen even a rough cut of the film. Comedian and
Library
voiceover artist Harry Shearer of The Simpsons told Spy magazines in 1992 that the movie is so drastically wrong. Its pathos and its comedy are so wildly misplaced that you could not, in your fantasy of what it might be like, improve on what it really is. Oh my God. That's all you can say. This movie was so bad.
I wanna see it
They
so bad
buried
now.
it forever.
Holy shit.
Wow.
They buried it forever. And when did this movie get released? 72. So this is a movie from 1972 that was so bad
That never saw the
they
light
put
of
it
day.
in a vault in the bottom of the earth.
I'd pay to buy it.
I want
I'd
to
buy it. I'd
see
buy
it
it.
so bad.
even if it's bad, I want to see it.
I want to see it more than I want to listen to that
How did
Wu-Tang
Harry
album
Shearer see it?
that Martin Skrilla.
Yeah,
Big
that-
J
I
has
was thinking
Big J
about that
has
the
it.
other
yeah,
day.
that made
Big
me
J
angry.
has it.
What do you mean?
What?
Big J has it.
Martin
What did he
Skrilla went
have?
on Legion of
Yeah,
Skanks.
he went on Legion of Skanks. It's one of the most frustrating episodes to listen to because it's Legion of Skanks and you have Martin Shkreli and Shane Gillis is grilling him.
Yeah.
But you got Legion of Skanks being Legion of Skanks.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't really care about the information. They just want to fucking talk about whatever.
Cum.
Cum and everything. But
Such.
Martin Shkreli said, I have the album, you want it? And all of them are like, fuck yes. And he's
So
like,
how did he give it to them?
Jay's
the
the
same
one
way
with
you
the
got
vinyl
your
player.
thing. Just
Yeah, but
DM'd
in
it
what
to him.
form?
Like just sent them an
a
MP3.
vinyl. No.
What?
So
So
just-
then it's out on the internet
No,
now?
no. Legion of Skanks didn't. No one ever shared it.
Wait a minute. Well, so what's Martin doing with it?
he bought it.
It's
I
by the
thought
way,
it was
it's
a vinyl.
I gotta send everyone to the episode. It's one of the most fascinating episodes I've ever
Is it
listened to.
good? Have you listened to it?
No, I don't have it. They have it.
He had some good information where he was like, he was like, got the thing for the AIDS.
It's so
And he goes,
interesting.
he's jacking the price. He goes, you know what no one ever said? There's also a generic version of the same drug
For $40.
For $40. I don't know why everybody's mad at me. You can still get it. You just can't get the name brand thing.
It's the
Wait,
best.
you can get the generic version?
Yes.
What
They
does the
all-
generic version mean?
It's like Viagra versus whatever the fuck.
But wait, you can hear it?
No. Of the AIDS medication.
Oh, we're
yeah.
talking about AIDS. I'm talking
Yeah.
about Wu-Tang.
Yeah, you care more about
no,
Wu-Tang.
I don't care about
Generic version.
I was like, what's that
What does
mean?
that mean? It's not finished?
I was I'm so confused about
was like-
generic drugs.
My-
That's hilarious.
My brain just went to like, wait, is it without RZA?
Well, hey, this is a real conversation, but this is a real conversation because with AI, they're going to do that.
Yeah.
They're going to make new versions of Wu-Tang songs.
I keep
They already
think-
did it with Drake.
I think that the thing too is, you know how they go, oh, likeness and right,
Yeah.
like the stars, like, hey, I want to. This movie's without Tom Cruise will be like, no, you cannot use my likeness. I'm protecting it. That's like what some of this like labor union stuff is about, protecting your image and likeness.
Yes.
But I just feel like there's there's just gonna be one of these offers to one of these people where they go, okay,
Go for it.
right? Like
$20
it's
million?
gonna-
Go for it.
Oh,
Nicolas
well,
Cage.
like-
You know,
Nicolas Cage.
Bruce Willis has a neurological
Right.
condition.
Yes.
I
He's not
forget.
doing well.
I forget what it's called.
Yes.
it's called aphasia. I think I
Aphasia.
might have
Yeah,
it.
you're right. You're right.
You,
It's
I talk about it
you just bring
nonstop.
it back to yourself.
Of course.
We're just here talking about.
I can't look at a post and not think about me.
He's.
I could see
so
getting
Bruce
money for
Willis
Die Hard
sold.
7.
Bruce Willis sold his likeliness.
Like this.
So you can likeness. Sorry, for the purpose of AI.
He did.
Yes.
Yeah, you could
This
do
is
that.
got to be. See if
all
you
I
can
can
find
say
out
is
what that is.
thank you.
I mean, but in his position, I mean, he's
can't work.
incapable of making money
Yeah.
anymore.
No, he can't work.
He has a real issue.
Yeah.
It's actually very advanced, and they think this is we're at the close to the end.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I follow his daughter,
crazy.
Tallulah.
So, no, Bruce Willis didn't sell his likeness to a deep fake company. Despite initial reports, the deep fake company does not own the rights to Bruce Willis' likeness. Partially because that's literally not possible, the company said. Willis appeared in a recent advertisement through Deepcake, which managed to create a digital twin of Willis that can appear in new content despite the actual Willis retiring from acting as a result of aphasia, a brain disorder that hinders cognition and speech abilities. I like the precision of my character, Willis said of the process, according to the quote in Deepcake website. It's a great opportunity for me to go back in time. The neural network was trained on content of Die Hard and Fifth Element, so my character is similar to the images of that time. Whew. So it's young Bruce Willis doing ads.
I sent you guys.
what they're saying,
Yeah,
right?
that is what they're saying.
I sent
Yeah.
you guys George Carlin's new special.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's
hold on a
insane.
second. But hold on a second. That seems like that is what we're saying.
Yeah,
It feels like that. This is, and also this is literal phase one of
Phase
this,
one.
of the
Yeah.
A-list celebrity being like, you can use it for this.
Sure,
But,
when
like,
Barbara
where does-
Streisand gets to be a certain age,
Right.
and
Right.
Trump's president
fuck it.
again,
I'll just make
she
more money.
might say, you know what?
For
Just
$200 million,
fucking sell
go for it.
soap with my
Exactly.
young face.
And also, what about the people who? It's not a major movie making it. It's just some YouTube account.
what happens
times a
to
million
dead
of them.
people? You know, what happens to like
To their
James
estate?
Cagney?
Their estate
Can
goes,
what if the estate decides to
the Marilyn
you know,
Monroe estate?
Yeah,
goes,
Charles Bronson selling soap.
Yeah.
So this is the George Carlin one that came out a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
How many views?
It says
Change the cover.
just under 500K.
How many views?
It keeps getting pulled down.
Where it goes
But I
to
was
the-
looking-
really.
It keeps getting pulled down, because
they changed
George
the cover.
Carlin's daughter Kelly, I think, doesn't want it up.
Here's what I was going to bring up.
Oh, I disagree with that.
This
That's,
is it's put on a YouTube account called Dudesy.
Yeah.
Dudesy says, I'm a comedy AI. I like it. They wrote this as though Dudesy made it,
Yeah.
if you will.
Uh-huh.
When you look at what Dudesy is, Dudesy's a account
Oh,
run
it's
by
Will.
Will Sasso.
It's Will Sasso.
But they have an AI that
Maybe
Oh,
that's
Will
where-
Sasso.
wait a minute.
That's where it becomes like, how would Will Sasso have this super secret AI
Well,
program?
hold
Or
on.
did
Will
they just write
Sasso.
it?
Will Sasso has a podcast, if I'm not mistaken, where he has AI bring up the subjects of the podcast, and that's what they talk about. Theoretically thinking this will, based on research, be one of the best podcasts out there.
well, there's a podcast on it. Look, click on that. It says
That's
George
what this-
Carlin resurrected.
That's what this is. So that's what I'm trying to say is like when I was looking into like what is this George Carlin thing? It's on this account that
Right.
they call Dudesy, and they're saying like Dudesy made this.
Oh, so they made it through AI.
Yeah, it's most likely like that Kanye song we played with Tony, where someone wrote in the like word and how George Carlin would write, and then performed it all, and then got George Carlin's voice to go over top of that. To
Well, it's like a
replace it.
version
No.
of his voice,
Oh,
right?
wait a minute. So
No, no,
AI
no.
didn't write the
I
jokes?
think so.
no, I heard AI wrote the jokes.
That's tough. That's
Wait,
where it becomes very tough.
You think
they
wait,
did
you're
on-
saying that AI didn't write the jokes?
In this case, I don't know, but it seems a lot more like the fake thing, like the Drake song and the Kanye song, where it's not 100% done by AI. What you're hearing is like an AI doing a deep fake video, like.
And who
but
would
just with
write- who would
audio.
write it?
In that case, it was the rapper who wrote the rap song. In this case, it's probably comedians who know how to write like
on
George
Skanks
Carlin.
this week they played AI versions of their stand-ups to the Soder, Jay, Lewis, Dave, and one other guy I forget. And they were like, "Here's your AI version of your stand-up," and they just played it for them, and they all broke it down.
How was it?
They said it was a lot of fun.
It's hard to be worse.
Yeah, butterly.
Yeah.
It's hard. Hopefully, it's not amazing.
You're the only one that got that
Not that
joke.
bad.
You
I
got
feel like
that.
we're-
Lewis is like, can I use that?
I feel like we're joking around about the first rain shower that comes before the torrential flood that caused
I think
Noah
it's
to
gonna
build a
get bad.
fucking ark.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get bad.
I
Oh,
think yeah.
it's going to
Scary.
be a new world. Like the world is going to be built in a very hazy way.
All this stuff about AI, everybody like we all talk. It's scary, and you see, you know, I understand why Writers Guild was like really concerned about this.
They should
And
be.
they're concerned by version 1, dude.
Right.
Like this just started,
And this is
Imagine
teaching the next
first
version.
fucking iPhone, and you're like, this is
Also,
wild.
it's going to get rid of a lot of shitty writers.
That's the thing. Like, can you
true.
stop stealing
All those-
Copenhagen TV shows
all
and
those
fucking make
pe-
something?
All those people who keep making the same cop show over and over again, get the fuck out.
Doing Mr. and Mrs.
For
Smith.
the
But
here's
what
the
if-
thing, it'll replace a lot of low level basic shit.
And you'll lose a lot of great
you
ones.
still need your Christopher Nolan to
yeah,
write
but Christopher
his stuff.
Nolan had to be a shitty writer first.
100%.
Yeah.
You got to be a shitty writer first to become Christopher Nolan.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to build, unless you're some wizard that comes out
Charles
of the womb.
Kaufman, Charlie
But
Kaufman.
that's very rare. Right?
Very rare.
The only thing I think that would be beneficial is be great if I could do my podcast with AI and then type in, yo, can you take all the
Yo?
annoying parts of me out of there? Like when I talk over you or I talk like I would love.
How about
laugh.
just not talk over people?
Hey,
you
Joe,
don't need a
it's kind
fucking
of tough.
robot.
It's kind of fucking tough.
You don't need a robot to do
I
it for
finally,
you.
I told you, so Bert has this thing where anybody with any level of celebrity, he fucking geeks out
It does.
so hard
It's
on
so
it.
embarrassing.
Like a TikTok.
Oh, I love your
person.
stuff.
He's like, I'm the biggest fan. Oh my God, I saw the video. Oh my God, I'm the biggest fan. I love you so much. I saw the thing. And then he goes, and then he waits to tell them about him. He's like, he tells them his
Shut up.
resume.
Bert, do you have imposter syndrome?
Of course. If you don't, I am curious why.
I didn't say I don't.
Okay, yeah. Of course I have it. Of
Why
course
is
I
it
have
so
it.
aggressive?
No,
tonight?
because
Very aggressive, right at you.
Wasn't my answer was fairly calm.
No, but
right?
imposter syndrome
I was
is
just
kind
trying
of
to find out what he was feeling.
Imposter syndrome has been loaded as like a slur is like
I don't think it's a slur at all.
I have it.
It's a
Hardcore.
No,
It's a slur.
I think it's a
Hardcore.
No. I don't
think it
it's
comes
a
and
slur.
goes.
I think imposter syndrome is a sign of an introspective person
Yeah.
who's trying to navigate a very bizarre situation. I think it's completely 100% natural and normal. And if you didn't have it, again, like what you said, I would be curious.
And
why
don't you think it
don't
comes
have
in waves? Like you,
Yep.
there's
Yeah,
there's
what am I
times when
doing?
you feel it.
Yeah.
But the whole reason I brought you up doing that because you're ridiculous with it. Like
I'm really
you
bad.
do it to everyone.
I didn't do it to Joe. Oh, I did it to Joe.
But you told me
You didn't do
go,
it to me.
Yeah, I did. You didn't see it.
he did it well
What
to
the
you.
fuck does that mean? How did I not
I did
see
it really
it?
well. Oh, Joe, when I met you, I was at your front door. I'd already Zillowed how much you paid for your house. I fucking said to you real quick, I said, hey man, I'm such a big fan. I need to meet your dog. I need to see your deprivation tank. I want to play pool and I want to get high, and then we can do the podcast. And you were very generous. You're like, cool. I remember you walked me in your door. You said, hey man, if you stand on this thing and you work out, it like shakes your body, whatever that thing
Yeah.
was. And you're like, come on, we'll go down and see it. And you took me out. We saw Johnny Cash. You told me like, hey, we just got this properties for the dogs to be out there. I can't really have them. We got the kids. Come on, we'll go out back. I'll show you the swing set. We'll get high. We got high, and then we did the podcast. And I was like, man, that is the. Here's my thing: is there's generous celebrities, like generous, who give you their time, and they don't notice. And I was like, this guy's a real fucking guy. Like he's cool as fuck. And then we did the podcast. I had a fucking blast. And I remember going home and going like, man, I don't want to say this out loud, but I was like, I want to be like that guy. Like, I want to be like that guy, like cool as fuck and real. I remember little things in my life where I've pinpointed things in your life where I go, oh, I got a thing that Joe had. Your closet was a fucking mess. there were dildos, or not dildos. There was flashlights everywhere.
That was
and you
when
had
Fleshlight
so
was
much.
a sponsor. We would give flashlights away. To
Sure,
the
if people,
Oh, yeah.
that's the early
Oh,
days.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, do you want to fuck this when you go home?
And your attitude
tell
would
them,
be like,
hey,
it
you should
feels like
fuck
a
it.
pussy.
It feels great.
But I remember
They gave us a fucking. I had a pervert's box. I
Yeah.
had like a large box, like the.
That's how
washing
far this
machine
has come.
size.
That was the
that-
first.
that was
I got
the
the
first
alien
sponsor.
butthole. I got the alien butthole, the
Yeah.
blue one. But I remember you had so much stuff in there, and you had this generosity. You go, yeah, grab whatever you want, man. It's all stuff from people that want me to check it out. And I remember I took a bunch of vitamins. I like grab shit. I wasn't poor, but it was like free stuff, and I grabbed a bunch of shit, went home, and I was like, I look at life, and when you talk about imposter syndrome, I highlight. We talked about this the other day. I highlight cool people, and I kind of want to be like them because I go, man, I want to be a better person. You know, like.
But he does this thing where he's like, I met the lead singer of, Wilco. I humiliated myself.
I humiliated myself. I humiliated myself.
He just tells him how much he loves them, and then he's like, have you seen my stuff?
Dude.
But he
I
tells me,
hung out with George R.R. Martin.
oh, yeah.
George
the
R.R. Martin.
Game
How'd you
of
meet
Thrones.
him at a buffet?
Good. That was good.
It was really good.
What
That
is
was
that
good.
one?
It's when a bunch of food's out and you can just take as much as you want. Bert loves them. He's on a website. He's an app. Buffetsnearme.com.
I saw him at a Grateful Dead concert.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
cool.
And I clocked him like 3 times. 3 times. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night.
You want to?
And then Sunday night, that's us. Sunday night, I couldn't control myself, man. I was a junkie. I was like the way a pedophile must feel when he sees kids riding
So the
bikes.
best part is that Bert tells him, how much
Shut
he loves
up.
the
Would
show.
you shut up?
Well,
Just shut
and
up.
then-
Just shut the
and then
fuck up,
George,
Tom. Stop.
George reveals things about the show that like nobody knows. And then when they leave, Leanne's like, can you believe he told you all that? And he's like, told us what? He's like, well, he told you all like those insights, like secrets about Game of Thrones. And he's like, what secrets? And he's like, I just wasn't listening because I wanted to talk.
He's like a cokehead.
He was just waiting to talk.
He told me secrets about writing.
You just embrace this aspect of yourself. It seems you don't like it. It makes you angry when it comes out. You get upset at yourself, but yet you also embrace it.
Yeah.
It's so gross, though. It's so gross.
fascinating.
It's
It's like
George
you're
loved
playing tic-tac-toe against yourself in
It's
your own
funny.
head.
But here's the thing: I wanted to confess to you because you told me that you admire the way that I am around celebrities.
I love
right?
it. I love it. I want to be that. You're the guy in an orgy. You're the guy in the porn who's jerking off before he fucks her. Like I'm the guy in the porn going, I
that
got
might
3
be
minutes
the
to
worst
give you.
analogy literally ever. That one
But
makes no sense.
the
No
thing
one's like,
is-
no one listened to that was like, yeah,
I get it. I get it.
yeah, that's a
relatable.
good
Totally
call.
relatable.
Good call.
But here's the thing. What I told him was the truth, which was that I would say 90% of the time when I meet a famous person, I don't care that I'm meeting them. In other words, like I'm just like, yeah, all right, what's up? How you doing? So it looks like I'm being cool or aloof, but I just don't give a shit.
He really genuinely does not
I just
care.
don't care.
He really does not.
Right, because if you go like, hey, this is the
Yeah.
guy from the show, I'm like, what's up, man?
How's that
Anytime
going
I've
for
ever
you?
met a famous person, I text Tommy immediately and go, guess who I just met? And I send him a picture. And then Tommy has hung out, legit is friends with Brad Pitt and Jason Momoa and didn't fucking tell me. And then I go, why wouldn't you tell me this immediately? And he goes, I don't know. I didn't think about
It
it.
just didn't really. But then he goes, well, what would it take? And I'm like, I don't know. And then I text you last night. I go, I guess it's Snoop Dogg, because I fucking went into his. We were on Kimmel, and I went into his dressing room, and I was like, I guess I'm going Burt. I did my version.
Wow.
Of Burt. I was like, it's so admirable that your career has lasted. I did.
didn't.
Oh,
Trying to
that's
suck his gut
fucking
in.
great.
You know
Snoop's a
what,
tough
though?
one.
He's so
Snoop's a tough
nice.
one.
He's so
nice. He's so
and
nice.
all I did was I was like, I couldn't believe I'm on with him. I met him first. First, he told me, he was like, it's good to see you again. I was like, we've never met.
He thought you were me.
And then I went back into his dressing room, and I was just like, it was great to be on the show with you. And I had to tell him, I was like, it's just crazy to me that I bought your album. I bought it in '93.
Tape.
The year before, in '92, was a deep cover. I bought that, and you're still Snoop. It's crazy. It's 30 fucking whatever years.
Yeah, he's got the best longevity of
And you know,
anybody.
he's
And so
like,
I go,
okay.
I just admire that like so much. And then he said, he says everything cool.
Yeah.
Wait, try
goes-
to guess what I'm
Shut the
thinking.
fuck up,
Hey,
Bert.
tell him
Jesus
how it
Christ.
goes. No,
Bert.
no, no, I know where this is going.
Let
I know
him
this is
talk.
going.
He goes, let me get a flick with you. And I go, oh, that means picture. Like I had to, let me
Did he
get a
quickly
flick
do
with
it?
you. And I was like, yeah. So he asked for the photo. And then I was like, yeah, this is, he goes, yeah, I want to be a movie star too. And I'm like, I'm not in any movie.
You were in a very big movie with Mark Wahlberg.
Bro, do you know how high he is all day long?
Do you know how high he was there?
Snoop lives in an alternative dimension.
Yeah.
It's
And he
not,
really
it's
is.
not where we are.
It's very cool to be, because I know you've been on the podcast, but like to be around someone and be around other people who you're like, dude, everyone, every age group, every generation
Loves him.
Everybody
He did
just loves
Sesame
him.
Street.
It's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun to be
Did a
around.
show
only
with Martha
time-
Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time I ever saw him serious is on this podcast when he was talking about how he had to switch to backwoods rolling papers. And he was like, the young kids are telling me, and I really had to make a change.
Yeah.
Other
He
You
than
rode
did,
that,
you
blunts.
did that fucking show with him.
Rode blunts the entire time.
Wasn't that like
Yeah.
crazy to be on a show?
I lived with Snoop for a month. We lived in a hotel together.
Wow.
We were across the hall, and I worked with him every day. But I have to say, and you know this, I was really nervous about meeting Snoop because I can overwhelm people sometimes. Like I have a large wake.
That's self-awareness. That's
See?
advanced.
He
Yeah,
does have
he
it.
still
That's
does stuff.
advanced, right?
I'm trying, but I said to Tommy, "Can you tell me how to meet Snoop? Because I know how you do it. You do it cool. Tell me how to do it cool because I want to be friends with him."
Hey, whatever, hi
Did you?
and
I
stuff.
don't even
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
this.
yeah. And you said, I like you. Snoop will like you. Be yourself. So I was myself, and of course I just fucking lost my goddamn shit. And Snoop stopped. Snoop stopped, and real quick, like in the middle of me being me, he just FaceTimes Red Grant, and he goes, "Hey, you know this guy?" And he flips it around, and I go, and Red goes, "He's cool," and he goes, "All right, cool." And he's like, "You're cool." It is me and Snoop FaceTime with Dave Chappelle and Donnell Rollins. But that was the night we got high, and fucking Snoop's the best, man.
He's
So
great.
you
fucking
you
best.
got him to the point where it's like, maybe I don't want to be in this conversation.
He had to check my
Like,
my,
He
my
checked him.
credibility.
He checked him.
Let
He had
me
to
get
check
this
my
guy's
credibility.
credits.
Yeah.
We were talking about Cat Williams, and I was talking about Pimp
Chronicles.
and then it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, but I knew that Snoop knew Red, and I knew that if I brought up Red, Snoop would think maybe, okay, he might know people I know.
That was smart.
But then immediately Snoop called me on my shit, and in the middle of my story, just FaceTime Red. You know him? And then Red's like, yeah, he's great. I love Bert.
Yeah, but haven't you ever had conversations with people where you don't know them and they pretend they know you?
All the
and
time.
They also bring up people that supposedly they know.
References
that you know.
you're not going to check.
Oh,
I
you
hope
know
don't
Chris,
check.
man. You know Chris, my boy Chris.
Yeah.
From
I met this dude,
Rochester?
and he was
You're like,
like,
yeah.
he goes, we met before. We met before with Mark Wahlberg. I go, oh, cool. Never met Mark Wahlberg.
oh, that's great. Yeah, you're just like, great.
I was like, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy liar person.
A lot of people say you bring your name up. It's
Yeah, that's wild.
astounding.
Yeah, I'm friends with Joe.
This a guy I met.
And I do it too.
His dentist told me. His dentist told him he played golf with me.
Oh yeah,
What?
Joe the
No,
golfer.
you-
Joe
Joe
the
the
golfer.
golfer?
This guy's
He's
like,
a
my
well-known
dentist plays
golfer.
golf with you.
Guy
Like,
does
I've
fucking
never
3
played
rounds
golf.
every day.
Well, your dentist is crazy. Don't let him operate
Yeah.
on you, bro. He's gonna put you under and
I think
stick his
the
dick in your
weirdest
mouth.
thing about
Wow.
the Joe connection is people being like, "Can you give this to Joe?"
Oh, I get that all the time.
That's the thing I get the
God
most. Where I'm
damn.
like, "Huh?"
God
and they're like, "I
damn.
wrote this. Can you give this to him?" I'm like,
What is it? Another manifesto?
Yeah, sure. I'll definitely.
If the type is really little, if they write really small, I get scared.
Or you get the scariest is you ever seen?
Tiny letters, like no.
You ever
if they try
seen-
to like 2 sentences in one line, like one on top of each other,
They
I'll
do.
be fucking terrified.
You ever seen writing on writing?
Yeah.
What do you
That's
mean?
that's schizophrenic. Schizophrenic. Telltale of schizophrenia. Writing on top of writing.
What do you mean on
Yeah.
top of writing?
So like
so
you
they'll
write
write
it
something and then write
right
over
on
it.
top of it. So like you can't read it.
Alien.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, check this out, and so you're just like, oh, yeah, no, this is good.
I'll get this to him.
Oh yeah, this is really
Just
great.
people.
Yeah, there's some people that, for whatever reason, whatever fucking happens, whether it's chemical or neurons, whatever it is that makes that shift, they're seeing things completely different than you.
Yeah. By the way, gentlemen, you all look very sharp.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Hey, by the way,
cheers
my-
to Bert because it was his idea
Yes.
for us all to wear suits.
Cheers.
How long have we been doing these? So the first one was the 3 of us, and that was the weight loss challenge.
That's 2017.
2017. I left there. I left right. I left.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys did it right before I took off.
It was
Right
the
before you became a New York comedian.
best thing you ever did.
before
Best
I
thing you
left
ever
for
did.
Asia.
Best thing you ever did.
Well, shut the fuck
Yeah, it was.
up.
I
I'm
loved it.
giving
I
him a
loved
hard
it.
time.
Ari changed
I'm in
the
the middle of
scope
giving
of
him a hard
comedy.
time, and Bert's cock blocking.
No.
This
All
is-
right, all right. You know what? Fuck
Ari
you.
changed the
Yeah.
scope of comedy.
Yeah, he did.
I did. I united the scenes.
You did.
United the scenes.
Well,
What are you-
would
are you
not.
wearing a
You would not
rosary?
know
What
Andrew
is
Schultz
that?
without Ari.
Sure.
I
You would
would-
not know Chris Stefano.
Is that a rosary?
You might. You may not know
I found it on the
Tim Dillon without Ari branching. Ari.
No, I reached out to Tim Dillon.
No, I showed you a tweet of his, and you're like, "That's good." Who
Hey,
is
that's
that?
too. No doubt, you 100% introduced me to very funny comedians.
Hold on, Joe.
he's
Joe. You do
very
not
funny.
know the back texts we have when we want to introduce you to people.
Why?
Because you are the biggest
You don't like
media
recommendations?
brand in the
I don't
world.
like what?
Recommendations.
You don't.
It's
You're
not
like,
true.
I'll find it on my own. And so it's like,
well, I
fair,
do
fair.
like to find as many things organically as possible.
I recommended Brian Simpson.
Yeah, you definitely did. Yeah.
He's the shit.
Well, Tommy's
He's the shit.
recommendations are different than me and Ari's.
We recommended Shane Gillis for a year.
How
and a half.
long did we text back and forth? Ari one time,
Why is this guy not taking this guy?
and we're like, yo, we got to send him the Toyota Isis, and then Ari's like, I'll send it. You reply and be like, how fucking funny is this, Ari?
Yep.
Listen, I get to things.
Oh my God, you're right.
I get to
good
things
call,
in the perfect
Ari.
amount of time.
You do. No, you
It
do.
is.
I
It's
have
all
to
working well.
follow. It's too overwhelming.
Yeah.
The wave that comes at me is
Yeah.
too overwhelming. So what I do is
Yeah.
I just do my best, just stay present, think about what I want
It's
to
a
talk.
lot of information coming
It's
at
actually
you.
freeing because people are like, can you get me on Joe's podcast? I'm like, he's not going to listen to me, so no. There's no point.
I had a guy. I'll say his name.
Yeah.
Guy reached out, wanted to be on Joe's podcast.
Reached-
So
Are
fucking
you
bad.
sure you want to say his name?
Sure, I don't care. I love
Why
the guy.
do it, though?
I love the
Feels
guy.
like-
Oh, I don't need to.
Who is it?
Theo Vaughn. Wanted to be on Joe's podcast before you would have ever clocked him. And he was like, hey, man, can you help me get on Joe's? And I said to Theo, you know what? It's not good if I take you to him. Trust me. I go, trust me, you're so fucking funny. Joe's going to find you. And when you do his podcast, you'll murder because Joe loves you. And Theo's first appearance on this podcast was a
great.
monster. And I'm trust you. If I had said like, Joe, can you take my buddy? You would have. And Theo's so bizarre that if you don't know who he is,
I almost always take comic recommendations. Like if Ari recommends someone, I almost always
I
100%.
hate
Adrian?
to do this, Joe.
You're
We're
shaking
saying
your
Adrian.
head.
Yeah, after
So-
2 years.
Yeah,
3 years.
Joe, we love you. We love you,
What?
Joe.
No, yeah,
What,
you
having
do.
Shane on?
You
Is
do,
that what
you
you're
do.
saying? No, I do. I just don't. I filter them in when I see fit. I have scientists and athletes and authors and movie stars. There's this funnel of people, and I have to keep it in the realm of what do I want to do.
Yeah, true.
I have to.
I got to ask you one.
What?
Like, and there might not be one answer, but maybe there's a few. Have you ever had the most like, okay, I'll have them on, like yeah, I'll have this person on, and you're the most impressed, like most blown away by them?
You're like, they were great.
Yeah, like were you like? And it doesn't have to be a comedian; it could be athlete, actor, a scientist, where you're just like, holy shit, that was amazing, and you weren't expecting it.
You know what? If I mentioned one, I would do a disservice to so many of them
Sure.
that have happened that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's so many. There's so many that people recommend.
Henry
I was like,
Rollins
holy
was
shit!
good.
Oh, he was amazing.
was like,
he was
this
on a
guy's
couple
cool,
of
you should
times,
have him on.
and that was like one of those ones where I was like, I was worried that we wouldn't get along.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause,
With
like,
Henry?
he's very volatile.
Yeah.
He's very volatile. But,
Aggro kinda.
Yeah, but like in a weird way that I feel like
I'm glad you struggled too.
I feel like if you confront him with any aggression, he comes back at you tenfold and feels justified. You know, like I was on a radio station once in Austin, and they had this conversation with him, and they said something, and it went. He interpreted what they said really badly, and then he went off on them and just fucking attacked them and was talking about how successful he is, and it was a weird conversation. And I was
love
like,
hearing those.
but I know guys like that. I know guys like that from fighting. There's certain guys that you just have to massage your relationship with them. And I'm not saying that's Henry Rollins, but I'm saying it's guys who get angry really quickly and like maybe misread
I think you
the
know how to
room.
navigate that really well, though.
And the dude, first of all, he was like Henry Rollins at one point in time was like a fucking serious power lifter. Have you ever see like
Didn't know that.
when he ever did that video, I'm a liar? Do you ever see how jacked he is?
Yes.
He's always
Why
jacked.
put up I'm a liar, but
'Cause
now,
I'm a liar.
But now, you know, he's like kind of sort of settled into his older years, and he mostly does bodyweight stuff. We actually had a conversation about it, but he wrote an amazing essay.
Jesus.
No, that's
What?
not him.
That's
That's Franco Colombo. You son of a
What
bitch.
the fuck?
No, there's a video. There's a music video. That's it.
I was like, he had a full head of hair.
And you see how he's screaming in that snapshot?
Yeah.
That's from the video. That's from the music video. The music video is it has nothing to do with this essay, but he wrote an essay about lifting weights. What is it called, Jamie? Something about truth is in the iron. It's fucking great.
Really?
Truth is in the iron's a badass statement.
The iron. That's what it is. Does he say it here? Give me volume.
The humiliation of teachers calling me garbage can and telling me I'd be mowing lawns for a living. And the very
Yeah.
real
This is a
AI.
kid reading Henry Rollins' book. That's what that is.
Hump with the chump.
Just get to the go to the essay itself,
God, I like Henry Rollins.
because it's an essay that Henry Rollins, by the way, writes constantly. He writes for a bunch of different publications. He writes
books.
essays all the time, and he listens to a shit ton of music, like on vinyl. He has this insane setup in his house where he has like $250,000 speakers. It's madness.
Wow.
He's just a music fiend. So this is it. I believe that by definition of definition, I believe that the definition of definition is reinvention. To not be like your parents, to not be like your friends, to be yourself completely. When I was young, I had no sense of myself. All I was a product of all the fear and humiliation that I suffered. Fear of my parents, the humiliation of teachers calling me garbage can and telling me that I'd be mowing lawns for a living, and the very real terror of my fellow students. I was threatened and beaten up for the color of my skin and my size. I was skinny and clumsy, and when others would tease me, I didn't run home crying, wondering why. I knew all too well. I was there to be antagonized. In sports, I was laughed at, a spaz. I was pretty good at boxing, but only because of the rage that filled my every waking moment, made me wild and unpredictable. I fought with some strange fury. The other boys thought I was crazy. I hated myself all the time. As stupid as it seems now, I wanted to talk like them, dress like them, carry myself with the ease of knowing that I wasn't going to get pounded in the hallways between classes. Years passed, and I learned to keep it all inside. I only talked to a few boys in my grade, other losers. Some of them are to this day the greatest people I have ever known. Hang out with a guy who has had his head flushed down a toilet a few times. Treat him with respect, and you'll find a faithful friend forever. But even with friends, school sucked. Teachers gave me hard times. I can't read this forever. This is going to bore the shit out of you.
It's long.
Let's get to the weight part.
Oh my God.
Have you ever had your head flushed in a toilet?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Have you?
Of course.
In
Really?
high school?
Yeah.
I love
No,
how
no, I
you
was a
brought
kid. I was a kid.
Henry Rollins again back to you.
Yeah.
I prefer to work out
it's
alone.
a pivotal moment, and the thing is, have you ever been violated like that? I mean, that's what he's writing about is violation.
Was there anything in the toilet?
Yeah.
No. It was at Forest Hills Baseball. I mean, it's being violated. You have to be held up by a group of boys, and then they put your head in a toilet, which, flushed or not flushed, it's a violation. I mean,
It's to
I'm not
humiliate you.
I'm not bringing it back to me. I'm just saying, like, that's a very fucking powerful thing. They were called swirlies.
Right here, through the
swirlies.
years.
Yeah.
Through the years, I have combined meditation, action, and the iron into a single strength. I believe that when the body is strong, the mind thinks strong thoughts. Time spent away from the iron makes my mind degenerate. I wallow in a thick depression. My body shuts down my mind. The iron is the best antidepressant I have ever found. There is no better way to fight weakness than with strength. Once the mind and body have been awakened to their true potential, it's impossible to turn back. The iron never lies to you.
That's badass.
Fucking perfect.
That's badass.
That's perfect. That's 100% true. I feel that.
Yeah, that's you embody that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were bullied as a kid.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was little. So I didn't like
everybody?
it, and I didn't also moved into like new neighborhoods all the time. I moved into new neighborhoods like 3 or 4 times when I was a kid. So it was every time I was the new guy, and I wasn't a big guy, and dudes were fucking with me. I was like, damn, I got to learn how to fight.
Yeah.
That was the 100% my motivation. Like I wasn't like a kid that looked for fights ever. I was just terrified. I was like, okay, I'm tired of this. What's the solution? Like I got to learn martial arts. Watch Bruce Lee movies. I'm like, all right, I want to be like that guy. Is that physically possible?
What about, because what we were talking about right before was like asking people things, because you've had so many fighters, like you love MMA,
Yeah.
You're a great commentator. I think you're a great analyst. You really know so much about it. You like it's fun to talk to you, like to learn. I think it's fun to learn. But have you ever had a fighter that because you're not like, you give honest takes on things when you're watching something. You're like, this guy's ground game is not as strong, or this guy's striking is what it is. Like you're honest about it. Has a fighter ever carried that like comment and then come in here and been like, I didn't really like
No,
this?
not in here.
I saw it once at dinner.
Where?
Heath Herring. When he was like, hey, you said some stuff about me, whatever, but just so you know, I was injured. But during that fight, I was nursing a knee injury. And
I know.
Just so you're aware of what was going on.
I have to comment on what's happening.
Yeah.
I would I always give, if someone's like got an unusually bad performance,
Mm-hmm.
I will say I will try to like give this
Kinda qualify
You
it,
never
like-
know what's going on.
Yeah.
If you see a guy that carrying a little bit of extra weight,
You'll be like,
sometimes you see a little bit of love
Yeah.
handles. You're like, that's weird.
His camp, it maybe
Yeah.
wasn't as strong.
There
Yeah.
might have been something wrong.
Yeah.
And that's so fucking common. It's literally no fighter at a world class level goes into that octagon 100%.
Wow.
They just don't. Someone's got a fucked up elbow. Someone's neck's kind of weird. Someone doesn't want to wrestle. Their knee's bad. Their ankle's fucked. They got their ankle taped. Why is his ankle taped? There's so many guys go in there with like real fucking injuries, man.
But do they ever bring any hostility to a comment made? Like
No, I've had conversations with guys, but over the years I've learned to express as much respect as I have. Like sometimes you just commenting in the moment, like you would with friends, like, oh, he's breaking.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be careful, like how you say that when a guy is in a fight. If the guy's going to watch it and he knows he's breaking, and you're just kind of compounding his awful moment.
Yeah.
Because guys break.
Sure.
They do break. But it's not my place to say that necessarily. It is my place to comment on the technical aspects of how the exchange is going.
Sure.
If I see them folding, if I see certain characteristics where they're not engaging, they're just moving in a defensive way, and they seem to be looking for a way out.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Jackson told me that he sees fighters accept that they're not going to win.
100%.
And then they're just fighting not to get knocked
Who
out.
did we see
Exactly,
at the
100%.
Who was at the UFC Austin that like he was 40 and like he's been fighting for like
Benil Dariush.
Man, that was
What?
crazy.
The guy
to me.
he fought, though, is a fucking assassin. He has one loss to Gamrot, and he has one loss to Ismail Makhachev, who's the world champion, and by most people's eyes, at least number 1 or number 2
UFC
pound for
gold.
pound in the world. Oh, is that it? What do you show me?
I was just looking for stuff.
So that guy, Arman Saryukian, he's a fucking assassin. And Beneil Dariush, who's a very good fighter, at this stage of his life is, he's, I don't know how old Beneil is, but I think he's close to 40.
Yeah,
He's got gray hair.
That was that was the thing that stood out. You're like, man, can you imagine doing this at 40?
But he's also a very elite fighter. Beneil Dariush is fucking elite. He's very good. I mean, but the UFC is a clean sport. Right now with USADA gone, and now what is the new company called? Clean Sport? No.
So what?
So they still drug test.
So there is still a governing body.
Yeah,
kinda.
and if you're going to be 40 years old, you're fighting at a disadvantage. So the advantage would be that you know more.
Right.
Which is an advantage.
Like old Captain America.
Yeah, there's an advantage of knowing more, but it's not enough of an advantage to deal with people who also know a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And the young people, there's an acceleration that comes from watching things on YouTube and watching things streaming. The young people are way better than the people that are older now were when they were that young.
Sure.
There's a one drug-free sport.
But
That's
the guy he fought, the guy you were saying,
Saryukian.
wasn't he like 22 or some shit?
Yep. Yeah, he's world class, and he was world class when he was 20. And the fight with Makhachev was a very close decision. I don't remember if it was split. It might have been unanimous, but it was a super close decision.
Can you imagine
why'd you bring
fighting
him
So
up?
Beneil's only 34?
Yeah.
No way.
Why'd you bring him up, Tom?
Beneil's only 34? I'm sorry, Beneil. It's your hair, brother. Beneil's going to be mad at me. No, Beneil's a very good guy. He's a very, very smart guy.
He's going
and
to take his walker over here and beat you with it.
He's also elite at jiu-jitsu. His
I don't remember why I
jiu-jitsu is
brought it.
world
why'd you
class.
bring it up?
We were talking about it just
Saying something?
God damn, why did I think he was 40?
it was just I think at that fight someone had said 40 and I was just like, that is insane.
Oh, that's what
bro.
it is.
Like, that's insane to be like, if that were true.
Yeah.
Can you imagine jumping in the octagon like at 40 with a guy who's 21, 22? It's just
But Randy Couture was world class when he was 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavyweights are different.
Randy Couture's badass.
He
How
was
do you-
world class when he was 40. But also, there was no USADA back then.
so there's a few things.
How do you
going on.
measure? How do you measure?
I mean, Alistair Overeem isn't Alistair Overeem
Right.
with USADA. It's just not the same thing.
They
It's
didn't
not
have
what we paid
anything?
for.
They didn't have any testing?
It was a fucking intelligence
He
test.
looks like he's not.
Yeah,
in
he's,
the
he's
USADA.
withered away. Well, now he's
Guido
very
also
thin.
fought that
Yeah.
night. He's 42. Could have been him.
Oh yeah, Clay Guida.
Is that who we're
Clay
talking
Guida
about?
just
The wild man.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
not talking about the guy who got knocked out.
No,
Okay.
I'm talking about this dude.
That's where our conversation
That's
got confused.
that's where I got
Yeah.
confused.
No, Clay
So
is
why'd you bring him up?
42.
Because he was
he's
at that fight.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
And
he
you
fought that
said
night.
Joe said something about him or something like that?
No,
What were we
it was.
talking about?
I forget what the origin. I've been drinking. I forget the origin of this
How do you
conversation.
measure when you are a legit fan of someone and you kind of want them to win?
Yeah, you
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
You can't. Well, that was a real problem with me and Schaub when Schaub would fight. Because I also knew that Schaub, I know when someone has 1 foot in and 1 foot out, because I had 1 foot in and 1 foot out when I started doing stand-up. I was still fighting when I was doing stand-up. And I know when you're not 100% focused, that's a dangerous place to be. Because you can get overconfident and you think that you're still at the same level that you were at if you're 100% all in. But you're not.
Yeah.
You're not. You're not. The people that are 100% all in on being world champion are not also thinking about, I'm going to start this podcast and we're going to go do a tour and do stand-up and now I'm making more money doing podcasts than I was doing fighting. And, now they're taking the promotions away. I had more money from Schaub had more money from ads on his shorts than he would get from his UFC paycheck. So I knew he was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So with that situation, it's like, you got to stop. Like, I've seen this. You got to stop. But some guys, you can't tell them to stop. It's like they have this thing in their head, and they want to figure out how to get to where they used to be one more time. They think they can do it. They
I
know
feel
they
like
can
that was
do
stand
it.
up.
But I would root for a guy though. I'd be like, come on. I'd like that would come out.
Well, that's Tony
no.
Ferguson. That's Tony Ferguson. Everybody roots for Tony.
Everybody
Tony,
loves
fuck,
Tony.
yeah.
Everybody roots for Tony to go back to when he was the boogeyman. Because, El Kukui, when that fucking guy, he just seemed impenetrable. It didn't matter if you hurt him. You weren't going to stop him. He was coming forward.
He has a series of losses in a row now, right?
Well, it was really all from that one knee injury that he got backstage. He tripped over wires and destroyed his knee. Destroyed his knee.
That's how?
You gotta mitigate risk.
He was El Kukui. He was the interim lightweight champion. He was supposed to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov in Madison Square Garden.
And he tripped over wires?
In the promo leading up to the show, he was doing one of those, ESPN things or whatever, and there were some wires on the ground. He didn't see him, and he tripped on them.
And he wrecked his knee that way?
Wrecked his knee. Tore it apart. Had to have surgery.
That part would piss me off so much.
Go skiing.
That's the way.
Yeah.
That's how it happened.
And then he comes back.
Or like
he
dunking a
beats,
basketball.
He beats Anthony
Yes.
Pettis.
Lower that rim.
No,
Was
that,
rim
that would bother me less.
Are you 100% now?
On the knee, yes. On the arm, no.
Really?
What's
Which
the
is the
arm at?
opposite of what they tell you.
Can you jerk
When
off?
they told me,
You don't jerk off left-handed, you fucking psycho.
You don't, fucking rookie.
When you're in the hospital, they point to your arm.
Way to turn that around quickly.
They go,
Good volley.
They go, this is not going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. And you're like, oh, okay. Because you think, oh.
And now your knee's 100%?
100%. But I have nerve damage in my arm. So it might never, ever be what it was.
Damn.
So where's it at now?
Well, it's just that for life, it's fine. I
But
can
for
do
high level
anything.
athletics.
Yeah.
So with heavy, I don't know if I'll ever be able to lift anything heavy again.
Can you
Because
beat Bird at tennis?
external rotation, it really is bad. But even when you're have a heavy weight in your hand, well, first of all, I get wrist collapse at a certain weight. So this hand will be fine, and at a certain weight, this list it'll collapse. And then you feel things all in the elbow area with heavy weight. So I don't know if I'll ever. Not that I need to. So that's the thing. It's like you go, I don't need to be a power lifter,
Right.
But it's still kind of. Yeah, it sucks when you're in there and you're like, oh, my whole arm has these crazy vibrations and pains going on with heavy weight. So you just have to shift what you do.
Yeah, that's why I stopped doing jujitsu for a whole year. I started getting these nerve pains in my fingers.
Oh.
If you push on my forearm, my whole hand will go numb.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, they took a
any
nerve from
nerve
here.
thing is super
They
dangerous.
took it out of here. I have no nerve here.
What?
Yeah, I have none. They took it out and they put it in here.
Do you mean
So-
tendon?
No, they took the nerve out. So what
They took
happens
your
is
nerve out,
They took
and
the
they
nerve out
reconnect
because
nerves?
yeah, it was a state of the art surgery at the time. So when the guy did it, I was like, "How many of these have you done?" He goes, "1." I go, "Oh no,
No,
two."
my God.
Oh my God.
And he goes, "Because you
No
have two
nerves?
nerves and two muscles here to let you pronate." So they take it
Can you
out.
explain what was happening? That the fingers, the last fingers
So-
weren't coming back.
Is this
right?
why you have to
what
wear a
happened.
light watch?
They would go. They go. It was injury is in December, and in March they do a nerve test, and they go, everything is not firing. Are you how are you functioning? And I'm like, yeah, and there were things that were notable. Like if I went to pick something up, you might not notice, right? But I would just grab it and then my hand didn't open all the way. So if you go like this, I would go like this with my healthy hand, and I would go like this. Oh. And that was the most I could do. And they told me, they go, if you wait a year, and the nerve doesn't fire and reconnect on its own, your body consumes the nodules. It just consumes them. It's like, you ever seen somebody who has a hand that just doesn't work anymore?
That's it. It's
Lots of
gone.
What that
A lot
is.
of people.
That's that
Oh
nerve
my
damage.
God.
So they go, if you elect to just wait it out, just know that where you are could be just where you are forever.
Oh shit.
And so when he told me that, he's like, or I could do this surgery that's it was actually a Brazilian surgeon who came up with this idea, this process, this surgery. And he goes, it works, 100% confident in it.
Churrasco surgery.
And then he just
It's an enormous chair.
When it starts to hurt, you turn your fucking card over to red. One more for you, please. Por favor.
no more knee. But then he did it, and dude, I can
Yeah.
I go all the way.
Yeah.
And I can pick things up. But there's things where, so you would think it's strength, but it's not strength. It's the nerve firing. Like if I pick up something heavy, I could pick it up and with my right arm pull it up, and my left arm is here, and you go, oh, I guess you're just not strong. It's not strength. It's that the nerve isn't firing. It's just not sending the signal.
Won't tell it to go.
It won't tell it to go all the way.
Wow.
Dude, in the lone loss in my career where I got TKO'd, I got hit with a left hook. And I got hit with a left hook and my leg shut off.
Totally shut off.
It's the weirdest sensation of all time.
Wow.
I got hit with this hook. It hit my arm and chin, and my legs just stopped working. Just stopped working. I'm conscious, and my legs just stopped working. They just completely collapsed. And so the referee starts counting 1, 2, and I'm like, whoa. Totally new experience. All my years of competing, never had that happen.
Never had that.
So then I stand up and I'm like, these things aren't working right. And then this dude's like throwing punches at me and they stop the fight. But it was a fascinating experience because it was like, it's not about heart and will.
No.
It's not about, they just stop working.
Haven't you had Zach Bitter on before?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he just did that thing where, he's a elite ultra marathon runner.
Yeah.
And he was out on one of these like 100 milers. And at like 80 miles, he was like, I felt sick. I had to lay down. I tried to rest. He posted about it, you know? And he's like, my legs, they just shut down. So he's like, I just had to, at a certain point, he just goes, I'm tapping out of this one. And it wasn't like, it's different than obviously getting hit, but his body just was like,
It's
nope,
not,
that's
it's
enough.
not from
That's
tired.
it.
It's just like
That's
it's over.
enough.
not happening.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Well,
like, this is.
The wildest thing about these people that are pushing themselves like Zach Bitter does or David Goggins does is that like inevitably they're going to get damage to that body.
David has to.
Oh,
Dude,
no,
the
he already
toe
has.
His is bad. He
No,
shared
he's
it.
had-
He shared it.
He shared it. He sent me videos of his leg where he takes his leg and he compresses his fingers around it, and the edema around his shin is so thick that his fingers are embedded in his shin.
What?
He had his knee severed
What?
and then reconnected. He has no cartilage. He's bone on bone.
What's that going to be like
The
at 60 for
doctor's,
that guy?
he's going to get replacements, 100%. His doctor looked at his knee and said, I can't believe you can fucking walk on this. Never mind run thousands of miles.
Thousands.
Yeah, that's his leg. Look at that. That's edema on his leg. That's from him just putting his fingers on his leg. And that's after one of multiple surgeries he's had.
What is
Meanwhile,
edema, if you don't mind me asking?
It's the swelling. It's like all this like fluid. It's basically just
Ripped chest,
fucking
though.
torn.
Meanwhile, he's doing.
an animal.
He's like, don't
bro.
be a bitch,
Bro, he's
Stop,
an
man.
animal. When he came to my podcast, he got there early. When I walked in, he was already doing chin-ups.
He was.
Yeah, when I first met him, I went into the gym. The podcast starts at whatever it started at. I get there and
He comes in, he's like, "Don't mind if I do."
I meet his wife. I meet some. I go back and he's back there doing chin-ups with his shirt off.
It's
It's like there's no reason to rest. Why am I resting right here? There's a whole full gym. Can I use this gym? Let's go.
Wow.
He goes out there. He's doing chin-ups.
He's crazy
What a
person.
great way to maximize your time, though.
Yeah,
because you just
he's a
sit
real
there
deal.
like, I guess we're early. Like, what are you gonna do? There's a gym right there.
yeah. Let's get some
The
ice.
water.
The
Look at his
most,
toes.
The water.
Look at his toes.
no,
The water.
Look at the screen.
no.
Tommy.
Come
Yeah,
on.
that's
Come
Goggins'
on.
toe.
Eat it.
That's from running. He ran some insane amount of 100 milers in like a short period of time.
Can I tell you the most human thing about him is that he reads negative comments. Like when you see that he gets
Records them.
he gets upset about them.
He
and-
listens to them when he runs.
Wow.
but like
drives them.
that's where I connect with the guy
Nice.
where I go.
I like that.
I go,
pretty
who would
wild,
ever hate
yeah.
on David Goggins? Like
Marines.
that guy's
Listen,
nothing but inspiration.
You gotta
on
let
me.
that go. There's people that are gonna hate on every fucking thing that has ever existed, and it's not an honest perspective. It's flavored by their own inadequacies.
Got you.
A big part of it is flavored by their own fucking disastrous life.
They just
David
like starting
Goggins
shit.
is what I listen to if I'm hungover. I go to the gym. I throw on David Goggins. They got a thing on him. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking throw one of those in too.
Want one?
I'll
This is
take
a
a
3.
Rogue.
This one's a 6.
I'll take a
Two
6.
Rogues.
No.
6 Rogue.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I like. Here you go, brother.
I like
I
riding
like
the
Tommy
horse.
turned me on these.
Tommy turned me on to them too.
Yeah, the Rogues are good. They're very tasty. And I don't take as many of them in as I do with the Zins.
I'll take those any day over people fucking dipping. Go
Oh,
dipping all
dipping's
day
so
long.
sexy.
Go
You're
dip
wrong.
all day
You're
long.
wrong.
It's
You're wrong.
My
disgusting.
friend
Can't
Perry,
get in
he
my
was
car with it.
the stunt coordinator on Fear Factor.
Yeah.
He was he was a stunt coordinator on so many movies that back in the day, you know, we're talking about like the early 2000s, and for him, like deep into the 90s and probably the 80s, you weren't encouraged to be spitting on set.
Yeah,
into
you
a
had to
cup.
gut it.
So he would just swallow it. So he got accustomed. So Perry got accustomed to swallowing his own tobacco juice. I'm like, that's a fucking man.
That's a shot of
That's
John
a
Kruk.
man.
There's a shot of John
John
Kruk.
Kruk gutted
sliding
it.
He had dip in his slid into first, cut his whole lip up, and he was like on that side. He took it all out and pushed to the other side.
This one's good.
Which one is
This
You can
I like
taste it
this.
immediately.
I can
those are
taste it
good.
immediately.
Those are good. Those are experiment. All right, what is this month you're doing? What are
I
you
just
doing
needed
here?
some time off.
Why didn't you just do it on October like we were supposed to do it?
Yeah.
Because we never do.
Who are you doing it with?
No, we
doing
don't
it myself.
never do it, are we?
You're doing
do
it by
a lot.
yourself?
Yeah.
This year we didn't do it.
I did.
Thank
I'm
you,
just doing it to
Jeremy.
do
I
it.
did it this year.
Congratulations.
I did it by
did it
myself.
3
No
months.
weed? Nothing?
No, come on. I'm not sober.
That's what I'm saying. That's not
I'm
sober.
doing no weed.
No. I did October without weed, and then I started doing weed, and I was like, weed's the fucking best.
Weed's
it really
the
is
best.
the best.
I'm doing
It's-
no weed, no coffee.
Weed is essentially steroids for comedy.
Weed is great. You're right. It is. Or it helps you, hurts you.
It can hurt you if you're a
Like I don't
bitch.
feel like
I think
whiting tonight.
I think
You're a
weed
bitch.
at its best
Yeah.
when you get off stage and you take a couple hits. It almost just goes, "Hey man, we're good.
Yeah.
Like let's get in bed and watch a documentary on tarpon
You
fishing."
should sit on it.
And you're like, "Fuck yeah, it's the coolest, man."
Oh, I never finished telling you this. So they say, what do you want after your set at the Wilbur? And I was like, I'm cool. Sometimes after I get off, I like a glass of scotch. And I finished. The last time I was there, I was like, thank you, good night. And I took one step down, and she just hands me a glass of scotch. And I
that's
was like,
nice.
I've never been treated like this in my life.
That's
it was
nice.
so fucking nice.
Fuck yeah,
That's
dude.
thoughtful. Yeah, a nice glass of scotch after you just did what you needed to do. Like,
Yeah.
I was thinking about you in the shower this
soak
morning.
that in.
Oh, really?
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Oh,
He's
boy.
always got to make it weird.
Oh, boy.
I'm broken.
What position?
I was washing my armpits, and I thought,
Oh, normal.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I think about Ari,
it's
too.
It's cheat code. I'm
No.
in the armpits.
you wanted me? I tell you why. Sometimes I think about Ari when I wash my armpits.
Yes.
I bet I
'Cause
know.
I would love to hear it.
The amount of deodorant I put on?
No.
What
I
is
do
it?
think about you when I put on deodorant, though. I lost enough weight that I have an armpit again.
What you had before? A gut?
No, it was just fat. You couldn't feel the tendons in
God.
your pec in your back.
What?
So like it's just a fold. It's not like an armpit. Yeah.
And so now you're like, oh, he's going to be jealous?
No. I was thinking, I'm a little buzzed, so I'll share it. But I was thinking, how cool is it that you've had moments in your career where everyone's like, fucking write that guy off, and you're killing it, and you're killing it, and then you start thinking,
That has to do with armpits?
wait, no, armpits thought of
people
Ari,
wrote off
and then
his
I
armpits.
thought of Ari. I've been thinking about Ari all day because of what happened last night.
Oh, okay.
And so, and I thought, with what happened last night, I thought, I love that there's forgiveness in this world, and I love that I love that he's killing it right now.
People
and
that don't want to forgive people that are actively trying to be better people are bad people.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
There's a negative aspect to this non-forgiveness mindset that is inescapable. It's not good for the person that perpetuates it. It's definitely not good for the people that receive it. If you have this fear that you'll be cast out of the kingdom forever for a thing that you deeply regret and you might have done in duress or you might have done for whatever fucking reason, but you realize as a human being, how could I have done that? If you're not willing to say, I get it, we're all human, and I believe your intention, give me a hug, let's work this out. If you can't do that, you're the problem. The problem is
You are
an
the problem.
unforgiving
And it's
mindset,
like
the least charitable perspective on every person you run into because you think that somehow or another that elevates you, but it doesn't.
And they make you stick to this mistake. Like when Kevin Hart was like trying to be nice about gays, and they're like, "Well, where was that then?" And I'm like, "He's being nice, and
Right.
this is your moment to shit on him."
Also, Kevin Hart was trying to be famous
Yeah.
and trying to get laughs.
Trying to get
and
laughs.
when you try to get laughs, you will say things you don't believe, but you think will be effective. And it's a sign of a comedian that's not that good yet. It's a normal thing that we all did.
Yeah.
We all
and
did.
still do.
And still do.
Still do.
That's
Like
what- that's what
at
it's
the
like right now.
mothership,
I
I'm
don't
watching
do it,
people
you fucking pussies.
I watch people take wild chances at the
Yeah, you
mothership,
take a
like
big
wild
chance.
chances,
Yeah.
and I know the audience sometimes goes, "Why does he care about that?" And you go, no, it's this
I'm just
thing
trying
in
to
his
find
head,
something.
and he's trying to find something.
Yeah.
Well, I think the audience at the mothership is more aware of that than most clubs because we talk about it so much that the process of creating a bit is sometimes you have to trot it out there, and while you're saying it, you're freeballing, and you might go down the wrong path and kind of get committed to it.
Yeah.
And then you're like stuck on a route. Yeah, you're just like, well, let me try to get out of this. It'll
But
be
that's
fun.
how new bits are created.
Yeah.
There's new bits that get created because of that.
That's why I
Because
hate when
you
people
push
say-
yourself into a
yeah,
corner.
see somebody like that guy's not good. Like he's trying something.
Yeah,
Let
that's
him figure it
what
out.
infuriated me about Louis C.K.'s leak set.
Oh, I thought about that
When
today.
comics were going after him, I'm like, are you
Comics going
lying
after
to the
jokes.
normies
should-
about the process?
It's also one of those things where I remember when that happened, and you're like, we should not lose this list of names. of
Right.
these
Oh, I've never
fucking-
lost that list of
A
names.
traitors to
fucking
stand up.
cunts. Where you're like, it's so obvious, by the way, that this is a pop-in. Like I'm working this shit out. It's a
Yeah.
workout set.
He hasn't done stand-up in 10 months.
It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
No stand-up in 10 months, and every one of those premises had promise.
And
All of
also,
them.
yeah, they were good. I would
Every
relate
one
it
of
to
them.
people when they were like, "What's going on?" I would tell them. They'd laugh at me retelling that joke.
It is literally
it's
like
funny.
a farmer.
It's funny.
It's
Unique
literally like a farmer being criticized for not having a crop to take the market right after he plants the seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might
Where's
be,
your fucking tomatoes?
he might be the most fun person to watch work out. Period. Too. Like he
goes
really.
deep.
He's so good at it, and he just takes chances and he goes for it, and the thing is, he actually sits in suffering more than other comics, like meaning like if it starts to not work, so many people bail out like that, and he'll sit in
it.
the suffering.
But
Strength.
you know, we
That's a
were
strength.
talking
It's
about this
totally a
last
strength.
night at the club, that there is a giant group of fans that want to see that happen now.
Yeah.
So you try. And
We're
fail
talking
to a
about
new one,
guys,
yeah.
like guys were
Edge.
coming up to Duncan and saying, "Hey, I love how you changed that."
Yeah.
And now you're like, "Oh shit!" Now you've watched me multiple times do this thing, but they like like I like music. I can't play music. I can't play anything, but I love watching live music.
Yeah.
I love watching people perform. And if there was a way that I could go watch them develop live songs,
Probably do
develop
it.
them,
Yeah.
like if I knew that like Gary Clark Jr. is going to start out with like this sort of melody and put it together in front of crowds, and then one day it's going to be on Spotify.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm getting to watch it happen.
Yeah.
That's comedy fans now.
Yes, that is comedy fans now.
What percentage though? In a room?
37.
No,
37.
I'd say like less than a half.
At the mothership?
Less than half. Yeah.
At the mothership?
that are wanting to
I
watch that.
bet at the mothership there's a lot more than most, because I bet at the mothership they've at least listened to one conversation between comedians.
But
Where-
also you have to have seen the stand-up set a few
Don't
times
use
to
that
see how it
bitch
tweaks.
ass lighter. That is
Bitch, you little
un-American.
bitch! What
Take
a
this
bitch
lighter.
you are!
Take
Oh my
your
god!
fucking
How are you
torch.
related to your family
I
with
need
that
to get a
bitch lighter?
torch.
I
Does
love this
someone
so
make
much.
a lighter
I have one
that
of those
looks
so
like an
much.
eagle?
Bert, what do you got in there?
Jamie,
Can we get
find
that?
me an
Really?
eagle lighter for my cigarettes.
Can I give you the best cigar you've ever had in your life?
Yeah.
This is
Can I
the
give you
best.
the best
This is
cigar
the
you've
best
ever had in
lighter.
your life?
With the chopper on
Yeah,
it. It's
Calibri.
great.
Yeah, shout out to Calibri.
The only time I'd ever flex a fucking please hook me up.
Got one of those, too.
I showed you
Yeah.
this yesterday.
Yeah.
La Flor Dominica,
LFD.
the Andalusian Bull. This is the best cigar you'll ever have in your fucking life.
Really?
That cigar is next fucking level. It's
this is the
next
boy
fucking
who
level.
cried wolf personified.
No, it's the way I live life. I tell you how I feel.
You told me you could do the splits.
Buddy, I did a marathon. You know how hard it was to bite my tongue when you showed me David Goggins' foot? And I was like, that's what we do.
You should have just said it.
That's what we do, Joe.
Give me.
You did a
cutter.
marathon. What do you want?
I know.
That's a cutter. It's right in front of you, Bert.
Joe, what part of my shoulders do you like?
They're very firm. They also look like a guy who could pick up some heavy shit. We were talking about it in the green room when you got on stage. I was like, damn, look at Bert's fucking shoulders. You got traps. You got shoulders. You look jacked. You remember that one day we did Sober October? We went back there and everybody's like, how much can you bench? It was one of those how much can you bench things. And we put 225 on the bar and no one could bench it. But I just saw you benching it the other day. And how many did you do? How many reps?
10
10
times.
reps.
By the way, for progress, like to be clear, he got pinned the first time.
I got
Yeah,
pinned.
pinned. Pinned on one.
Pinned. I remember we
I don't bench press, and when I did it, I was like, "This is like really stupid." But we were drunk.
I love it.
I think I did 12 or 13, but I can do 15 now. Every now and then I try it.
You know I'm going to blow out my pecs trying to do 15 today.
Do it. Blow them out.
Do it.
If you do, I'll do 20.
Do it. If you guys aren't pussies, you do
guys
it.
will
I
do
love
this.
this about you.
We'll take it to the death.
I love this about you.
You don't love it.
I love that you own a little territory in my head.
You don't love it.
I do.
You don't.
I do.
You think you
I
love it.
absolutely
You think you love it
do.
until we're actually engaged in competition. And then it's an
Joe.
anxiety. When you get up to piss in the middle of the night, I know you think about it.
But for real, Joe,
we
you
were
couldn't
doing
double
so.
them.
I could have doubled them.
No,
I doubled
no
them
way.
with
That's
push-ups.
ridiculous. No, that's ridiculous. You couldn't.
I definitely could.
Could you do
Double them in bench?
Could
No
you
way.
do 30 reps?
No.
30's tough.
No,
30's
impossible.
tough. It's
Big
impossible.
dogs. the
No,
big-
no,
NFL
no. My
guys do
frame,
25.
my frame can't handle it. At 15,
Some do
I'd be
30.
struggling. At 15, I'd be struggling. But I
Bert,
did
how would you get?
when I
7?
did when I did it with
I
you
hit
guys.
12.
I had no idea what if I could even do it. I literally hadn't benched in forever.
Yeah.
All I do is kettlebells. The heaviest weight I do is 70 pounds.
Hey, would you ever think about posting when you program for your workout? I would love to know what you do. Did you ever post
It's
it
real
on Instagram?
simple.
You do
I'd say-
circuits?
Yeah. Yeah, I do circuits, but I think there's a real value to doing there's a bunch of exercises that are standards, like straight leg deadlifts, clean and press. There's these things
You
are.
start with swings? Do you do like
I start with push-ups and bodyweight squats.
And
I
then-
start with cold plunge.
Uh-huh.
Every workout's 3 minutes, 34 degrees. Boom, go from there. 20 bodyweight squats, 20 push-ups, 20 bodyweight squats, 20 push-ups. You do 2 sets in a row so that you get 2 sets of legs, 2 sets of push-ups,
get
so that you get
warm.
warm up.
Yeah.
Then you do the final 3. You get to 100 push-ups, 100 bodyweight squats. Then it's kettlebells. And if I'm on a regular schedule, it's 70 pounds. So I go to 70 pounds,
heavy.
70
heavy.
pounds, 10 swings each arm, 3 sets, 10 presses each arm, 3 sets, 10 windmills each arm, 3 sets, 10 renegade rows each arm,
Fuck
3 sets.
renegade rows.
So with 70 pounds at the end of that is rough.
Fuck
Then you go to
renegade
the
rows.
sled. Then you go to the sled.
Oh, sled's
And then
good.
it's the torque sled, pushing it. You're pushing it about 35 meters. And then you're pushing it and you're pulling it back. And we do that. We'll do that for 3 sets.
You work
Then
with someone?
No, I just get it. I just do it in my head, and then I have comics do it with me.
Oh yeah, I've been there for those.
So then we go from there to Tabatas on the heavy bag. Tabatas are 20-second sprint followed by 10-second rest. So we do that, and we blast out the end of the workout. We put The Rock through this.
Yeah.
And the end of the workout,
He quit?
No, The Rock is fucking. He was cool, man. He's humble. He didn't. He's not a kettlebell guy. He had never done cold plunge before he did it with us.
What?
Yeah, never done it. So he is super humble. He was there was no guy's built like a fucking superhero, right? But I think he's also doing a lot of stuff to increase like the aesthetics.
Yeah,
you
the
know, so he's
mass.
doing a lot of
Yeah.
machines. If you look at his Iron Paradise, that insane gym he has set up.
Yes.
By the way, American flag, fucking prominently displayed. When you look at that setup is a setup that's perfect for a guy who wants to look like a superhero in a movie. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm concerned with like functional strength. I'm concerned with like I want to be able to move my body like an athlete as long as I can. And so we did a bunch of like wild shit that he had never done before.
Really?
And, yeah, windmills are hard, man.
Windmills are really hard.
It's hard, you know, but I've been doing that whole routine for so long that my body is like just fucking primed.
it.
For
Are you
it.
pretty much at that every morning? Is that roughly where you're at?
That's one workout that I do twice a week.
You know, a guy like me would love to get
Let's
on
just work
Instagram in the
out.
morning.
Come work out.
No,
with
but
me,
I'd love to
Bert.
get
What
on
are
the
you
morning in
doing tomorrow?
LA. Buddy, well, I got a flight out at 8.
Let's go.
I texted you
Let's
when
have
I came.
a 5 a.m. workout.
I texted. Buddy, you have no fucking idea. I'll shoot my testosterone at fucking 4:30.
Let's do it. No, 3:30. You wanted to get a couple hours in it where it really gets in your
I
system.
love getting information like that.
And then we'll cold plunge first. Cold plunge first while it's dark out.
With your big cock.
You'll hear. Yeah, it's not that big. It's regular.
Oh, buddy,
You'll hear-
the
you'll hear
video you
foxes.
showed of yourself getting the cold plunge the other day, I had to stop myself from going, is anyone looking at his cock?
Only Bert. Only Bert and a couple of chicks.
They call me a hog watcher. If you have a
next
big cock,
special.
I'm going to notice.
There's something fun about getting in that cold when it's raining out. I've been doing it when it's raining out.
It
Today,
was 32 when you got in that
Yeah.
video.
No, it's 21.
21.
It's 21 outside and 34 inside.
How much do you think it's worse when like
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, it's
getting
not
in
bad.
the cold when it's cold outside.
No.
Because it feels like you want a relief from something.
No.
It's so much
the
better
same.
after the sauna.
Yeah, for sure. But it doesn't matter if it's hot out. Once you get in, it's still fucking so cold. It's insane.
Do you do box breathing?
I just breathe. I'm really accustomed to being in there now.
I loved it.
So I can just sort of,
Great.
It's after
You
those
just
first
settle
20
in.
seconds, then it's like, just shut up and chill out.
unless you use the blue cube. The blue cube, there's an option to have it like a raging river, and you never get what's called a thermal
Oh, the
barrier.
bubble.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Wow.
a thermal barrier.
You realize how in the weeds you are about cold plunging?
Yeah, I'm in the weeds. If you want to be a guy who tortures yourself, blue cube is the way to go.
I would love to open up Rogan's
But-
YouTube on his computer, just see what it's suggesting to him.
I can't wait till North
You'd be
Korea finds his
surprised.
fucking
Skinning
phone.
and-
By the amount of guns I researched and the amount of animal attacks. Yeah.
The polar plunge is badass. But do you do the light thing?
Yeah,
where
I
you
do that red light therapy.
Yeah.
I do that
Did you
every
get that
morning.
bed?
Yeah, I got it.
What's that?
Yeah, I
Is
got
it
it from
great?
Gary
What's that?
Brecka. Well, one of the things that's happening is as you get older, your skin starts to get thinner because you have a lack of collagen, and
what I
you
wanna hear.
you start looking like you're like, ugh, you look sick. Even if you feel good,
Yeah.
your skin has more laxity.
Yeah.
In the 1.5 months that I've been using it, my skin looks better.
What is it?
What is it?
It's red light therapy.
Red light therapy.
What is
What
it?
do you
Just
do?
like a
What-
thing?
We could talk about it, but I don't know what I'm saying, so I'd be
What, it's
bullshitting.
something
you.
that shoots light at you?
Yeah, it helps your body.
You see people with the
produce
masks
more
sometimes.
collagen.
you wear a
I do
mask
that
and
for
it
my
shoots at
head.
you?
It helps you rehabilitate from injuries. There's a lot of things. I'm not the guy to
Do you
talk
still
specifics
do
about red, but I do it
oxygen
every day.
chamber? The
I have one of
hyperbaric?
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do hyperbaric?
Yeah, I have.
You
one
have
of those.
one?
Yeah.
I want to do that so bad.
And I have a flotation tank. I don't know which one is better for you because both of them are really good for you. The flotation tank is there's a reset that I think you can achieve from that. It's just like doing psychedelics without any of the weird fuckery of recovering and coming back to normal. You get out of there and you're fine.
You're out.
It's if you could take what you get from a sensory deprivation tank in a pill with just as a drug, everybody would take it.
Yeah, it's called Xanax.
No. It's the opposite.
It's great.
It's the best.
I bet Xanax is awesome.
It's
but
pretty
Xanax is
fucking
I think
good.
what that is the opposite. That's like instead of like pretending
check
your
out.
house isn't wrecked,
Check out.
that's like going in your house and examining all the cracks in your foundation.
Oh, I had to
Yeah.
jack off.
In a flotation tank?
Whatever. Shout out to Kuya. Anyway,
You jacked off in one of
no,
their
I didn't jack
public-
off in their fucking thing.
Yes,
It's a joke.
you
It's a
did.
joke.
I feel like you did.
I probably didn't.
Tom,
You jerk off.
I jerk off a lot.
how much?
How often
sink
are you
or
jerking off?
Once every
Not
day?
as much now. Leanne's on testosterone too. Not supposed to
Whoa.
share that.
You did.
She won't let you
She
jerk
just
off?
went. She just went secret time. She just went to
Secret time for 11 million people. Good luck.
Dude. Careful.
Good call. It's not share secret.
You want to edit that out?
Nope.
Wow.
No, because I like what Ways to Well's doing. I do.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And they got her on testosterone and progesterone, and I'll share that because I
She's
think
ready to fuck, buddy.
Really?
Yeah.
Cowboy?
Man, after your
Save a
apology,
horse?
My wife's friend got on
really?
it.
I got you
I had to
laid.
come on my leg in
My
the
wife's
gym
friend
today.
is my wife's friend is English.
Come on my leg.
My
Come
wi-
on my leg. Go ahead.
My wife's friend is
You're always
English.
making it about you. Go ahead, Joe.
My wife's friend is English, and she got on testosterone, and she was telling my wife about it. She goes, "I feel like a bloke." She was
Really?
an English lady. She goes, "I feel like a bloke."
That's so
Buddy,
cute.
go.
Leanne
cute.
wants to fuck all the time.
Damn.
And I'm telling you, it's Ways to Wellness.
I like
God
it.
bless Ways to Well.
Get him on it.
She's on progesterone and testosterone. I told it to Shane Gillis, and he fucking could not stop making fun of it in the most hilarious way. He's fucking so good. But it's changed our relationship. We're fucking nonstop.
Congratulations.
I don't want to
Do you
jerk
remember
off 'cause
how?
I'm afraid.
What's that noise again?
What? What?
Throw up noise.
Oh no. Oh, when Lan and I fuck?
Just joking.
No, if you saw us fuck, I think
I would jack off in the corner.
I don't think you would.
What would I do?
You'd be
Would
a
I-
lot of
would I
like,
give you
what's Bert
tips?
thinking about?
You'd be that same face when you made
Like,
with that
open your eyes,
shit
Bert.
eating.
She's getting confused.
What's your favorite position, Bert?
What's your favorite position, Bert?
Doggy style.
Good question.
Doggy
I thought
style?
you were gonna say pegged. I'm so glad you didn't say pegged.
No, I like from behind.
Yeah.
It's really fucking hot.
That's a good one.
I never was into asses.
That's a good one.
I was never into asses.
There's a whole
Really?
category.
Yeah.
You were never into asses?
No, I was a tit guy, and I'm still a tit guy. But it's funny. I look at her ass, and it's like it's perfect. It's not like cellulite,
Yeah.
and it's just a big ass. It's a big ass.
Cellulite.
Cellulite.
But it's just a great
Cellulite.
fucking ass.
Yeah. That sounds like it should
That's
be a
some
band.
cellulite.
That should be a fucking cool band,
Yeah.
like Pussy Riot. Cellulite.
But I like Doggy Style's fucking hot. It's so fucking hot. And I like, and I don't know if it's testosterone, but she's like checked off barriers that were previously in our relationship.
Butt fucking.
Pegging.
No.
Say it.
We haven't had anal sex.
Congratulations.
We haven't had anal sex.
Do you want it?
Yeah. yeah, obviously. Hans Kim on
Tony?
no, your girl's podcast. Kill Laura. Laura Compton.
First date, yeah.
He said,
Laura? What?
I don't know, buddy.
Hans Kim, anal.
What's the podcast called?
First date.
First Date.
He
Laura
had
Compton.
He had a really funny
Lauren Compton, yeah.
Hans Kim.
Lauren Compton, sorry.
Lauren Compton.
You guys sure?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He said, I don't want to. I do want to have it, only so I know where I stand with you. That you'll let me do dirty shit to you, or something like that.
Oh,
Hans said that?
Yeah, Hans said that.
Hans Kim is wild.
Something similar, but it's like
Sounds
it's
like a guy who shouldn't be allowed to have a gun.
See where I stand?
I fucked it up. Sorry, Hans. I fucked it up, but it was very funny.
Yeah, Hans
it was very
funny
funny.
as shit.
I can't stop thinking about, I know this is a weird transition, but that 6-hour MPX that Taryn has.
Good gun.
I want to get one of those.
Wait, what's this?
I'll get you one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, are we telling things we can't stop thinking
I
about?
just kept thinking about, I keep thinking about that. I've been thinking about that gun for 2 years.
Can I tell you what I can't stop? Can I stop telling you? Tell you what I stopped thinking about?
Yeah.
Did you mention to Snoop that you knew me?
I gotta pee.
That's what you wanted to know?
I have to know.
Oh my god.
No, but I'll tell you why.
You motherfucker!
I'll tell you why, though.
You didn't bring my name up.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
PX Copperhead.
It wasn't a...
He didn't want
wasn't
to own up to you.
No. It wasn't a long conversation.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't like... It wasn't settling in to talk. It was the first time I met him for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And I thought that was it. And at the end of the night, when I went in there, I had major hesitation about walking into his dressing room with his bodyguards and everything around.
Papa? You mean Papa?
And I just went in to
and
say,
Big Wall?
I just went in to say it was fun to be on the show with you. And I thought it was that. And he asked for a pic. It was very, very fast. It wasn't long.
I went to see Danny Brown.
If I had stayed to talk, if he was like, pull up a seat,
Yeah.
it would have been something.
I went
like-
to see Danny Brown, and rap's just not my genre like it is yours.
Yeah.
And he's cool. We've become friendly.
Danny's fantastic.
Brought Daniel Simonson. That's his #1 guy.
Really?
What?
That Simonson's like, what do you mean? Can I? I was like, sure. And we're having a conversation. Oh, cool. What about the weather? I don't know, whatever. And then I look over, and Daniel's just like,
Really?
yeah.
Really?
He's trying to be cool.
Yeah.
But
I
it
was trying
like,
to navigate the conversation without looking like
You realize I would have been like, if you had worked with him for a year, I would have walked in and been like, I know Tom Segura.
I was
That's so who I am.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. You say that like cuz you were in my mind and the
Yeah.
fact that you guys worked together was a natural thing to bring up, but it was also I think when you're sometimes in those situations, you're like, when's the time to say this? You're kind of nervous about how you say it,
Yeah.
and you're looking for the end to say it. So
Yeah.
if I had talked to him for longer, it would have been a normal thing to bring up.
Cheers. I love drinking with you.
Okay, I love drinking with you too.
And I'm Ari.
Oh,
I'm glad
Ari,
you're
you're
doing
so
dry
gay.
January.
You're not drinking?
yeah, I got another week.
Yeah, that little dog,
Oh, it's so fucking cute.
the cutest thing I've ever seen.
I think we should.
It's so fucking cute.
Oh, he's so cute.
I just swallow his face.
Hey, Joe, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So when you watch Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz fight, did you want one of them to win?
No.
Okay.
Really?
But,
No,
hang
I
on, for
don't-
real.
this is-
For
we're-
real.
I
This is
wanted
where
Nate
we
to win, and he
started.
did.
I wanted-
The main problem I had during commentary was Schaub. That was the only problem I really
For
ever
real?
had. Yeah, there's
Because
a lot
you
of
know-
guys
you know-
I love. I love Donald Cowboy Cerrone. I fucking love that dude.
Cowboy
I
rules.
love him.
I'm
I
the
wish
Cowboy Cerrone of
there was
comedy.
more men like that in this world. I love him to death. But when he's fighting Conor McGregor, I can't have a favorite. I just have to let it happen. These guys they're all
How do you do that,
professionals.
though?
That's impossible.
You-
I had a favorite. and I love both of them.
I do it. I swear to God, I do
How,
it. Even
though?
when Sean Strickland fought Israel Adesanya, Izzy's my friend. I love Izzy.
Izzy's
I
the
love
motherfucker.
it. Yeah, he's the shit.
He's the motherfucker.
He defended me when that
Defended you
whole
hard.
N-word video came out.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said- the dude, that made me tear up.
Yeah.
I love
He's
that
my
dude.
by the way, as a personal favorite, 100%.
As a human being, he's
As
one of
a
my
human
favorite
being.
people that I've ever met. He's an
Yeah.
extraordinary human being.
so fun.
But when he fought Sean Strickland, I have to be neutral. I have to be like, whoa,
well,
what's
that's
happening?
the job. You can't be like,
It's
But
the
hold on,
job,
but
but even
talk about
that
Joe
one was
Rogan,
during
though.
that was during Fight Companion. That was during Fight Companion.
wow.
oh right,
Yeah, so
you
that
don't-
was I wasn't even working. I was just hanging out here watching the
but you're
fight.
still trying to-
I
yeah.
still have to be neutral. I have to be. I have to have a neutral mindset when
Why?
I'm
They're
watching
fight
people
companion.
fight.
Can you
I
just
think-
be a
No,
fan then?
no. When people are fighting, that's just like from my own mind. I don't allow my mind to go into like this avenue where I want someone to win and someone to lose because you'll get a biased perspective. And I know I've been guilty of that in the past when I was in the early days of my commentary, and I realized that's a flaw. It's a flaw. Like I have friends that fight and I love them to death and I want them to win, but if they don't win, I can't be attached to that. I have to be attached as a person who's appreciating the sport. I'll check in on them. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but the reality of what they're doing is I have to be a clear, objective viewer of the transaction.
That's
like who's
interesting.
winning the exchange.
Because when I'm hearing MMA commentary, I definitely want what you're saying. When I hear like football or sports commentary,
Yes.
I want to hear the Yankees. I want to hear them go, "Come on, you can't let that out."
But I
yeah,
think, you know
but
who
the
does
thing is,
that?
there's a giant difference between a sport and a fight.
Right.
Yeah.
A fight, you're exposing a man's soul, and you got to be respectful of that. You're exposing everything about what he's capable of.
Right,
He's
right.
literally they're fighting to the death. They're just not letting them finish it. That's what
Yeah,
that is.
That's true. That's true. I think, by the way, that Kirk Herbstreit does that so well.
What?
He's an Ohio State graduate. Like, he played there, and he commentates on all the biggest games, and he can commentate on an Ohio State game, and
Be neutral.
in my opinion, yes.
Oh, see, I want somebody.
I think
I would
he's-
turn the Redskins games on mute and let the radio, like the hometown radio guys.
Yeah, I think he's
'cause I wanna
very
hear
good
it.
at it.
Wow.
Yeah,
So sweet. My favorite Nate Diaz clip ever is the coolest thing, especially if you've ever been bullied. Do you ever see Nate Diaz when they go, "Hey, were you ever bullied as a kid?" And he just looks and he goes, "No, I had a big brother." And you're like, and your heart swells, and you
wow.
go, "Fuck yes!"
and his
Stockton.
big brother was Nick
Nick
Diaz.
Diaz.
Fucking Diaz.
Nick fucking Diaz.
Nick Diaz is one of the all-time greats.
I have to ask this. Can you, is there, 'cause I remember when the story broke.
Okay.
Hell nah.
That never happened to you.
And I had a big brother, man.
Fuck's his big brother.
Yeah,
And his big brother's a savage.
Savage. Look
A
at that.
real legit savage. I remember when Nick Diaz fought Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler was the man. He was like 20 years old. He was an assassin, just smashing people. And Nick Diaz went into the octagon, and as he walked into the octagon, he was like stomping on the floor. What part of California is he from again?
Stockton.
Stockton.
Are you serious?
The worst
Yeah, I
place on
forgot
earth.
for a second.
the worst.
And he
Yeah,
was
they're in
yelling
February.
out Stockton. Stockton, motherfucker, Stockton.
motherfucker.
I love it.
What?
Hey, by the
And
way,
I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
confused. Like, as a commentator, I'm like, what's happening here? He's like, Stockton, motherfucker, Stockton. I can't believe I forgot Stockton.
Yeah.
you're the one that brought it up. The only
I
reason I
haven't
know
eaten
that.
today.
Okay.
All I've had is alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
You wait.
I just
you do-
Worked
I had a
out, got up.
fucking ribeye.
I was up late at night.
Wow.
I wrote late at night till 4 a.m. Got
Oh,
up.
fuck.
Got in the cold.
we get
Did my
steaks
workout.
tonight?
Go back to the story. Stockton, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So he yells out, Stockton, motherfucker, Stockton. And you see Robbie Lawler going, what is happening?
I don't know what that means.
And when we thought Nick could beat him, like we knew Nick was a jiu-jitsu guy, but he beat him with boxing. He knocked him out. He knocked out Robbie Lawler. When he hit him with a right hook and Robbie dropped like face planted, we're like, what? It was nonsense. Like, no way. Somebody bullied ruthless Robbie Lawler.
Oh, look at that.
He just started. I mean, Robbie was an animal. Robbie was throwing back, but Nick was just
Oh.
and talking
That's
shit.
right. Fight
You got to
Stockton.
understand that talking shit is a 100% legit psychological tactic.
Yeah.
It fucks with your mind and impedes your performance 100%. It's a brilliant
and he's
move.
It's in
to
all
it.
sports too, in
Well,
all high level sports.
It is. And in fighting, I think he did it better than anybody in the beginning. Nobody did it better in fight. He would talk so much shit to them. Frank Shamrock said that he couldn't believe it was happening to him. Because when go to Nick Diaz versus
Wait, I wanna see
Frank
this knock- I
Shamrock.
want to see this
I want
knockout.
to see it too.
Okay.
Is this
No,
when
but-
Nate's one that flicked off the cameras, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was at that
he
fight.
stunned him with the 1-2. Yeah, but Nick was better.
Fucking-
In all due respect to Nate, Nate will tell you that Nick is better than Nate. Nick was
just weed killed Nate.
Nick was
Really
one
killed
of the.
Nick, I mean.
No, man.
I thought he stopped fighting because he wouldn't get tested.
No. Nobody
What?
got killed because of weed.
I thought he stopped fighting because he was like, I'm not cleaning up.
Nick?
Yeah.
No. There's no testing now in the UFC.
Now.
He's just had some real injuries, man. Like if you got to go to Nick Diaz, like right there, boom, face plant. You got to go to Nick Diaz in Strikeforce. If you want to see Nick Diaz at the elite of the elite level, where he achieved like real true greatness. By the time he got to the UFC, he was still great. When he fought Gomi and Pride, he was still great. In Strikeforce, an elite athlete in combat sports has a small window of time where they can perform at their best level. And when Nick Diaz was in Strikeforce, when he was the champ, he was fucking everybody up. He would just walk you down and beat your ass, and if you went to the ground, he would fucking strangle you 100% of the time. He beat everybody's asses.
God damn it.
The thing is, like, he would let guys take him down and, like, shut up, you can't knock me out. Like, you never knocked him out. No one knocked him out. He always survived. He always figured out a way to turn it into a grappling exchange, and then slowly but surely he would beat you out. Nick Diaz swam from Alcatraz.
That's a gangster thing.
5 times.
No, really?
Yeah.
5
To the mainland?
times.
Like
Great white sharks.
5 times. Might be more. Nick, I'm sorry if it's more since then. It's probably more since then. He beat everybody down. Eventually, you just withered, and he never got tired, and he just kept putting it on you. And at the end of the fight, it was always like this. He was basically hitting a fucking punching bag. A person who couldn't believe the amount of pressure that Nick Diaz put on them. Just beating the fuck out of them with not even breathing heavy.
He did not stop.
And he's just standing on top of him like, what? That's it. That's over. I want you to go to Nick Diaz versus Frank Shamrock. Because Frank Shamrock was a legend.
Hardcore.
He was a UFC champion. He was the first complete mixed martial artist. He could wrestle. He could submit you. He could do anything. And Nick Diaz the entire time was like, what, bitch? What, bitch? What are you going to do, bitch? He was just constantly talking to him. And Frank was like, I couldn't believe he was talking to me.
He's talking right now.
Yeah, always. Give me some volume. See if you can hear it.
Love him or hate him, I think he's tremendous for the sport. You need these kinds of characters in mixed martial arts.
I think they both like talking. Frank's trying to focus right now, though. You can tell.
Frank using that straight right hand to the body.
And the thing is, he's just touching you. He's hitting you with like 50%, 60%. But he's so relaxed. Look how relaxed his style is. He's not getting tired. Look how easy he's hitting him.
Why?
Because he's just wearing him out. He's cooking his food.
And he's holding back.
Yeah.
He knows.
Nick is 100% holding you back.
Yeah.
Look how he's punching him. He's not punching him full force at all.
Everybody's
He's just
trying to, like,
piecing him up.
slowly.
Yeah.
So the thing is,
Without wearing
if
out.
you can fight at that style where you're just 50%ing guys, you don't get tired. And if you can do 20 punches at 50%, it's almost as good as 50 punches at 100%.
Yeah.
Or not, or rather 10 punches at 100%. It's like if you go cut it in half. The volume also keeps you from being able to take a good breath.
Oh, right.
The guy's on you all the time. You never get a breather. Frank's not getting any breathers. And Nick's not tired. Look, he's just piecing him. Look, even that kick, there's no real power in it. Everything is just touching you until he starts to really see you wilt. And look at him. Look at him. Look at his stomach. Look at his stomach. There's no breathing heavy at all. He's probably at 120 beats a minute right now.
That's insane.
This is a fucking guy who runs triathlons.
Look at
so he can stand in front of you and you are fucking cooked. So he's cooking his chicken right now. He's got his chicken on the frying pan right now.
God damn
He's cooking chicken breasts. He's just piecing them up. And look, not tired, not exhausted, not hitting him. There's a dig. That's a dig. First dig.
Wow.
That right hand of the body he dug into.
So right now he's 100% going after it.
Yeah, now he's going after it. See the difference?
Yeah.
Look, these punches have a lot more fury behind them, right? Because he's ending the fight. He's more. Frank's already at 180 beats a minute. He's wilting, and he's beating the fuck out of him. And then he helps him up. He goes, "You're a legend. Get up." He said that. "You're a legend. Get up." And he holds his hand up. Because that's how he feels about him. That's legitimately how he feels about him.
Is there anyone better than Diaz brothers?
Yeah.
Brothers.
No, the brothers, man. That legend.
Look, there's a lot of
That's
awesome.
they're like, are they better than Peyton Manning and Archie Manning or
Eli Manning?
Yeah, Eli Manning.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
of course.
all sports. You're saying?
Yeah, like the brothers.
No, Peyton and Eli are better.
I don't know, man.
World titles.
Yeah,
MVPs.
multiple rings.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Conor
Nate's
McGregor, you beat
biggest
Conor
win.
McGregor.
That's his big win.
But you said though that elite guys when they get in there, they go to they do most of the fight at like 60-70%, right?
Unless like Max, that's one of the reasons why Max Holloway stopped sparring. Max decided at one point in time that he sparred enough and he understands it. He just does drills and trains and does a bunch of strength and conditioning work. And when he goes into a fight, he hasn't been hit in a long time. Mm-hmm. And that's his philosophy.
Well,
but he's also a world champion at the top of, there's a top 5 pound for pound. Max Holloway should be in there.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest of all time.
Because that's that thing, like, if you're amateur, you always start going like, I'm going 100%, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you step in,
Yeah.
whether you're doing jiu-jitsu or you're boxing or something, you're just like, I'm going to go all out. And then you realize this is not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Right?
Yeah.
But those elite guys are like, oh, you got to make this shit last.
Nick Diaz was the best at that. Because he understood endurance from the perspective of someone who swam from Alcatraz, someone who does triathlons. When you do triathlons, you're fucking swimming, you're running, and you're biking. There's 3 different things you're doing. All of them are exhausting. At any one of them, when it's over, it should be over.
Yeah.
Like, wow, what a workout. But then you got another one. And then after that, you got another one.
What does he take? He takes the tourist boat out there and is like, I'll catch up with you guys.
No.
Jumps in?
They do that specifically. Endurance athletes do it. They swim back from Alcatraz because if you don't make it to the shore, you're dead. And there's also great whites. They've nest out there. They nest.
Well,
San Francisco, that area out there is famous
But you
for its
can't
population of great white
outstrike the great
sharks.
whites.
No, you're dead.
That's like, what are you doing?
So there's like a follow boat kind of like.
I don't even know how they did it.
Yeah, they
Is that what they
follow
did?
boats. Yeah.
Okay. Either way, he made it all the way 5 times.
Not that
what do
a
you mean
follow boat's
5
going to help
times?
you. I
How-
don't. If,
How far are you swimming when you do that? Like,
I just was there. It's
It's
too
more
far.
than a mile.
No. It's. I think it's. If I'm not mistaken.
Current, though.
Well, the
Yeah, of
currents.
course.
Well,
Yeah,
they do. They time it out with the
course.
current. They don't go with like.
But the
in an outgoing
distance, just the
tide.
distance as the crow flies. What's the distance?
Yeah, what's the distance?
Between Alcatraz and the shore?
It's got to be at least
Jamie
2
will find
miles.
No.
Yeah, there it
Yeah,
says.
it's got to be at least a mile.
He says, I have done Alcatraz 5 times. So during the Conor McGregor, Rafael Dos Anjos, anyway, during
just
one of the
posted that?
What's that
fights,
distance,
I said
though?
that he did it twice, and he
How far?
corrected me. He corrected me. He said he did it 5 times.
How far is
but,
the distance?
But this was, by the way, 2016.
Maybe
He's
done it since.
probably done it 5 times since then. Of
course. Yeah.
He's a fucking psycho.
Jesus.
This is a story. Like, I remember how hot this story
What's
was.
the distance between Alcatraz?
It's got to be at least. I'm just telling you on triathlons, it's got to be a mile.
Yeah,
it's
I think
at
it's
least
more than a mile.
It's I know it is, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
To be safe, it's over a fucking mile.
Whatever. Like, what happened with the Kane story? Remember,
Cain
like,
Velasquez.
Kane,
Velasquez.
he hasn't been convicted, and
1.25.
1.25 miles. Okay.
It's a long swim,
Kane,
dude.
It's a long swim. Kane has not been convicted.
He's still locked up.
No, he's free. They released him on bail.
Can I ask you to pause for a second? Is Cain Velasquez the guy in Hawaii whose son?
No,
Okay,
he's a guy in Northern California whose son was molested by someone who was running the daycare center.
Same. I thought it was Hawaii. Keep going.
He's from AKA. He's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. In his prime, maybe the best. And he found out that his son had been molested by a daycare worker, and he went after that guy and drove his car in a rage and shot a gun at him. And they arrested him. They kept him in jail for a long time, and they finally let him out on bond. And now he's coaching at AKA. And I don't know what the status of his case is, but Kane is an exceptional human being. He's
Totally.
an amazing human being.
I feel like that was a story where, like,
Every
most of the
dad,
world.
every dad who heard that was like,
Like, yeah.
I fucking get it. I
It's like,
get
you
it.
gotta be careful with
100%.
stray bullets, but
Not only
yeah,
that,
I
the
get the
guy
reason.
the guy who did that is out.
What?
Yeah, the guy who did that is out on bail. So he's out, and Kane was in jail at the same time. It's
What?
one of the most terrifying situations a father could ever find themselves in, and not just know that that guy is out, but that you're in prison and that your wife is home with your children, and this guy who has already targeted your kid, who knows how fucking sick he is. He might try to target him again while you are in jail because and you might be in jail forever. Who knows? You might be in jail for 30 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's attempted murder. He was shooting a gun at the guy, allegedly. You know, but I'm on Team Kane.
Does he have a GoFundMe?
I don't know, but if he is, I'm donating.
So can you find out if there's a GoFundMe?
I'm on Team Kane all day.
We all
strangle him
every person in this room except Ari, who has a kid, but even Ari for his dog.
No, I'm totally
gets
on
it.
board.
I
Strangle
know,
him.
but there's a feeling
Don't
that
leave it to
when
chance.
you have kids, man, there's a fucking protection feeling that's. Jim Brewer said it to me. He goes, "I never understood murder." He goes, "Now I get murder." Yeah. He goes, "I'd murder for my kids."
Yeah.
GoFundMe shut down. What? GoFundMe shuts down Cain Velasquez fundraiser, says donors issued refunds. Oh my God.
Why they shut it down?
Violation of terms of service. What's your terms of service?
says that GoFundMe
legal defense of a
prohibits-
violent crime. Oh, okay.
Prohibits raising money for the legal defense. Yeah.
But what?
Well,
so
I
hurricane,
see
you couldn't
if
raise
you
money
want
for hurricane?
but no, it's not a violent crime.
What do you
It's
mean?
Between human beings.
What?
Act of God.
Hurricane?
No,
you mean
no,
Reuben
no.
Hurricane Carter?
Yeah. So you couldn't have for his
Okay.
defense?
I'm glad I just added Bob Dylan's Hurricane to my Spotify Green Room playlist, which will now be available. That's why I knew
Hardcore N-word using that
I knew
song.
you were saying Hurricane.
Bob
Is
Dylan
it?
should be. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Bob Dylan says
That,
N-word in that song.
that hurricane story is complicated.
Yeah, but so you couldn't raise money for that defense with the new GoFundMe
Yeah, but
rules?
the story's complicated. Whether or not that person was guilty or not is complicated.
The hurricane story?
Yeah, it's a little complicated. And the version in the movie is 100% horseshit.
Oh, wow.
The version in the movie of the guy who's like targeting him, horseshit.
They always in the movies. They always do that with like Fruitvale Station. They can't make him a drug dealer, so he's like, "Here, take all my weed. I'm done."
Yeah.
And it's like you can be a drug dealer and not deserve to get shot.
Yeah, well, also, when
it's just
drugs
weed.
are legal and some drugs will get you put in a cage, and the people that own the patents to those drugs are funding politicians, like, what?
It's very.
What?
Yeah.
You know, you just don't want entrepreneurs. You don't want drug dealers on a street level.
Yeah.
You have drug dealers everywhere. Every time you go to Walgreens, there's a fucking plexiglass wall behind you and the drug dealer.
True.
We
And
were
they're filled with people's stuff.
me and Kevin Ice were driving through Arizona, and we passed by some prisons. And we were just looking them up. They all renamed, rebrand, and we were like, they made since the 85, 86, they made $2 billion. And if you told them, hey, one of your big funding things is weed arrests, we're going to make that not a problem. They're going to go full on. I'm like, make that illegal. Keep
Well, you
that
know
illegal.
that prison
Lobby
guard
hard.
unions,
It's all our business.
Prison guard unions lobby
Yeah.
to keep marijuana from being
You're taking away a
Really?
quarter of our business.
Yeah.
Just to keep them employed, basically.
Yeah, because it's like if you're a business person, that's what you're supposed to do. If you have shareholders,
Yeah.
if you have union members, you're not supposed to do it morally. You're supposed to do it like, what's the benefit of this
The shareholders.
this group of people that I
Right.
represent?
Are you
that's
wise
what's
enough
dirty
to-
about corporations?
But are you wise enough to not do that? Like, say you're what's the family that Jelly Roll just talked about on at Congress?
Bilderbergs?
Well,
No, the Clintons.
no, but he talked about a family that did all opioids.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Sackler
the
family.
Sacklers.
Sackler
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, be fair.
Well, the kids are saying, let's get out of this.
Could you walk away from millions?
Who?
You as a person and say like,
You'd like to say you could. But so
I'd
Wait a
like to
minute.
say I could. I'd like to say I could,
Zuckerberg-
but I'm just saying I
think
can't.
Zucker-
If you were in the family, the Sackler family,
Yes.
and
The
all
kids
that
are out
shit
of
was
it.
going down.
The
Do you-
kids are like, shut
Do
it
you
down.
think you would have kept your mouth shut
Yeah,
if you knew that everybody was dying?
yeah.
You justified to
Everyone
yourself.
would. Everyone would.
I
If
think-
you aren't, you're
would.
lying.
I think Facebook started
If you're
nice.
on a yacht in fucking
No,
Mykonos,
this is what I
I
believe.
think Facebook started nice
It's
and it was all friendly, and then
super
once
nice.
Zuckerberg realized, oh, people are turning on each other hard for your thing. He's like, keep it running, just keep it running. We got a machine here.
yeah, buddy, it's so
I don't think it was,
hard
like, intended
to
to-
walk away from money.
Philip
not
Morris.
not everyone has a sweet thing in life.
Philip Morris too. They're like,
on
well,
Bird, how much money are we talking about? You're willing to let people
Billions.
die for this money?
you're saying
I'm just
you couldn't
saying
tell.
I'm not better than the average person.
You know what? I want to
hear
stop
you.
you right
I hear
here.
you.
What you're
Please.
saying? This is what I want to stop you.
Okay.
You're you,
Yes.
and those people that work for the Sacklers are a different thing. If you take flour and sugar and chocolate, and you mix it up and you make it a fucking cake. That's how you make a cake. If you want to make sourdough bread, you need different ingredients. If you want to make a really nice guy who's a good dad and a good husband and a funny guy and does a tour and does stand-up comedy, you go through your life.
I disagree.
And you make Bert Kreischer. You make you. If you want to make a Sackler, you have to have disconnected parents. You have to have this weird privilege of insane financial wealth. You have to have a pharmaceutical gigantic company that's been bribing politicians and manipulating narratives and shaping the public's view of pharmaceutical drugs by hiding negative side effects and accentuating the positive benefits of it.
All the lawyers,
for money.
But also all the lawyers, all the secretaries,
this is the environment that you grow up in.
Yeah.
You're a different thing.
It would be hard.
You're a different thing. You right now would pass up on the money.
No,
100%.
I have money right now, but I'm saying.
No, I'm
if you're
saying if you got a fucking phone call and the Sackler said, this is going to sound crazy,
comedy is killing
but it
people.
turns out you're a part of the fucking Sackler family. And you all have a seat on the board, and you can come in, and you're a part. We didn't know, but you're a part of the family, and we have to give you a piece, and you got to come in. You're worth $10 billion now.
No, that's different. That's inheriting it. What if you're comedy? What if something you do now you realize?
No, but the Sackler family inherited their wealth, Ari. That's why this is valid. He didn't. He built up his life. That's why he wouldn't do it now. You would do it if you were trapped in that environment.
Life was damaging people.
That's what determinism is. The idea behind it is you're shaped by all of the different circumstances you encounter. And to compare your circumstances to another circumstances are crazy. They don't make any sense.
But I'm wondering, just argument's sake, if they had said to me at a young age, yo, get out of comedy, the Sacklers have this thing called Oxycontin. And it's really helping with cancer. And it's like, because that's how you get into it, right?
Right.
Yeah,
good.
but for sure you would have got out at an early age. Just like if somebody gave you a lottery ticket. If you got a lottery ticket and you won $100 million,
I've thought about this all time.
It would probably ruin your career when you were 21.
1,000%.
100%.
No.
Oh, yeah. At 21, it would have.
But you wouldn't have gotten out of it. You would have taken it.
No, you would have taken the money and you would have become a loser.
No, I'm saying you wouldn't have gotten out of the money. You would have
taken the money.
Yeah,
If you don't have any money, when you get money, it is the panacea. It is the elixir. It is the thing that exists that you didn't think was possible. Now, all of a sudden, you're not worrying about bills, which is 35% of everybody's fucking stress.
Those wardens, those prisons, are they're convincing themselves, no, these are dangerous drug addicts. We can't have them on the street. They're convincing themselves. They're not lying. They're like lying to themselves.
Yeah, but you don't even have to convince yourself, man. That's a human dynamic that was exposed in the Stanford prison experiments.
Yeah.
If you get people and they have power over other people, they start abusing them almost instantly. Like you have to have like a very
especially if somebody tells you to do it.
Those Stanford
go,
experiments are all.
But at the
debunked.
same time, it's like
they're not totally debunked, Ari. At the end of it, these people decided that they wanted to get out of it, and they got out of it. But the reality is the way they behaved with each other was documented.
It was like leading them.
Yeah, but you couldn't lead me to do that.
I don't know.
You
See,
couldn't.
that's my problem.
You couldn't right now. But you could if I was 20.
He was like, they weren't really convinced, and they were like, hey, push harder, go. And it's like, okay. They weren't convinced they were actually doing it.
There's been a lot of weird things about people in power. And one of the weirdest ones, is there was people that were administrating electrical shock to a person. And they were told to do it by someone else, so they did it. And it got to the point where they thought the person might be dying. And some people kept doing it, and some people did not. Mm-hmm. And there is a power dynamic that I think allows people to torture people. Yeah. It allows people to kill people, whether they're, whatever the fuck you are. If you're an Israeli, a Palestinian, if you're a Palestinian Israeli, you can kill someone. They're not even a human. That is the other.
Yeah.
There's a fucking programming that exists in our mind because of all the tribal warfare human beings have gone through over hundreds of thousands of years. when the time we were prehistoric humans, the time we were fucking modern humans. We have been killing each other for so fucking long that we have a program in us where it's easy to other people. That's how the Holocaust happened. That's how what's happening in Ukraine is happening. What's happening in Israel is happening. You can decide that someone is something other than a human being. And they can get you to do that pretty fucking quickly. If they tap into that mindset, they tap into that programming, they can give you a button. They go, hit him. But he said he's dying. Hit him.
Hit him. And they would hear him scream. They would have them screaming. Yeah.
I have to say, I say this with love. Tom's dad was in the Vietnam War. I don't think Tom's dad was a guy that wanted to ever kill anyone, but he had to in that programming. The thing I think is there's a disconnect with where we as Americans look at things on social media and we think we're not that Karen, we're not that person, we'd never do it. But until you're in that moment, you don't know. You don't know. You really don't know.
There's a lot of normal GIs in Vietnam that were raping fucking villagers. You know,
probably
they didn't go in as monsters.
Bro,
war does something.
If you can't connect to the fact that that's in you, that's in you, then I think you're lying to yourself.
It's a possibility.
You don't know. Rogue is good.
When you go into that, when you show up, you don't just go. Well, I love them. The training, you do get trained to be a killer.
Right.
That whole speech of like Richard, they are training you to see the enemy as the enemy and somebody that you have to kill, right? So you're it's not day one. You're prepared over a series of months, and it's a version of a brainwashing. They brainwash you to become a killer.
Like, this is good. Do it.
But there's a pattern that you can follow in your head where you can destroy another human being.
1,000%.
You know, and that's what
I have
Customato
to have
taught
that in me.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You know, he taught Mike Tyson that through hypnosis. He taught him the most effective way to think and to view you don't exist. He was telling him you're just, the task is the only thing that's important. You don't exist.
You don't exist.
Just the task of smashing this person is all that it is. And if you can think like that, that alleviates so much brain power.
Wow.
Alleviates the guilt.
And if you tell that to a soldier, you can get him to do some wild shit.
And they did.
Your dad,
and they do.
Your dad talked to you about that.
Yeah.
And
in the later years, yeah.
I'm curious. I would love to hear like the insight your dad had about that as a son, hearing a dad kill, like going like, yeah, I just had to kill people. My dad's never killed anyone, but this because he was he had asthma. But I'm curious because we're talking about this. Like, what was that? As a son, hearing the rationale, you have to accept it. You have to figure it out.
Yeah, and he was a great dad, and he was a really kind, loving guy. But I mean, first of all, he loved the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
He loved the Marine Corps.
Well, I would imagine
So
the
much.
bonds that you make when you're literally fighting for life and death.
Yeah.
19
And he
also.
had, you know, if he's a lieutenant, so he has a platoon of 70 men under his command. So you feel also
The responsibility.
the responsibility
Yeah.
of taking, and like, you know, he told me right before he died, like in the last year of his life, that he thought about the men who died in his platoon every day. And he'd never told me that before. I was like, what? He goes, every day I think about those guys that I lost. And I was like, because I had no idea. He never spoke about it. And he would tell me like stories about different like guys dying next to him, stepping on a mine next to him, exploding 3 feet from him, getting shot. The worst one he said was a guy that to watch movies back then, you'd have to go to like a base, get a film canister and bring it back. And in a monsoon season, one of those guys went to get films just for entertainment, and he drowned in a monsoon on the way back.
What?
So it felt like a more meaningless death.
Yeah.
It wasn't in combat.
Right.
Things like that. And he would talk about that, and then also they do get this disconnect if you're in combat. Like, it's not like you talking about could you kill someone. It's like you're in a world of killing. That's all that's happening around you.
It's not could you. You have to.
You have to. And so then he was just like, yeah. You know, that's when he started telling me, like, because I asked him as a kid. I mean, I ended up doing like a bit about it, trying to make but I used to ask him as a kid, because you see wars, and you're like, you see movies, and you're like, did you do that? And as a kid, you're not going to tell a kid. So he was like, no, it didn't work like that. I was in charge. Like, I was a lieutenant. I was like, and then later years, He's like, well, I threw grenades into bunkers. And I was like, were there people in the bunkers? And he was like, yeah. And
Otherwise, why waste a grenade?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then he also said, I mean, it became like this joke, but it was true. He said, there's no better feeling than killing the enemy, right? Like in combat. Because they're all trying to kill the people around, and they are killing people around you.
Right.
So, yeah, he said, they would pull bodies out of these holes. The Vietnamese were small people, stature-wise. Yeah. So they would hide in holes a lot of times, like holes in the ground.
Coochie tunnels.
And they would throw grenades into there. And then when they'd pull them out, they'd be in half. So they just pull like a torso out, Ooh. But he also said, losing men left and right, like in your platoon. I mean, it's devastating to you. It's like the person you bonded with and
here's
basic training.
You're over there for a lie.
Yeah. I think that's a part that a lot of people don't ever reconcile with. If they're,
that's got to be the hardest.
Yeah,
you're over there committing atrocities for a lie. Yeah, there's no reason for you to be there.
Like they're not here. You're over there.
The Gulf of Tonkin incident wasn't real.
The Gulf of Tonkin too is something that even active duty people at the time didn't realize till 20, 30 years. You know what I mean? They're not.
Well, that's Smedley Butler. The war is a racket. That's his whole. That article that he wrote from 1933, who's a, very established general. At the end of his career, he writes what he was really doing, what he thought he was doing. It was really just like making things safe for bankers.
Wow.
Controlling resources. And this is 33.
Wow.
And it's called War is a Racket.
Really?
I recommend it to anybody.
Things
I think
safe
you've talked
for
about that
bankers.
before.
I've talked about it every time I can because people need to understand these patterns they're repeating themselves forever because they're a part of human behavior patterns. They're these natural patterns that exist in order to enable us to survive. To survive, you have to conquer your enemies, control resources, establish safe grounds, and that stuff can get out of hand if that's your whole business. If that's your whole business, you've been doing that forever, then you find reasons to go to war.
That war machine.
The war machine.
Yeah.
What Eisenhower talked about at the end of his presidential term.
That's how you get to Hillary Clinton.
It's still,
can we just drone him?
Yeah.
Wait, is your dad still alive?
Yeah.
Is your dad still alive?
Yeah, allegedly.
My uncle, my dad was active duty on the ground. My uncle flew over 600 missions in Vietnam.
Damn.
Dropping bombs.
On your mom's Vietnam.
I mean, think about it. Think about it.
Do that. Stand by that.
Think about those numbers, though.
That's
just
astounding.
600 times?
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Imagine being the guy in the plane that drops the fucking nuke. The first nuke.
Did you ever see the guy that did? And he was like,
it fucked him up.
Oh,
no, one of them was like, that's just what it is. Like he
the big thing is they didn't know.
That guy just killed 150,000.
But they didn't know if their plane was going to be able to get away from the bomb.
Go over.
So they had to fucking fly crazy altitudes, try to get out of the bomb.
Isn't that crazy? Like first time, you're not exactly sure. Did you see Oppenheimer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I read the book.
Shut up.
No,
you don't read.
I don't read.
I don't even read. I do read. Occasionally.
Yeah, of course you do.
But if I read like 10% of what I listen to.
Books on tape?
But I wish you read less.
Huh?
I wish you read less.
Why?
It'd be easier to hang out with you.
Am I hard to hang out with?
This.
Joe, you know too much, man. It's like, I can't. You're like.
I already knew me when I was stupid.
Yeah.
I know.
Great.
I wish I got that Joe.
Let's smoke the weed.
I got the early Joe, the dumb Joe. That was my favorite Joe. This Joe,
before he discovered a book.
Oh fuck! Yeah. I remember when you got curious. I remember
I've been curious
we
forever.
just talking about
I didn't have a platform where I could get people to talk to me.
As long as you can keep them from moon landings or aliens or pyramids, you're good.
Leanne said. Leanne's always wondered, what's it like hanging out with Joe? And I was like, I don't know. It's really hard to explain. And then you hung out with her the other night. I don't know what you were talking about because I just stopped listening. But you were like about inclusions and Bob Lazar and the fucking.
Yeah, we were talking about this lady. Diana Pasulka, who was on the podcast, she's a religious scholar, and she was talking about how there is a growing theory that these experiences people are having with UFOs, UAPs, alien abductions, that this is not something from another planet. It's something that's always been here. Oh. It's an interdimensional being that there's a bunch of different variables that have to come into play for these things to be able to pass forth into our realm, but that they're somehow or another monitoring us and have always been. And that these crash retrievals, they call them donations.
Best post-sex conversation I've ever had. Hope Rogan was right. I want to be angels with you up in heaven.
Yeah.
It was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
She hung out with Joe for fucking 10 minutes. And then we had sex, and she was like...
Jesus.
She was like, hey, I love that idea. That there's angels are real. It's cool.
I think if you stopped and thought about how many cultures believe in some greater power that's above everything that they intuitively know is guiding you in a moral and ethical direction, there's got to be something to it.
Yeah.
There's something to it.
Agree. Suck my dick, Louis C.K. You're right. He can suck my dick.
Why
doesn't
can he
believe
suck your dick?
Because he didn't believe in anything.
Well, that's a fair way to believe.
No.
If you want to just do it based entirely on evidence. That's a very reasonable
He's just a
perspective.
total atheist.
Because he's like, you're just making up a reason it's this.
Yeah, but I like that more. I like
but
that more.
I think the universe is God. That's what I think.
Keep going.
I think this idea of God creating the universe is silly. I think the whole thing is God. I think it's God in the fact that it's the entire creation of everything that exists that we can measure. All of it is the universe.
Yes.
And if you read the Bible talks about in the beginning there was light. Boy, that sounds a lot like the Big Bang. Boy, that sounds a lot like the birth of the universe. I think these fucking people that wrote the Bible were recounting stories that were told down through people that had a scientific understanding of the birth and death of the universe, just like we do now. Maybe even more than we do now. And then they got hit by asteroids. And then it was thousands of years before civilization reestablished itself. And the stories had been told down, handed down forever and ever. And by the time people wrote them down, they were goofy. And they were goofy, and there's like God created the earth in 6 days, and the whole story of Adam and Eve, and there's probably a lot to all of it that's true. And it's probably a historical record that was told to people that were essentially barbarians that were surviving from the collapse of a superior civilization, superior to what we have today. And there's a lot of real physical evidence of that. There's a lot of archaeological evidence of that. And it seems to be a direction that a lot of people are headed into when they understand how often we get hit with asteroids. Somewhere around 11,800 years ago, we got pelted, and it stopped civilization in its tracks, and we had to rebuild from scratch. And the people that survived were probably monsters. Monsters. The Mongols and the fucking hordes and the barbarians. They were the most harsh people because that was the only way you survived, because there was no longer a technologically advanced civilization. It was all just barbarism, and there's very few animals to eat because there's a nuclear winter, because the sky is filled with the impact of this massive meteor that slams into Earth and kills 70% of all the people. And then about 6,000 years later, they start figuring out mathematics again.
Wow.
This is why I listen to this podcast.
That's what I think.
What do you think you grew up religious?
Uh-huh.
What is your take on God? And
You gave up your Lord.
They said the years were different. So when they said it was created 5,000 years ago, they're like, that's our understanding of the years. They're like, this guy lived to 260, but they're like, that's just, I don't know, some seasons passed.
When they wrote that, they didn't even have a sundial.
Right. So they're like, how old are you? Like, I don't know. We don't have calendars.
But are you a believer in a higher power?
No.
No.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
What happens
There's
when you
no
die?
why to a belief.
What happens when you die?
When you die, everyone will forget you. But when I die, I'll be remembered and heralded.
You know I've worked really hard so that doesn't happen. That's one of my biggest things about working is I wonder, because they say you die twice. You die when you die, and then you die when the last person that remembers you dies.
I try to go to graveyards. I try to look at the graveyards and see who they are and try to say their name and keep them alive a little longer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
So there's no second
Sometimes
death.
I call my dead friends on their cell phone numbers.
Did they ever answer?
Nope.
They never got that number again?
That's interesting.
No. Yeah. I don't like the death thing. I don't believe in it, but I don't
believe in death.
Yeah. It's never happened to me.
I have one phone that I keep active because I have a text message chain from Anthony Bourdain and a voicemail from a buddy of mine who died.
The pool player?
No, Dave Dolan, my private investigator friend, who was the funniest guy I ever met that never did stand up. I was a amateur comic, and he was a private investigator that lost his driver's license because he was drunk driving. So he needed an assistant, and so we really just needed someone to drive him. And so I was like, private investigator's assistant, that'd be a cool job. So I just started working for this guy, and he died a few years back when he left me a voicemail. It was fucking awesome.
What was the last text Anthony Bourdain sent you?
Oh, that's a good question.
Please let him call you the F-word.
No, there was a restaurant, and I took a photo of this chef that was prominently figured on the wall. I go, who's this guy? And it's Marco Pierre White. You know who he is? Google that guy. He's one of the most extraordinary chefs that's like ever existed. He's like a true artistic genius that's a chef.
Where's he based out of?
Inspired. He's inspired. Yeah, he is English. He's amazing. He's a really fascinating guy. There's a ton of videos of him talking about food and the way he approaches food is the way Rembrandt approached paintings.
Oh,
I mean,
I love this guy.
He's a wizard. I mean, he's legitimate. He's 100% all in. I believe now the way he sets up these insane restaurants, and I think one of them he's using now from a farm, if I remember correctly, that like he runs. He's certainly done that in the past, where they source all of their ingredients, everything
from that.
Love
location.
it, love it, love it.
And they set the menu. I mean, it's cuisine taken to a level of precision that it just doesn't. It's not just food.
The food experience I had in Asia, by the way, was unbelievable.
Yeah, I saw your post.
It was unbelievable.
So how did you know where to go?
A lot of it was that Philip Lee was there, our friend Philip Lee, the chef. He was in Tokyo.
Tell you where to go.
Oh, that's amazing.
And he had been there a month.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so we went to an omakase sushi place for lunch that I was like, this is absolutely insane. A teppanyaki place at a hotel. Here's one of the things.
Oh, my dick's hard.
Oh my God. So teppanyaki, he said this thing that I was like, oh, I didn't realize this. That in the States, a lot of times when you stay at a hotel, you go, we got to get out of the hotel to find something good to eat, right? Like the hotel restaurant, you're like,
no
is
way.
shit.
Yeah.
But the thing in Tokyo is that hotels, like your fucking Hyatt hotel, has a restaurant that you're like, I wish I could eat here every night. Like the food, it's that thing of like the ingredient is the star. So like a salad, you have a basic salad. The tomato is like the best tomato you've ever had. The lettuces. We had king crab. They go, do you want king crab at this teppanyaki place? And I was like, yeah, I like king crab. And I'm thinking of it all the times I've had it before. And they bring it out raw. It had just been brought in from a ship earlier that day. And then they just season it, put a little butter on the griddle there, and prepare it. It was the best. I'd never had anything like that before. The Wagyu Mafia, which is like a theater performance. It's 6 tabletop, and it's just 13 different variations of Wagyu beef.
Wow.
I mean, and then we went to Hong Kong, and there's this place called New Punjab Club. It's a 1-star Michelin place, Indian food, that was...
What's 1 star mean?
So 1 star...
First level.
It's like, there's 3-star possibilities. So 1 star is that this is... If it's accessible to you, it's worth going to eat here.
Okay.
2 stars is like it's worth going out of your way to eat here. 3 stars is it's worth making a trip to go to this place just to eat here.
Oh, fuck.
I went to one of those.
So we went to a 3-star in Singapore that was called Zen that was just unbelievable. But in Hong Kong, that Indian place, their kitchen was smaller than the space we're in right now.
Whoa.
And they had
how many seats?
They had probably 6 tables. And they had a cylinder, like a ceramic cylinder. They brought us into the kitchen with coal down there, and they just take sticks and they put them in there with chicken and beef and everything. And it gets to like, I don't know how many, 1,000 degrees in there. But every dish came out and you're like, this is, everything we ate was like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten, you know?
Wow.
But the 3-star in Singapore really was one of those experiences where the experience starts when you walk in.
When you walk in.
See waiting room experience.
Did you ever see the movie The Menu?
Yes.
It's good.
Isn't it amazing?
I love that movie.
That's such a good movie.
So great.
Me and Bobby Kelly went to Noma in Copenhagen.
No.
I took us there just
Noma's the motherfucker, right?
Yeah, it was like best restaurant, 3 out of 5 years. And the guy was like, we were at a festival. He's like, let's just go see it. They ain't gonna get you in. And they go, hey, these guys are comedians visiting.
Wait, hold on. Is this pre-lap band surgery?
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
And anyway, I get a call. I'm
Big
taking a nap.
Bobby.
I'm taking a nap. Get a call. We got a cancellation for lunch. You want to come in? And I was like, yeah. I call Bobby. He's with the promoter. Bobby's like, nah, we had a shorter pizza. And the guy hit him in the face and said, put that pizza down and go over there right now.
And Bobby said, I'll eat the pizza also.
26-course lunch. They don't have lemons because it's not local. They don't want to only
Everything's
use local.
yeah.
So we use ants that give you that lemony zest.
Ants.
Fried moss.
And
And there was ants. And there was a pairing, a booze pairing, fried moss. It's great. There was a booze pairing. Bobby's like, I'm an alcoholic, can't eat because we have a juice pairing for you. There's no level that they won't
accommodate to make an experience.
Where we were in the kitchen, there were 3 guys peeling walnuts, the little brown casing on a walnut. And I was like, who are those guys? They're like, they're high-level chefs. I'm like, what are they doing? They don't want that shit getting stuck in your teeth.
That's the thing. This is one of the things you wish you could share.
The ants right there. And
you
it
wish
made
you
it
could
zesty.
share this experience with everybody, like just so they get to.
Oh,
have
that's
something like
fucking
this.
ants.
Yeah. And you just do it. You don't think twice. It's amazing.
All right. What's better? Sushi in Japan, or like that high-end sushi, or pasta in Europe? Like when you're in Italy.
Yeah, low-level food's good too.
No,
It's
but
like-
I mean, like what? Like if you had
Why
to
does
pick,
everything have to be a competition with you, Bert?
I'm just trying to start a conversation.
Starting
I want
lists.
you to pick teams.
Yeah, some of that shit's great too. A local, small,
buddy. Handmade
good sandwich
pasta,
in
handmade
France.
tortillas.
Listen, man.
Taco in
if I
Mexico
had
City.
2 foods to choose for the rest of my life, only based on flavor, it's Italian and Mexican. 100%.
Oh,
Asian.
yeah.
No.
Italian would be
Asian's
in there
great,
for-
but I like to get drunk. And I like a fucking burrito.
Yeah.
I
Handmade
like
tortillas are
those.
fucking next
Remember
level.
those chicken burritos we used to get in San Diego when we go to La Jolla?
Don Carlos.
Oh,
Did you ever go to
with
Yucatan?
That's like that really watery red sauce that was on the chicken. Oh my god!
Did you ever
it
go
was
to Yucatan,
insane.
Vermont?
Where?
What?
Yucatan, Vermont, in L.A.
No.
It's a parking lot with a hut, like a stand. Looked like where you would go to get a parking ticket. That's
Yeah?
the kitchen.
Whoa.
And she got the James Beard Award.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
And it's like just tacos the way she made them in Yucatan.
Oh.
Yeah. And I guarantee you those high-level chefs from that would love to eat at Yuca's.
Bro, if it wasn't
100%.
for the fact that it's not good for you,
That's Yuca's.
I'd be eating Mexican food every day. Mexican food
Yeah.
and Italian food. I'd be eating linguine
There
with
she is on
clams.
the left. Yeah.
Wow.
If food was just calories purely and there was no nutrition
That's
at
the
all,
whole restaurant, dude.
there was no concern with what's good for your body and bad for your body.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'd be eating pizza and
good.
pasta all day
Franklin's.
There's nothing
Yeah,
better
yeah,
than
of
pizza.
course.
That's what I'd be eating lasagna.
Pizza's
If it was,
the best.
if food was all just every food was equal.
A rigatoni norcina.
What's the one with the egg yolk
I'm
in
hungry
it?
right now.
Oh yeah, they mix it up.
Carbonara.
Bro.
Carbonara is the fucking
Have you eaten at
greatest.
Felix in Venice?
No, I've never
pull
been
it
there.
up, pull it up, pull it up.
Jesus,
I've heard many-
Louises.
Pull it up.
Evan Funky. He's got 3 restaurants now. He's got Mother Wolf. He's got Funky.
I've been to Mother Wolf,
Oh,
and that's fucking
my
awesome
God.
in Hollywood.
I don't even think about going gluten free when I go to that joint.
No,
You
Mother
can't.
Wolf is the shit.
For real?
You gotta
yeah,
jump in.
I, go,
if you're
I,
watching.
I let
I've-
that carnivore diet go fuck itself.
Yeah.
I'm like we're here for mouth pleasure.
Damn.
Evan is a wizard. He's been on the podcast before.
He has?
Yeah, he's a wizard.
It's just when you see them, they're artists about it. They're thinking about it at another level.
Brother, Roy Choi, friend of Tom, and Tom and I used to do dinner with Roy Choi all the time. He lived next door to me. He revolutionized taco trucks. Good friend of the Bourdain. He said to me one time, we went to dinner for his daughter's birthday, and he said, I said, what are you having for dinner? And he said, I'm going vegan. I said, really? He said, I'm going vegan for a year.
Whoa.
Because I feel like meat has dominated my palate. And I want to really challenge my palate to find flavor again.
Those guys do it for no
and then
reason.
and then you go, wow, that's
dedication to the craft.
that's
really.
fucking next level, man. Wow. That's the
Or
fucking thing.
dumb.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it.
Or dumb. Go eat squash for a year, stupid. I can eat ribeye steaks 365 days a
yeah,
year.
get a side.
I'd be fine.
You gave me 2 Zins.
Yeah, let's go. No, they're rogues.
They're 2 rogues.
Tommy, you turned me on to these.
They're the best.
They're the best.
They're the
Got
best.
one in
Want
right
another
now?
one?
I know you do.
Yeah, let's
I'm
do
not
it.
even gonna ask.
Yeah. Pass me 2. I'm into 24 milligrams.
Hey. It's
Is it my
it
pocket?
dropped on the ground.
Drop it on the ground.
I
Suck
take it
up.
off the fucking
Look it off the ground.
Don't be scared.
Do it with your mouth. Do it with your mouth.
There's only random people from all walks of life.
Scientists.
Ari sat that seat many times.
I did.
Ari's
It's not the
piss
safest.
is most certainly
Definitely
at
had
least
some
I'm not in love with
dribbled
I'm
on
not
that
in love
floor.
with the
dribble.
seating choice for
You know these,
Protect
Tommy?
My Parks.
You own these?
You're not what?
I'm not
got
in
one
love
in.
with the seating choice
Thank
for
you.
Protect My
Why?
Parks.
Why?
I don't know. I like you where you are.
Right here.
Yeah.
In Norman
Switch
seat.
it up. Switch
No,
it
that's
up.
your seat.
I'm not in love with sunglasses either.
No, they have to go sunglasses when they get fucked up. It lets Shane be Shane. It lets Tim Dillon be Tim Dillon. You got to give a man the option of sunglasses.
You have to.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you
there we go.
doing?
How a lot of people.
Look at that cock. Here, let me show you mine.
He's gonna piss into a jar. You know, there's a bathroom out there.
Where, a closer one?
Ari.
No, it's not a closer one. No, don't do that.
You got a lot of sack, bro.
I got a
your
lot of sack. Not a great dick.
Your sack looks like you lost 500 pounds.
Thank you.
Like you had like 80 pounds
45,
in your
45.
sack.
So much
And
skin.
it
Let's
just,
see
like,
yours. Let's see
lost
yours.
all the way-
Joe, let's go
No.
viral. Let's go viral.
No, I'm not showing my dick.
are
I'm
you
a grown
doing,
man.
What are your balls bigger than your dick?
No, they're regular.
No.
Yeah. There's no
Do you have a hard
oddity.
time coming?
Nope.
For real?
No.
What do you think about when you come?
I really don't have
Come
a
on,
thing.
man.
Don't piss into the fucking.
Jamie, throw me that bottle.
Why don't you go to the bathroom? Just pinch
Well,
your
at this
dick.
can't at this point.
Go out there. You can
There's
walk.
one right there on your
take
table.
Take your headphones off and go walk out. Ari.
Ari.
Go walk. Don't piss in my mug.
I'll take it.
Just walk them both out now. Like you should have just left before.
I should have.
How much piss do you have left in you? Do you really have a good gauge?
Yeah, it's done. I
'Cause
was
you
gonna
know when
get
I-
the tops of bubbles. that
I
got me in
can
this
just
one.
tell you that, like, when you have to piss and you do piss, it's one of the great feelings
Feels
of life.
so good.
Yeah.
It's so good, and it's one of those things we're ashamed of, so we don't talk about it. Like we
looking
really
at this
appreciate a good solid piss.
Yeah.
If you've been drinking beer,
Had zippered up.
don't zip your dick in you. How many times have you done that? Caught your dick in your
Yeah,
zipper?
I've done that. That's
That
horrific.
stopped me from going bareback. I thought like bareback was like a wild person's way to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I don't need no fucking underwear. I'm not a pussy.
Do you not wear underwear?
A couple times I caught my dick in my
he
zipper.
never
I'm like,
does.
I don't wear underwear. My
No, I've
dick's
done
like
it.
a
I know. I pulled your dick out in front of everybody at Vulcan.
I know.
You did?
I pantsed him. I pantsed him during Kill Tony. His ass was hanging out. I was like, let's go.
Let's go.
If you get a little shaft caught in a zipper, that'll change your.
That'll.
No.
No.
It's
It's not good.
it's a fucking. You got
Yeah,
to
it's like
reapproach
you
your
need
runway.
underwear. You need underwear. Underwear are important. Keep
No.
it together.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
But you just feel great though, huh?
It's especially
Airy.
in a suit pant.
You ever wear
feels
one of those
amazing.
Sikh things?
You feel like a wild person. Your dick's just
Yes,
flopping
I
around.
have.
Yeah.
Yes, I
That
have.
must feel good with no underwear.
You remember
Fucking
those
awesome.
days where the girls were getting caught getting out of limos with their pussies?
Yep.
Yeah.
Britney
Special-
Spears.
On purpose. On purpose.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Because the camera was
Step
down.
out. Yeah,
the
yeah.
camera was literally like focused on their vagina.
Yeah.
Like from down low. Imagine.
It's like a wildlife photographer. They just be like, just see
Yeah,
if
you
this
would put your
fucking,
Catch a
legs
falcon.
together and move
Yeah.
it over.
see if these fucking jaguars are gonna come out of that. Yeah.
They did it. It was like
So good.
They figured out how to be viral or early on.
Yeah.
Just show your pussy.
That was so
Oops.
fascinating to me when I learned that a lot of those people that are always in paparazzi, that they give a heads up to the paparazzi.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that originally, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, they call. They're like, I'm
no,
going here.
yeah.
Hey, I'm having a new beard. I'm dating.
then they go,
can you come pictures? Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
Wait,
leave me
how do you
alone.
deal with paparazzi?
How do I deal with them?
Like, do you engage or do you just tap out?
I mean, the only thing I think I deal with is probably autograph people that just are. They
You've
go,
never had like paparazzi come up to you?
Yeah, I did it on Melrose and in L.A., but they're not like here.
But are you generous or are you just like, hey, go fuck
Totally.
yourself?
The
No.
TMZ guys are good guys.
They're
good guys.
They're good guys. And
I-
I've known a few of them that were
yeah.
comics that
Yep.
were
That
just
guy
like
gave us headphones.
yeah, they're good
Trying
guys.
to make-
they're good
trying to
guys.
make a buck.
Just making money. And
I was
they
talking
would,
to some hot foreign chick at the patio of the store, and I was just coming up, and the guy was like, "Hey man, when you're done with the date, can I get an interview with you?" TMZ. I was like, "Yeah, sure." I talked to her for another 20 minutes, then she left, and I was like, "You don't really want an interview?" I was, "No, I was trying to make you look cool."
nice.
That was fucking awesome.
No, they're
That's
they were nice.
hilarious.
Well, I saw
That's
like,
a good move.
There was like 20 of them
Yeah.
outside of a store once, and then they all surrounded me, and I was like, "You're not here for me," and they're like, "No, so and so is shopping over here," but they're just nice.
Yeah, most of them are just people, man. And then they also get abused all the time. But some of them are fucking creeps.
Some of them are like, invading privacy.
Yeah.
You ever see that
there's
line of
people that
Britney
have
Spears and
like
Federline?
tapped into people's phones. And,
This shit's crazy.
Tapped into their emails.
Are you worried about that?
No, Not really. I assume everyone is listening to every phone call.
It's already there.
Do you think of that when you text?
100%.
I think of that.
Yeah, and I still send memes. Shut the fuck up. I'll defend these in court, bitch. These are funny.
What's his name? Pete Lee.
Yeah.
Pete Lee. You know the story maybe better than I do.
Or the comic?
No, Pete Lee, the comic. He had a stalker who was trying to kill him.
Oh boy.
And it was really bad. It had to go to court. And he had talked apparently about a stalker on Legion of Skanks. And they read the transcripts of Legion of Skanks in court.
No.
And it murdered.
Oh
like,
my god!
Everyone
In
was
court,
laughing
they were
hysterically.
laughing.
Everyone's laughing hysterically, and they're like, "Fuck, this guy's guilty."
Yo, did you hear that story Norton told on the podcast?
Who?
No.
Norton had a legal issue with this guy that he'd criticized on the podcast.
Oh,
and he read this. They
go
were
into
reading
detail. Go into detail.
I'm doing that. They read the transcript during the podcast, and people were laughing, and the guy got humiliated, so he decided to settle the case. That guy went on to shoot a judge's son. He went to the house, pretended he was like a delivery guy, and shot the son of this judge that he was trying to kill the judge. And then she got away, or she wasn't there. I don't remember what happened. But this is the same guy that Norton was involved in a lawsuit with for making fun of.
He was a woman's advocate. Or a man's advocate.
Men's rights advocate.
Men's rights advocate. So I think he's the same person that protested Eliza, if I'm not mistaken.
For what? Shit. Oh, having an all-female show.
All-female show,
Wonder
yeah.
Woman.
Suspect in fatal shooting at home of Judge Esther Salas described himself as an anti-feminist lawyer. Once argued a case before the judge.
Oh, Jesus.
Esther's a female's name.
Yeah, well, she was a female judge. He showed up at her house and fucking killed her son. It's so crazy, man.
That's really scary.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I love that Jim Norton is happy.
Bought it.
I'm glad you love that he's happy.
I love it. I love it. I love seeing him happy, man. It makes me so happy. Another glass of water for you?
I was worried you were going to go piss in that.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Guys, grow the fuck up.
Whoa, grow the fuck up. How weird.
You look kind of like
What a
Bobby
weird
Fischer.
thing to say.
Everybody pees.
With a solid glass of piss right next to your right arm.
Yeah. The thing he's doing with his wife on YouTube,
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm glad you love it.
I love it, man. I'll say this out loud. I love seeing people succeed. I love seeing people win. I love flowers.
Jim's underrated.
Hardcore.
He's underrated.
He's
Funny
one of the
comic.
best comics of our generation.
His heyday on Opie and Anthony.
He made
Wild
Opie and
with the
Anthony.
references.
He made
it.
That's an understatement right there.
He made it. It was weird to me that it was Opie and Anthony and Jim was on it. I was like,
Yeah.
it seems kind of weird.
I think they had their show for years before, and then it was
I
like
know.
Opie and Anthony.
I
and
know.
It
Oh,
wasn't what it was until Jim showed up.
Yeah,
They were in Boston. They were
Bro,
in-
they
and
would
Jim-
never have had the comedians they had. I mean, respectfully, I love Opie and Anthony. I love those guys. I was a fan of the show. But that group of comics that was on it, the reason this podcast is what it is today, and in all fairness, is because of that fucking show, but it's also because of Jim.
Yeah, it's because that show gave people the opportunity to just hang out. And I remember when Ari and I used to do it in the early days, it was just like, this is a place where you could just hang out with comics. There was no script.
There was no script.
They just allowed us to fuck around.
And also, they were cool about, like, you were a headliner and a name, and they were like, who's this? Like, he's my opener. Is comic? Give him a mic.
Yeah, I would
And it
I
was
would
like,
tell
okay.
them I got a funny guy who's coming with me. I'm going to bring him in.
They
And
didn't
they'd be
invite
like,
you.
cool.
Okay.
Perfect.
Tommy's
I
one of those
bombed
guys.
so hard on that show.
Really?
How'd you bomb?
I was totally not ready for it. I was not a fan of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know?
I knew about the show, but I didn't listen to it. I didn't know anything about it.
Oh, no.
And I went in there, and I said a couple words, and I just kind of sat in the pocket. And then Ricky Gervais came in.
Oh, wow.
And then I started talking to Ricky as the show was going on.
Just like, hey, what's going on?
I was
What did you
like,
fly
oh, dude,
into?
that episode.
Oh, no. While the show was happening?
Yeah.
And you didn't realize your mic was on?
Kind of. And then
Just did get radio.
no, and Ricky and I just kept talking, and then I'd look over and I'd see the guys like, "What are you fucking doing?" Yeah, it was
You
bad.
might be the most epically, in retrospect, horrific comic to ever do radio.
What?
Without a doubt. Because Tom has never given a fuck about anything ever in his life. Ever.
Oh, come on.
So when you did Bob and Tom, they like write out your things you want to say, and Tom was like, I'll just figure it out.
Yeah,
you
they asked me
never
to do
gave a
that,
fuck.
too.
That
You
one
never
sucked.
gave a fuck.
They asked me to do that too. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I know the
I
producer got
definitely
really
did.
upset.
I got
That one
upset.
sucked.
with me,
They
too.
upset like, and I go, we're gonna figure it out.
No, they didn't.
I'm
like
not
it.
that kind of comic.
They
This
didn't
is-
like it.
This is nonsense. You're doing some 1985
They
nonsense,
didn't like that at all.
and this is not 1985. Get out of here.
They were nice, but they were.
Tom
like,
was doing that before anyone else. Like, with absolute love. When you see all the comics coming on and fucking up radio and TV that they're doing now, it's a little bit based on the fact that you really did not give a fuck.
Hang on. A lot of guys didn't, including Tracy Morgan.
Oh, Tracy Morgan, hold on. Tracy
pulled
Morgan's
his
better than
belly
anyone.
out. He was
Better than
slapping
anyone.
Bunny out his belly. He was like, someone's getting pregnant. Someone getting pregnant. He would be slapping his belly. That's my main call.
My philosophy on it was basically, I think podcasts, radio, television can go really well based on the host's interest.
Yeah.
And so what I had was, I had a real, like, personal fuck you to a host that was like, I don't really care who you are or what you're doing here. This is what we do. And so if they were like, you're at the club this week? I would go, yeah.
Right.
And then they were like, be funny. I'd be like, why don't you go suck your fucking mom's dick? and then they would go like, what's happening?
That's a business partner right
So
there.
that's why you came out with DJ Dadmouth.
That was why DJ Dadmouth came out. Was like,
So it came out to this specific person?
that came out just because I was like, I don't want to do this.
Morning TV never did anything.
I don't
for
want to do
numbers.
it.
It
Hang
never
on, I
helped.
got-
Were you
only Tracy-
contractually obligated?
They just make
So
you.
what they would end up doing is the Funny Bones would go, hey, if you would do this, we bring people every week, no matter whether they're big or small, selling tickets or not. So like when I started to sell tickets, it'd be like, they go, oh, your shows are sold out this week. I'd be like, cool. They're like, and you're doing Good Morning Hartford tomorrow. And I'd be like, why? And they're like, because we do it every week. And I'd go, but it's not to sell tickets, right? Because the tickets are sold.
It's just to promote the club.
Yeah, so they're like, no, but get up at 5 and go do it. And I'm like, all right. So that kind of came from that. But before that, I'm saying like even like I did Kimmel last night. When you go there, you're like, all right, I'm gonna you do a pre-interview with a producer. It still rides on the fact that he's engaged and wants it to go well.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he totally was, and it was really fun, and it went well. But in the radio days, a lot of times those radio hosts, sometimes there's like the Philly guys, Preston and Steve.
Preston Steve
Steve
good.
Rolled.
So,
Yeah,
so
really
they,
rules.
they come in, like you come in, and they're like, they know questions, they know what you've been doing.
Yeah.
So that makes the experience fun.
They're fun.
Yeah.
They're happy to
fun.
see you.
They're great.
But you go into places where they're just like, they're literally like, you're born in Cincinnati? And you go, yeah. And they'll go,
Trying to lead
so,
you.
like, yeah, so
what?
tell us something about that. And you're like, what? So
It's a place.
I didn't go,
It's in Ohio.
If I left that place and you, the host, were like, I didn't really like you, I'd be like, I don't give a shit that you don't like me. I'm not here to fucking dance
You
for
have
you,
ridden
man.
that horse into the grave. I love that about you, is that you got to remember, this was before, when you were doing that, the only white person was doing that. Tracy Morgan, as a famous person, would go in and be wild on thing, and everyone would fucking love. We'd share it with each other.
Tracy was the best.
Tom was doing it in earnest.
It's like, fuck
and-
off.
Like
Get something
everyone
out of
can. And mind you, at the same time, I was going to the same places and being like, "Oh God,
Damn, he's
please
thin.
play a Tracy Morgan one."
Look at me on that.
Look at that.
I'm handsome. Now I can see why I got so many kids. Texas El Paso, I'm telling you, man, I went to Jaguars last night. I love the ladies here.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so again, not family entertainment
Somebody gonna
necessarily.
get pregnant. Somebody gonna get pregnant while I'm in town. 2 days, watch. 2 days, somebody gonna get pregnant.
So, yeah, Trace.
It's always these guys, it's the same guy in every
Like,
market.
oh, boy.
Yeah.
But they're loving it. They're loving it. And Tom would go in and do that, but he would do it his own way, and it was so fucking awesome, man. Because so many of us, myself included, would just suck a dick and be like, "When I was 22, I got involved with the rest of
No, I don't. I disagree. What you would do is you would go in
You'd go with
fun
booze.
energy.
You'd go in with a
and,
bottle
and
of
you go,
Jack
I'm going
and
to
say,
make
"Let's
this
go."
fun.
I would drink on those.
You go, yeah, blow it in his ass. You go,
Ari,
make
do it.
fun.
Ari,
Come
do
on,
it. Ari, do it. Ari, do it.
Get out of here.
Ari.
I got a hard month coming.
What's your hard month?
I'm going hard.
We're
next
celebrating
month.
Tommy.
What?
In
My
February?
Yeah.
Fuck, don't bring it to me.
We try and do in February.
I'm doing stuff.
Art's trying to move to London to let those bitches know.
Hey, are
What?
you guys going to run our 5K?
Wait, is it a specific place or just wherever you are? I want to bike it.
5K by May.
Where is it?
Jelly Roll's doing it. Cam Haynes is doing it.
Is it a specific place or just anywhere?
We're gonna do a 5K.
Where?
We're picking a spot. We haven't announced
we
the
haven't
spot
announced it yet.
Let's do it in Australia.
Louis doing it.
Great call, Ari.
Stavi's doing it.
They're all going to run?
Everyone's
Tim
gonna
Dillon's
run.
doing it.
No, Tim Dillon's not
Tim
doing
Dillon's
it.
not
Tim
going to. You're
Dillon.
trying to kill.
FaceTime him
not
right now.
doing it.
He'll
Tim
fucking-
Dillon's going to have a headache.
Tim Dillon's not doing it.
Tim Dillon's doing
Tim
it.
Dillon's planning on doing it.
Tim Dillon's doing it.
Tim Dillon's not doing
Shane
it.
Gillis is doing it.
Jamie,
Louis
what?
C.K. is doing
That's
it.
3.5 miles. They're not doing
3.1.
it.
It says 3.1, buddy.
Tim
They're
Dillon's
not
not doing it.
He said he would.
It's great.
Is there a first place prize?
That was fucking.
No, it's just completed, I think, is the jam.
Oh, but
No,
here's
it's
the
all-
best. I just remember this. The best radio one was when I went in. Do you ever have somebody and they go, sit here, and they're doing a thing?
You're
And
just
like,
waiting?
We're coming. Yeah, you're just waiting. And they're like,
Yeah.
all right, we're coming back from break. All right. So then they walk you in the room and they sit you here. Then the guy could not be less interested. He's like reading the paper.
What radio station? Tell it.
So he's
Tell it.
it's in the
It's a long
Northeast.
time ago.
But he goes, all right, we'll be back from the break in 30 seconds. And I go, okay. He goes, then just take over. And I go, what? He goes, just take over. And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, it's just your show. You have shows this weekend. Just do whatever you want to do. And I go, I'm not going to do anything. And then it's like 10 seconds. He's like, what do you mean you're not going to do anything? I go, I'm not going to do anything. I go, if you don't ask me something, I'm not going to say a single fucking word. And he goes, all respect, he goes, Bobby Lee was here last week and he took all his clothes off. And I go, how'd that play on radio? Was that a fucking hit for your audience? And then it was like, you're on. And this guy was fucking scrambling, like freaking out. He read my fake bio.
Fake bio.
I had a fake bio.
Yeah, that's his internet
So
footprint.
it was all like made up, and it was like, you played for the Bengals? And I was like, yeah. he was like, so he's asking me all the fake questions, and he's in a full, starts sweating. He starts sweating, and he has his co-host who doesn't know how to also navigate. But they were just, to me, they embodied like lazy, disinterested, and,
Yeah.
they were like unhappy in this market doing what they do. And they were just like, take over. And I was like, fuck you. Yeah.
That's the best
great
thing. It's
to
the
do
best
that,
thing about
though.
him.
I would have scrambled.
He really doesn't give a fuck.
You just go, no,
you
that's
realize,
not cool.
You realize how many times me and you,
Yeah.
maybe I'm saying maybe not me and you, but like just went in and did the dance.
Yeah.
And that's why I look up to you, because it's the coolest thing about you is that you really don't give a fuck.
That is nice.
It's so cool to not give a fuck. It's so sexy. Like, it's not, when you give a fuck, it's a little sad sometimes.
I think I give a fuck about certain things.
Don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah, right. But what you don't give a fuck about,
Tom, I don't know if you read
pretend
your
to give a fuck
comments. You
about.
do not give a fuck. You do not give a fuck.
You give the perfect amount of fucks.
Yeah.
I think it's like a balance.
No.
It's the right balance.
No, it's detrimental.
To what?
To him.
How so?
If I read his comments, I'd be like, start giving a fuck.
Yeah, but who's writing those comments? You can't read comments.
I do.
The people that are writing them, you're getting a disproportionate amount of failures. You're getting a disproportionate amount of
You'll see a lot
people
of
that
positive
are
ones.
just, yeah, for sure. But it's
fun to
not.
read.
It's not. If you're trying to get like a control study of the population, general population, if you're doing a pharmaceutical study, you have a bunch of old people, a bunch of young people, different walks of life. You're going to do it right. You do it with a bunch of biological variability. The variability of people that are wanting to comment negatively online is like, you can find those people. They don't have their shit together.
That's
They're
the
a
people with
mess.
dizziness.
Some of them are kids.
Just ignore them.
Yeah.
A lot of them are
Look at
kids.
the positive ones.
They're real young. Some of them, they think it's fun. They're trying to get a reaction. They don't know what to do. They just try to like shit on you and see if you respond. It's a nonsense way to communicate.
It is
You
nonsense.
You
It's a
don't know
waste
who
of
they
energy.
are. You don't know what their background is. You don't know whether their opinion is valid. You're accepting negativity, and human beings have a natural propensity to look towards negative things because your brain is programmed to look for intruders and dangerous things.
Yeah.
So you could look at 100 people in your village that you love, but you see one person that doesn't love you that's standing on a hillside, 50 yards away, and you get scared.
Sure.
Like, oh, shit.
What's that?
And that's what that is. That's what comments are. It's just you're hijacking your natural system.
That's why
I think
love
even
him.
the positive ones are
That's
better.
why I love him. He says.
No. Because I remember there was a time I was getting negative. When the movie came out, I was getting a lot of negative shit. and I texted Tommy. I was like, "Can you just take a look at it and see if it's real?" You know, because I can't look at it. It fucks me up. So I just stopped looking at it. I hired someone to do it for me. But I don't
Someone
trust
just
them. I don't
reads them
trust
to
them.
you?
No.
It's
Just
you're an
to like
asshat.
monitor them. And then Tommy read them and he was like, "That's actually kind of sweet." You're like, "It's not that bad." And I was like, "Oh, for real?" And he was like, "Yeah, I love that." You got to find a.
You're gonna have a certain amount of people that fucking hate everything.
Because you're big.
Hate
Like
everything.
we were talking in the green room the other night. I was talking about this person who wrote this. They were talking about all-time great guitarist, and they said Hendrix was mostly noise.
Yeah.
And they're like, that is the craziest fucking thing I've ever heard anybody
It's trying to
say.
be abrasive. That's like, no, you like him, you just don't like him as much as everyone else does.
No, it's just it's a contrarian perspective.
A lot of people like to do that too.
Yeah.
This guy
shit on the
sucks,
thing
and you're
that's
like,
the
anything.
best.
They don't suck. They just you think they're a B plus.
And it's
everyone
also
else thinks
fun.
they're
Don't you think
legends.
it's fun sometimes just to provoke?
Yeah, it is.
Not me.
love
Not
it.
me. Not
Yeah.
me. You definitely you are.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, you're number one at that.
It's
You
fun.
love it.
Just to provoke. Just like,
Yeah.
let me get a rise out of you.
Yeah, it's a fun way to initiate a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not me. I cruise by. Try to keep my head down.
Read those comments, huh?
Yes, you
should.
do. You just said you
No,
do.
no. I read Tommy's comments. I read Tommy's
You
comments.
don't read yours?
No, I do not.
Ever. Not ever?
Never.
Every now and then.
Never.
Late at night, taking a shit, 3 a.m.
Never.
Shut
Open
up.
up
Never
that
read
phone.
yours?
I never.
I'm pretty
I hired
happy
Victoria
about this post.
so that I
Let
could.
me see if it's positive. Let me see if people have a
You-
good
do you
thing
read
to
it all?
say. No.
No.
So wait, why would you believe I didn't?
Because I'm different than you.
How so?
Don't you think?
Nope.
You don't think you think we're the same?
I think we're so similar.
That's fascinating.
Buddy, me and you, if we slept in bed together, we'd fight over the sheets.
I don't think so. I'm not a sheet fighter.
Would get 'em.
Then I would be up.
I would
against
want you to
your
have
back.
an equitable amount of the sheets. Just if I would assume there's
Wait.
enough sheets for 2 people.
What part of you?
You're in a twin.
What part of you? You have to identify with me a little bit. 'Cause I know I drive you nuts.
That's interesting.
I know I drive you nuts at times. And I
How
know
do you guys feel about what he's saying?
I want to hear the end of it.
About you guys
That we're
being
the same thing?
I mean, no, I think there's similarities in everyone, but I think you're pretty different people.
But
like
I think
as far removed as can stay in my friend group.
I told you what I told you what
Can
I
I
think.
tell you? Can I tell you how I feel about you?
Look down.
Can I tell you how I
Let's
feel
stare
about you? Can I tell you how I feel you? When Nate Diaz says, "I didn't get bullied. I had a big brother."
Right.
I think like you're my big brother.
Aw, sweetie.
I do. I feel like I have a big
Way to
brother.
write that off.
I've said that to you, and I've said that to you.
I think you guys approach things very differently.
We do, and I think I drive you fucking nuts.
No,
Okay,
you
here's-
don't.
I
Sometimes.
have to. I have to. I know I
I
drive
love
me
you.
nuts.
You drove me nuts during Sober October.
You bring out his competitive spirit.
You bring
but
that out.
there's a fucking monster in there. And you let him out of the cage.
But I love your monster.
yeah.
Like the way a younger brother would like needling his big brother. I like your monster.
Here's the one of the big things I think is super different is that he approaches things of like, all right, if I want to be proficient at this thing, I'm going to do it every day because that's how you get good, the consistency and the discipline.
Yeah.
And you go, you know what? I think I can wing this shit and be pretty good at it. And that's one of the big like philosophical differences of how you approach life.
Yeah.
But I listen to your podcast all the time, and I love
not.
the way your brain thinks. I would never listen to my podcast, but like I like the way your brain thinks.
I'm just curious. That's the way my brain thinks. I'm always just trying to figure out why I think what I think and why this other person thinks what they think.
But I do
That's
that.
what I'm
I do
doing.
the same in a flip flop. Like I like the way your brain thinks, but it's not the way my brain thinks. I have no discipline. I don't like
that's
discipline.
One of the cool things about hanging out with different walks of life, you
Yep.
are obviously become very successful with claiming you have no discipline.
You do have some
certainly have
discipline. You
discipline.
don't.
Yeah, you don't
work
have
out
discipline
all the
compared to
time.
your
You
own
know,
discipline.
in secret time that I go to you, I lean on you for like in times of real need. Like when I was with my cardiologist and I was like, "Hey man, I'm lost. I don't know what to do." And you were like, "Carnivore." And so I do that. I do that. But the problem is, and I would say this honestly, just to Ari, privately, but like, we knew you before you were you. Like we knew you before this thing. Right. So like I know you, and I know who you've become, and I obviously respect that. I really do. But like my Joe guy I knew is you. And,
right, but I don't think I've changed that much.
No, it's a perception of you that's changed.
Yeah.
And so everyone else falls into that with a lot of famous people. They fall into what they think of someone, and so they don't get treated as who they really are.
I think I've improved my perspective on things and the way I treat people.
But you've grown, and you're a
person.
better person. I mean, honestly, you're an amazing person. But I will always know you as the dude that walked me into his house. I will never know you as this thing. Like, this thing is pretty fucking insane.
It's just like cool for you, but that's not.
But my version of it is fairly small.
You've been pretty good at keeping your head
because
straight.
I hang around with the same people. I go to the club. I go to home. I work out. I do all the things I have to do. It's not just that I have new friends. It's just like I fucking torture myself. So like my perspective is balanced.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing that happens during my day is probably not as bad as what I've done to myself. So like I go into every day with like a baseline. And, like I can handle shit.
That hasn't changed in you at all.
No, that's the best way to regulate things. Like what Henry Rollins was saying in that essay, it's the best way to regulate things. It's the best way to keep a perspective on things. You don't want to become a tyrant. You don't want to become like enamored with power and enamored with influence. I'm not interested.
You're
in
not
that
a guy who says, "Do you know who
all.
I am?"
I'm not interested.
But you don't
in
need
that
to.
at all.
I say that.
If you don't know who if you don't know who I am, I'm happy. I would love to talk to a dude who doesn't know me.
That's gotta be shocking.
Oh,
it's gotta
my
be shocking.
God, it'd be fun. Talk to
When was the
someone.
last time you had that? Or someone was like,
you can tell
"What do you do
sometimes.
for a living?"
What?
If
I
someone
don't
has
know,
no
because
idea
sometimes
who you
people
are.
bullshit you.
It's great.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Sometimes
It's like,
people
this
pretend
is
they don't
real.
know who you are.
Tommy's got friends that I've met that I go, "What do you do for a living?" And I get fucking angry. And I go, "How do you not know who I am?" That dentist or whatever the guy lives next door to you.
Yeah.
So what do you do for a living? Oh, fucking shut down.
I had this fancy lunch once with Eric Von Daniken.
I love it.
Eric Weinstein invited me to this lunch with Eric Von Daniken. Eric Von Daniken is the one who wrote The Chariots of the Gods. He wrote that book about ancient aliens coming down here and like building the pyramids and all this wild shit. And he knew that I was gonna. He knew I knew everything about this guy. I knew everything about his book. I watched his documentary multiple times. I've seen all the criticisms about it. I want to have this conversation with him and find out why he thinks the way he thinks. But when he said, "What do you do for a living?" Because he didn't know who I was like, "I'm a comedian." And Weinstein started laughing. And he goes, "Well, he's, I go, "I'm a comedian." And he started explaining the podcast and all that different stuff. But I was like, just tell me what you think. Tell me what you think and why you think.
Sure.
But if you ask me what I do,
It's going to change the answer.
yeah, it's like I like that he didn't know who I was. Like this is wonderful.
Yeah.
This is wonderful. Like this is a nice conversation.
Totally.
And respectfully, why do you believe this? And why do you ignore all the evidence that seems to lean to an advanced civilization that built this, and that we have a rebuilding of advanced civilizations today? That's much more plausible. But his whole business is sort of, once you have an initial assertion and you write a book about it and you make a documentary about it, everybody's going to say like you can't change your opinion because that book's still on the shelf. I bought your fucking book. Your book's bullshit. The book's what I thought back then. I didn't know any better.
Right.
But that was a good one.
It's fun meeting somebody and you don't know who they are.
I know everything about him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had studied him for so long. I had studied his film. I watched his film multiple times because his film asks real questions. Like, how the fuck did they do this? There's some stones in Lebanon and some fucking crazy quarried stones. It's like, how the fuck were they planning on moving this? Well, they had to abandon the stone because there was a crack in it, and so they moved on. So they have the evidence of how they actually quarried these things.
I don't understand all those ancient
quarries,
like structures. When you think about what it takes, how we build things today, and you see these things built, and it's like 100,000-pound stone.
It's the best evidence that people were more advanced back then.
Exactly. And then you go, and then not only is it like together, whereas it's seamless between two. You can't put a piece of paper between them.
It's all aqueducts.
What they did what they did was probably follow a line of innovation that's different from the line we follow.
One that we can't really relate to.
Data
We
VHS.
followed combustion engines, industrial evolution, manufacturing at a large scale. That's what we followed.
Yeah.
What they followed is probably something very different.
That we, yeah. So
It
We
was
just don't
probably
understand
had to do with frequencies and sound and how you could bore through stone. They had diamond drills.
Do you think if they saw our stuff, they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, they'd probably be like weirded out by the internet.
Oh yeah.
If they didn't have it. But the thing is, like, if you have electronics and you leave them on the ground, they don't exist in 100 years. They will get absorbed by the earth. Within 1,000 years, there's no trace. You'll find the minerals that are in the batteries and all that stuff that all break down. There'll be nothing left.
Wow.
There's nothing. If you watched buildings that were in Detroit that people abandoned, and you see trees growing through
Quickly.
those buildings,
Very quickly.
man. Houses, cars, you see a car that gets left in the woods, it just gets broken down to rust, and within 1,000 years, there will be nothing. So if there was some shit that existed, like the conventional dating of the Great Pyramid is 2,500 BC, but that's under heavy speculation. The real belief is that it's probably the guys from John Anthony West and Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson. They point towards a possibility of a super sophisticated civilization more than 11,000 BC.
See, I think that's the thing that I've never really considered is that you always go, oh, they had like an archaic system that just worked, right? Like levees and pulleys and you know what I mean?
But what
like
if they had like
and,
full
like,
electronics and like
I never
ray
considered
guns
that.
and stuff?
Never
Yeah,
considered
right.
that.
You
shit,
think
dude.
we have to be the best
We have to be.
instead of
Yeah.
this
The
start
way,
over,
the
this
way
start
they
over, this
moved
start
things,
over.
they
Exactly.
moved things that were thousands of pounds.
It's crazy.
Through
like-
the
like,
mountains.
if another 500 years pass from here, how much technology will advance? If that all gets wiped out, it'll get started over and we'll be at our
Exactly.
level and they'll be like, well, they were less
Exactly.
advanced. I'm the same way as you. It's like, it
Yes.
doesn't make sense.
Exactly. So
But-
you have
Because you
if-
think of like
if everything
100
collapsed
bodies
right
carrying
now.
a rock.
Right.
Yeah. If we just had to live from now on, the human race evolves from the genes of the preppers.
The what?
If that's it, preppers. People that have
Doomsday
fucking
preppers?
bunkers
Oh,
in
yeah.
their fucking backyards and canned peaches and that fucking, that, who's that religious guy that sells survival food on TV? You know, they have Jim Baker.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember?
A bucket.
Buckets of survival
buckets
food.
of food.
You could use this as a stand for your table. They're eating at the dinner table with like buckets of survival food
End
under
of
it.
time bucket prep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're one of those dudes, man, and that's all that lives, these survival prep. I mean, how long would it take for one of these dullards in the crowd? Look at these dull-minded, gray-brained people. Look at what are the chances that those people are going to invent the fucking?
That's your joke. If I dropped you off in the middle of the woods with a hatchet, how long till you could send me an email?
Yeah.
that
It'd
close?
be millions of
Oh,
years
wow. Yeah.
if you had
Yeah.
access to all the tools that people have
What?
ever created. Yeah, look at
the
that
fuck is
stone.
that?
Where is
What
that one,
the
Jamie?
fuck?
Egypt, the unfinished obelisk. So, like in theory, they would have
Raised it up.
taken it out of
So-
there somehow.
So there was an obelisk they cut into the stone, and they had the technology to not only cut that, but unfortunately some of that stone would crack, and then they would have to abandon it. But they have to pick it up and move it hundreds of miles,
Wow.
and they did it routinely.
There's no way to grasp that unless you think the technology was other level. Like there's
Not
just-
only that, dude, there's a lot of evidence that even the Great Pyramid is a more recent creation to some of the older kingdom work. The deeper they go into the sand, on some of the structures, they'll find, like as they start excavating, that there's another structure underneath it. And then they uncover that. And the older they uncover them, it seems like the larger the stones were, the more complex the systems were. It's wild shit, man. These people were doing something a long fucking time ago. And if you listen to guys like Robert Schoch, who's a geologist from Boston University, he studied the erosion marks on the outside of the Temple of the Sphinx. He said this is indicative of thousands of years of rainfall that created this. This is where you get these kind of fissures in the stones. The only time there was rainfall in the Nile Valley was like 9,000 BC. So you got to go back thousands of years that predate that, because you got to have thousands of years of rainfall when it's a rainforest.
Yeah. Right.
All that area, like the Sahara Desert, used to be a fucking tropical rainforest.
Wow.
Like, all this shit happened before we were fucking driving diesel trucks and coal plants. The world has been in a constant state of flux forever. And that area where they initially established the kingdom of where Giza was and Cairo is and all those areas, that area was lush with resources. And that's probably why they advanced there for so long. They did some wild shit in this one area that there's wild structures all over the earth that they found. Nothing compares to what they did in Africa. Nothing, not a one thing is anything like the Great Pyramid of 2,300,000 stones. Moved from quarries hundreds of miles away, cut in a perfect position, true north, south, east, and west. It's fucking wild what they did, and I think they were probably more advanced than we are. That's what I think.
To be. I know when you go and when you see it firsthand, like going to Machu Picchu, up in the Andes, you're like, what? How did they build this up in the mountains?
Just imagine if everything collapsed right now, what people would be like 200 years from now. They would be fucking barbarians.
Totally.
There'd be Walking Dead people, like living in little groups and tribes trying to stay alive, and eventually they would rebuild. But I think it would take forever, and I think that's what happened.
Do you ever think about that, like, you go, technology exists with the same things that were available like hundreds of years before.
Thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years before.
Same like
there is
elements.
nothing new put here. We just were able to develop a phone.
And every technology builds on the previous technologies.
Someone's invented this, so we go radio waves. If they didn't tap into that, then that civilization never had radio.
So if someone invents something quicker that's different, like if someone invents nuclear fission, like way early, and everybody's like, whoa, or someone invents cold fusion way early, you're like, okay, well, now we've solved this energy problem. Now we can move in a different direction.
Or stops plague early.
Yeah, early.
That allows you to, like,
do you think all the technological stuff that has evolved is with the theory that we are borrowing from what we've taken from basically alien life leaving technology here, or giving us hints?
Oh, Jesus.
No. I think the alien technology thing is fascinating, but it might also be bullshit. You always have to look at all of these things that are public and that are talked about, and the Pentagon releases things about, might be bullshit. You always have to think it might be bullshit. Every time I look at any phenomenon, whether it's UFOs, UAPs, whatever the fuck you want to call them, I always say to myself, if I was the military and I had some top secret drone program that moved through a totally unique and novel propulsion system that operated on gravity, and that we figured out how to do this so we can move it around, and I would be testing in exactly the same places these people were testing. They were testing in all this restricted airspace where they would run these military drills. They did it off the East Coast and they did it off the West Coast. So where they're seeing these things is exactly where the military runs their tests.
Oh.
I would assume that if I was the military, that's how I would things. I would hide things. I would hide things by saying they're UFOs and saying we have no idea what this is. And if you have top secret programs, which we 100% know they do, and if you have a theory of propulsion that's based on gravity and not on igniting combustible fluids like rocket fuel, which we definitely have, and they have had since, I believe, the 1950s. They first started theorizing about magnetic propulsion systems.
Wow.
They probably have been developing this forever. They've probably been doing it in secrecy, and probably China's doing it as well. And the best way to hide it, I would imagine, would be to say that this is something from another world. Also, we might be visited by other worlds. Also, we might be visited by things from other dimensions. I think it might be all the above. And I don't think you can count out any of it. Just because the fact that we know there's planets. If we know there's planets, they're far enough away from the sun that the water doesn't boil and nothing freezes. If they're in that Goldilocks zone, maybe life can develop. And we know that there's a shitload of those out there. We've found a bunch of them already. So if they're out there, we would assume that something would be like us plus 100 years, plus 500 years. And they would want to go to these other planets and say, look at these crazy fucks with flint tools trying to start fires by knocking sticks together. And we would say, let's fucking leave them a radio.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
that's what, and I think that's what they do. And that's what this Diana Pasolka was saying about researchers were describing these crashed UFOs as donations. So if I was from somewhere else, whether it was another dimension or another planet, and I wanted to accelerate the technological innovation by these beings, I would give them fiber optics. I'd go figure that out. Crash this thing, back engineer it, figure it out, get your brightest minds, lock everybody down, shoot everybody with a big mouth, and figure out how to fucking make this.
How to do this.
And that, I think that's what the Bob Lazar story is all about.
Bert?
I was not listening. Yeah, I got lost. Yeah. It sounds cool.
What'd you get lost in?
Buddy, when you started with propulsion, I was like,
He's like, how many
it's funny.
letters is
I
that?
felt like I was listening to your podcast. I go, know the shit I should learn.
You are while it's happening.
Let's all take a nap.
I love your brain.
I just got tired.
You guys tired?
You want to take a nap? Let's all take naps.
So now you gotta let's see.
Winston Churchill was all about naps.
Is everybody coming to the show tonight?
Yeah.
What time is your show?
7 o'clock?
I just gotta walk the dog. Yeah. What time is it now?
It's 5:43.
Oh,
fucking
5:43.
6,
Yeah.
basically.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Let's have some fun.
All right.
Denver, I'm coming first week of March. 7th show added.
Bray, you look depressed.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Are we going to wear this to the shows?
Yeah, let's wear it to the shows.
Yeah.
Let's just go right to the shows.
We're doing a show tonight? For real?
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
I
You
gotta
don't want to do a
sober
show?
up. I do.
Sober up.
What are you
Perfect.
talking about? Oh yeah, you've never
You're
done
perfect.
comedy drunk.
I've never done comedy drunk. I have done comedy drunk.
You definitely have done comedy.
Come a
drunk.
long way to admit that, Pest.
All right.
Yeah.
What is
I
this?
did it yesterday drunk.
What is that?
Oh,
I've
that
seen you
is
fiddle with that the whole
that
time.
is a mammoth ivory handle for a 1911, which is a type of pistol.
Oh, it goes in like that. I get
Yeah,
it.
you have to get it fit for a 1911.
Are we really doing a spot tonight?
What is this really? Aren't you a professional?
It's not a big deal.
I am. Yeah, I am.
You can come and just watch us.
Yeah, you can just
kill.
watch and not do it. That'll be
Or
fun
have a
for you.
good fucking
No,
time.
I
Of course you're gonna.
can't not get on stage.
How are you going to take all that shit off in the time that it takes?
Takes a second.
No,
Have you
keep it
timed
on.
it?
I started off like John Mulaney, like very like tactile and
Well, you're going to keep it on, right?
no. I realized in taking it off, I'm a different person without my shirt off on
Keep it
stage.
on.
Keep it on.
Keep it on. Keep it on.
Keep it on for the show tonight.
Keep
It's
it on
on the
your
spot.
kid.
Listen,
Are you gay?
Clark Kent.
We're all going to wear it.
Clark
You know,
Kent with your
Clark Kent
stupid
was-
glasses.
Clark
I know who
Kent-
you are, bitch.
Clark Kent was the alter ego.
Clark Kent with your stupid glasses. I know. It's Superman.
Hulk.
What do you?
Superman's this real person.
Yeah.
Yeah, duh. What the fuck is this guy doing?
Come
Wait.
on.
Don't you think
Wear
I
it.
watched
Come on,
the
dude,
TV
that's
show?
fucking-
Don't you think I read the comic
Same
books?
thing with Hulk. Come on, dude.
Yeah, what are you saying?
Don't change.
I had a really good set with a
You can,
suit on.
You already have shoulders, bro. You're jacked. You don't even have to
Jacked
take your
now,
shirt
dude.
off. You can still kill. You can kill with a suit and a tie on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff your shoulders.
I know you love that pop when you take your shirt off, and it is a wild pop. That's a wild pop, buddy. We were watching it Tuesday night. It's a big pop.
I had
It's a
the
big
last
pop.
recorded.
They're like, is he
no
gonna
Bert
take his
Kreischer
shirt off? You can see they're saying, is he gonna take his shirt off? I remember when he wouldn't take his shirt off in the OR. Like, I don't want to take my shirt off.
It's a secret.
Not in the OR. Not in the OR.
I was young.
Mitzi would not like it. Do you do it now?
She would not like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Let's get something to
I'm
eat.
the only one there.
Let's get something to eat.
Oh yeah, you're the only one there.
something to
It's a good
Let's get
move.
something to eat and go.
Want to get something to eat?
And go. Yeah, it's
Eddie V's?
5:45. Whatever you want.
I would love Eddie
Let's go to Eddie V's. A little
Let's go to Eddie
steak.
V's. I would
My
love to go to
gentlemen
Eddie
wearing
V's.
suits.
Would love
All
to
right.
go to AB's.
Let's go.
Let's go right now.
Let's go.
All right.
This podcast is over.
Love
you.
you guys.
I
you
love
guys
you
too.
too. Listen,
Hell
this
yeah.
has been
14 months.
for all these years of us doing this. It's been it's been fun. We've had a good time. It's been a wild fun.
New
time.
civilizations will never have this.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna lock this down. You know, no network would ever allow it. No fucking producers would ever bank their mortgage on this being something. Like they would be like, guys, let's talk.
Can I just
Let's
weigh
talk
in?
about what you said there.
Eddie
But, you know, you guys admitted a lot of things. You probably
Love Eddie V's right now.
Let's go eat some steak.
All right.
All right.
I love you guys.
Love you guys.
Bye, everybody.